Hey, Illumineers! I'm happy all of you decided to join us. We have a really awesome thing coming with the Lorecast happening soon in roughly about 30 minutes. But I'll be honest, I don't want to waste any time. I'm really excited for this thing. We're going to jump right in to this. We've got some really awesome guests with us. I guess we'll start with the one that you know and you love, you see every Monday. What's up, Jonti?
It's very presumptuous to assume that they love me.
I mean, it's the accent. I've heard you talk about it before. If anything,
It helps. It helps. How's it going, buddy? This is weird on a daytime. I just said before we got started, I was like, my setup is not built for daytime. I've got light gushing in.
Yeah.
From the grey Canadian sky.
Yeah, I noticed it as soon as you joined, and I was like, it feels weird being in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
doing
but
this together.
the Ravensburger in their cleverness have decided to do it like this so that Europe gets to join in as well, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not something we care about on a Monday night.
Take off of work and inconvenience the rest of us.
So, super quick story time. I normally am in work on a Wednesday, and I do my grocery shopping on a Wednesday night. So normally I get a sandwich on the way into my work, and then I get groceries on the way back. I'm off today. I've just gone to get lunch, and there's nothing in the house. So I've just had a bowl of tater tots and a pint of chocolate ice cream for my lunch. Which I was 8-year-old me would have been amazed with that as a lunch.
Oh yeah, I really didn't plan enough time to get here from work, so I was like, oh, the thing starts at 12. I'm gonna leave work. I can grab food on the way, jump on and be ready. And I wanted to start a little bit early. And I realized sitting in the drive-thru, I'm like, I do not have the time. I still had to shave. So I was like eating stuff while driving, trying to choke it down as we, got in here so I could get in here on time. And everybody wasn't waiting on me. No. We went with Cane's today. Not sponsored. But
if you're listening, Cane's, get in touch.
Yeah, get in touch. But yeah, so Jonti, we talked about this Monday a bunch on some stuff that we expect to see. So rather than hear us mumble about it before it starts, I think we're going to bring in another guest. We'll start with Dan from Hobbies and Happiness. How are you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
How are you feeling? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. When I saw this was announced, I'm like, my bet is at least we see stuff from set 4, the upcoming set. I don't know what more we're gonna see. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that the entire community has been asking for a while. So I am very interested to see what we're gonna see. And then when I saw that the time, I'm like, good thing I work from home.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you posted this, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hit Brandon up and see if I can get in on this because it'll be fun.
I'm glad you did. Like, I'll never forget. For anybody that doesn't know, Dan from Hobbies and Happiness used to host a community roundtable way early in the Lorcana days before we knew anything about the game.
Before we knew how to play the game.
Before we knew how to play the game.
Again, huge assumptions that we all do now know how to play the game.
Yeah, especially after today, there might be some stuff changing coming. But
who knows?
Yeah, I'll quick story. I'll never forget asking you if I could join the roundtable, and I hadn't uploaded a YouTube video. I think I had been in the Lorcana HQ Discord for about 3 days and saw that you guys were doing this roundtable, and I was like, hey, I'd like to be a part of that. I'm gonna make a video and put something out. And I absolutely expected you to tell me no, and you were like, yeah, come on. And so I was like, okay, great,
dude. I said yes to like anybody and everybody just because it was so much fun. Like we had a ton of fun. And then not gonna lie, like when people would send me requests, I would look and see if they did anything. Even if they just were interacting with the community, I'm like, yeah, come on in, this will be fun.
Yeah,
and
it was awesome.
It was a great time. Also, yeah, what is balloons? What is challenge?
What is challenge?
Challenge? We had no idea.
We'll never know.
No clue.
No clue.
So
I attribute a lot of the Lorcana community live streaming stuff to Dan, so it's pretty cool you get to
Appreciate
do
that.
this. Very inspired. This is very inspired by what you used to do, so that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, you guys are all using Restream. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, got us on Restream.
Yeah, I need to hit them up and be like, hey, there's a bunch of people using your platform.
Where's
my check?
yeah, where's the compensation?
Yeah.
Definitely should be.
The good thing, it just makes all this so easy, especially when you're bringing in multiple people.
Oh, yeah.
It's superb for it, really.
Yep. I did all of the I did all the work, and I did all of the research for everybody, so you don't have to do it.
Dan
I remember
you don't have to.
Yeah, I remember looking at all the different platforms and just Restream. Just a lot. It's super easy. And I've always enjoyed it. So I'm glad you guys are able to use it and having a good time with it. So
yeah, speaking of how easy it is to bring people in, we're gonna go ahead and bring in another guest. What's up,
What's up, everybody? How we doing
today? How you doing,
John?
brother? How you doing?
Fantastic. So excited. Can't even put it into words how excited I am for today.
So Sean, real quick, on Twitter, when I think Teddy posted that clip of you this morning. Of like live look of Leebarbs waiting for the Lorecast. I'm like, when was that taken?
Right.
That was Gen Con, right?
The anticipation and anxiety was real because that was right before Gen Con. Yeah, it was when we just arrived in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Good times.
Absolutely.
He was getting ready to meet me.
Yep, that was it.
It was. Yeah.
And then was so let down when he finally met.
We can't broadcast the video.
Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, I remember being pretty nervous meeting everybody, especially I ended up meeting Sneaky from the Glimmer Gang and Franz from Traverse Tavern in the airport. And it was like the first time I was meeting anybody from all the Lorcana people. And I just remember being so nervous and like not knowing how to interact with everyone. But I don't know, it was cool. I feel like when we all were together, it just, I don't know, flowed. It was fun.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, and by the way, anybody watching, in the description, if you're on YouTube, all of these guys' channels should be in the description. You guys should go follow all of them. They should be working. Blake told me that maybe they weren't. So when I get a second, I might have to work on that a little bit. But let me know if they're not working. But yeah, you guys can follow them, and you'll see there's a couple extra people that aren't in the stream yet. We're waiting on them. They're going to be cutting it a little bit closer to the Lorecast. And I guess I should explain that. We're going to live react to the Lorecast today. So it's just going to be more or less like watch party, chill vibes kind of a thing, commentate on stuff that we find interesting, or, scream and go crazy if something exciting gets revealed. So anybody deciding to hang out with us today, I appreciate you guys and hope that you guys can have fun with us. But I mean, other than that, I'm just kind of opening the floor on what we think is going to happen today and maybe what we're expecting or looking forward to, what we might be disappointed in.
Well, real quick, if you haven't seen, guys, head over to Twitter. Jonti's Twitter at Lorcana_Inkwell. He's got a Lorecast bingo.
Yes.
That should be fun. There's a lot of cool stuff. I like that duet support. That is very cool. Intriguing. I like that.
That's a mix of so in one of the little sort of content creator groups that we're in, I asked for some sort of ideas for that. And then other stuff is just kind of like estimate, like educated guesses, and then a little bit of just like stuff I've heard crop up, especially regarding mechanics. I don't think we have any sort of clue as what they could be, but just things that people have said over the last few months that's made me go, "Oh yeah, that'd be neat."
Yeah.
It's mostly just a bit of silliness to sort of say that. So anything on there basically is kind of what I expect to a lesser degree.
An announcement of an announcement. I mean, that's pretty much a given, right?
I mean, that's Ravensburger's MO, right? Like, there's no way we don't get an announcement of announcements today.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Let's see.
My favorite is someone talks into a muted mic.
Again,
yes,
just a live stream staple in general.
Yes,
that one, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Let's be honest.
Absolutely. Martin messes things up. I just noticed that one. That's funny.
For anybody wondering, this is the bingo card.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
And while we talk about that, I believe Let's see. Sorry, I'm running a lot of stuff. Russ, thank you for the super chat. He asked bets on comprehensive rule set announcement today. What do you guys
I'm not
think?
holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath.
Well,
I'm
it
not
sure would be
either.
nice. It sure would be nice to get them before organized play starts in May.
Yeah,
Isn't
we
that
kind of
the
have
date for
to.
it?
Yeah,
so-
I don't think it's a case of it would be nice.
Right.
We need them.
It's necessary. It's necessary.
Correct. Yeah. But I don't know. To me, like I want to say it's almost like a given that we would see it at an event like today, but I mean, I've said that kind of for a few months and still haven't seen it. So that's why I'm just like, I'm not holding my breath, but you guys are 100% correct. It's kind of a necessity before official OP starts pretty soon.
Is it starting up?
I think the other things we could see is maybe some Spanish. I think Spanish is a good shout.
That would be great for them to be able to play.
All right. So the stream has started for everybody in.
Yeah.
All it is some nice
Countdown.
music and the countdown.
Yeah.
And then
Share
it
the
just
screen.
comes up Lorcana, the final chapter.
Yep.
The last
Bad
chapter.
news, everybody. Bad news, everybody.
Thanks for your support thus far, Lumineers, but we regret it.
So you joke about this though. I swear, like FFG put a post out today about how well Star Wars is doing, and the second I saw it, I was like, oh, here we go. I thought it was going to be with a heavy heart.
So many people thought that too.
Yeah. Thank you for the support, but with a heavy heart, we have to say we're no longer supporting this game. Like I was just ready for it. It wasn't. It was just saying how well it's doing. Thank God.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah. So I'm curious, guys. So, what is your top franchise that you want to see in the game that we haven't seen yet?
Pocahontas.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's a really good question.
It's Pocahontas for me, hands down.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Even if some of the more troublesome characters in there don't get made into cards. You can have the raccoon and the hummingbird, right? I mean,
you need the raccoon and the pug.
Excuse me. I don't know whether there's an IP I haven't seen yet that I'm really desperate for. I would love to see characters from IPs we've already seen that we haven't seen yet or haven't been necessarily well represented. Like I'm a massive Lumiere fan, and I would love a playable Lumiere card. Like,
well, you don't like the current Lumiere card we have? What's the matter?
The art is
rare.
fantastic.
You're great.
Balloon says Home on the Range. That's an interesting one.
Hunchback
Hunchback of Notre Dame would be good. They are making a live action Hunchback, correct? I believe I saw that.
I mean, probably.
It would make sense. It tracks.
Because I think there was an announcement, and I believe Josh Gad is cast to be the Hunchback. I think
That's gonna be awesome.
I think Gal Gadot was cast as Esmeralda. Peter Capaldi is Frollo. I think this was a while ago, so I could be off. If I'm 100% right on that, I deserve something.
I do also want to add.
That sounds very fan casty,
right?
There's anything I'll say. Like,
let me see.
I'm gonna add Darkwing Duck to my choices too.
Oh, like
I can't wait to see Darkwing
Duck.
Duck.
That's the top of my list. When we saw Tailspin, I'm like,
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck is.
We got the Robo Duck suit. Like, come on, he's coming down the pipe. He's got it.
You asked for IPs we haven't seen yet. Isn't Darkwing Duck technically in set 3 with the Gizmo suit? Are we not saying that's from Darkwing Duck?
Gizmo Duck is in Darkwing Duck, but I don't think Darkwing Duck was ever in Tailspin. So they do cross over, but I don't know if they cross over like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you have all those characters that like cross between multiple different shows.
Right.
Is this new art we're looking at here?
I think so. I haven't seen
I
this.
think
before.
it is.
I love the not so hidden Mickey on the right there.
Right.
Real quick, before we get into the art or talk about anything else, we do have Eszti from Just In Case joining us. She was
Hello,
able to come
Eszti.
in.
Hi,
What's up,
Eszti.
Eszti? How you doing?
Hi guys, super excited. Ready for the news.
Do you have a Disney IP that's not in here yet that you would like to see?
Chip and Dale, I saw people talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
rescuers.
That's a good one.
Matches the theme of the exploring the Inklands and everything, I think.
I'm kind of surprised
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't seen them yet. It was kind of similar to like it took so long for us to finally see Pluto in the game. I just feel like Chip and Dale is one of those iconic characters that, you know, should have been in from the start. And we haven't seen them yet.
Very true. I like John Schroeder's comment. Would love Everybody Wants to Be a Cat as a song. That'd be awesome. I can just imagine turn all characters into like,
one cats.
one cat.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That'd be sweet. Chicken Little would be nice too. I mean, there's just a plethora of things that we could see. But yeah, 100% Darkwing Duck is at the top of my list.
I don't know whether we're gonna. I don't think, as far as like the actual mechanics and IPs and cards of the set, I don't think set 4 is gonna give us anything that blows us away. I feel like set 4 is gonna be more of a like, okay, we've got the foundation of those first 3 sets now.
Right.
Let's like flesh out
Agreed.
everything
We'll
that's already
solidify
there.
what we already have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd be very surprised if we saw any sort of new. We definitely won't see a new card type. Like,
No.
I'm pretty sure we can guarantee that. I'd be very surprised if we see any new, like, very crazy new mechanics. I feel like instead we're going to just see more of a sort of flesh out of some stuff that's already been trickled in, like the whole moving damage around that sort of started trickling with set 3. I think we're going to see more of that. I think it'll be more of that, more of like variations on a theme.
Mm-hmm. I like Balloon's comment. Lumiere's playable if you aren't a coward, Jonti.
Oh, I am a coward.
He's done some work in a few of the drafts that I did for Rise of the Floodborn. Just a giant
Isn't he a
body
Ruby?
drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Ruby character. Oh, Brother
Bear,
Bear.
yes.
Brother Bear. That'd be
That'd be
nice.
fun.
That'd be fun.
If I had to pick one, it would probably be Tarzan, even though I know that like the likelihood of
That's
that
so hard.
coming in is probably way more difficult. But I love the movie and the characters. I'd love to see those.
Agreed.
And all of the songs from that movie.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yes.
Primarily the songs and how difficult
Yes.
that would be to bring into the game.
Yeah.
I've kind of done a bit of a 180 on the Tarzan thing since I actually read up on it.
Oh yeah.
Because I was one of the people who parroted the whole.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't own the rights. Rah rah rah.
Right.
But they do. I think actually. I think it's obviously super complicated, but I'm pretty sure Disney are allowed to do whatever they like with their version of Tarzan.
Kind of like their version of Pooh Bear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly that. I think it's probably maybe a little bit more complicated than that, but I think part of the reason you just don't see Tarzan much is just it's not really marketable, I guess. I don't know. There was a Tarzan a couple of years ago during the 5K that they do I think it's every January at Disney World. They do like a 5K marathon where you run through all the parks.
Yeah.
And they always bring out some random costumes that you don't see any other time, and they had a what they call a face character, which basically means like an actor without a big foam head on. They brought out a face character of Tarzan, and it was just a dude with his shirt off.
That's all you need, really, right?
Yeah, like basically like a ripped dude with long hair.
Balloons is coming in with some other sweet comments. The sky's falling. Now that's a board wipe. And then also, can we get Paul Lesko to explain Tarzan to us?
True.
I wonder if he'd be interested in looking into it, because it's hobby adjacent.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
I wonder what the next board wipe is we see. I wonder if we see Like, what could that
Do
be?
you,
Like,
do you think we
mechanically?
do you think we see it in? I think if we see a board wipe for steel, it would just be deal X damage, like more
Ooh,
damage.
X cost.
Just more than grab your swords, or
more than grab your swords.
not like Sean said there, like an X cost where you pay more to do more.
Yeah. Or
How
I
about
like
Sapphire? Yeah. Sapphire one, like a let it go, bigger let it go.
Just
board
move
wipe.
everything to the inkwell.
move everything to the inkwell.
That'd be
Or
sick.
like if we see it in amber, like Circle of Life, you could do they'd have to introduce the mechanic, but remove it from the game, like exile. Just instead of
Sure.
going to discard, just remove it from the game. That's an idea.
Hmm.
Banish
It'd
all
be-
locations, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how they handle it, because at some point, like
At some point, more colors are going to need access.
yeah, and
You would think.
and also you'll get, unless we see some sort of either reprint or what I think is more likely a selection of cards being reprinted in future sets. Like unless we see something like that, at some point you're just not going to be able to get all the be prepared easily. So it's gonna make it very difficult for newer players coming in. So at some point something's going to have to fill that slot, and not just in the board wipe, just in general. You know, what's the next draw two we see? What's the next killer thing we see?
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, like with the characters, it's super easy because like we see Simba from set 1 and then Kita from set from the last set, the same stat lines with Bodyguard.
There's
So
color
it's super
shifting,
easy.
yeah.
It's super easy to do that with characters where it's just here's this. It's literally the same card, just even the same color or a different color. Just it's the same stats. Like you've got so many different characters that you can choose from. So it's a lot easier to do that with characters. But again, that's easy to do that with like all the cards.
I'm kind of in the camp to where I hope they do a yearly set like Magic used to. I don't think they do it anymore. The Magic set, the M
Like
number
a
of
core
the year
set?
sets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The core
core
set.
sets.
They don't.
I'm in the camp that I enjoy core sets personally. So just for the simple fact that it can bring back potentially really useful staple cards for new players all the time. So helps keeps the cost down.
Yeah, because like that was the initial intention for the core sets.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. And so like if you have a set where the intent of this set is to reintroduce core cards into the standard card pool, you know, because if we hear anything about rotation or anything like that, that would be a great way to do that. Small reprint sets are better than core sets.
Here's Jacob, by the way, before we get
Oh,
started.
hey, Jim. I mean, Jacob.
What's up?
What time do you call this?
How you doing, guys?
I love how as people came in, the intros got less and less impressed. Like, Jacob's here.
Here's Jacob, by the
I'm
way.
By the way, Jacob.
trying to find ways to bring people in before we start. You know, we only have 2 minutes.
It started with you know him, you love him, everybody.
Yeah, ending with that one, Jacob's
Then
here.
here's this guy.
Hey, that's what happens when we have 2 minutes left. All right.
I was hurrying. I was
It
hurrying.
should be everyone though. Let's see if we can make the.
I don't know if you saw Dara's message, Brandon, but those links aren't working.
I changed them. They should
Okay,
be
good
working
stuff.
now.
Yeah, so
It should be
chat
working now.
if you are watching right now and you all you need to do is just refresh your screen if you want those links to be active. Just refresh and then those links should be live for you.
Yeah,
You've got a
and-
minute 40 to go and subscribe to all of us and
Yeah.
come back.
Yep.
Everyone here,
It's
the
a
link
race.
should be in the description for their YouTube. Yeah, so go check those out. And if you want to watch the Lorcana live cast on the official Lorcana Twitch account, that should be in the link also. To
Not
have
gonna be as
access
fun
to that.
without
Also shout out the Live Laugh Lorcana girls and Rebecca. I think they're
Yeah.
on Instagram live.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should be live on Instagram now.
That's our
The
crew
Gateway
member, Alex.
product looks to have
Yeah, right there,
reprinted
Alex.
cards with different art. I'm pretty sure people here can correct me, but I'm pretty sure we know that that isn't the case. The art on that box are not from already printed cards.
which box?
The Gateway
product.
products.
Yeah.
The 5 stars.
I don't even remember what it looks like, if I'm being honest.
Well,
I think
the
they
big
said
thing
they
that I
are just a different artwork on the box, but the same cards we already have.
Well, no, I think actually the opposite because one of the arts looks very much like Detective Mickey, but it's not the Detective Mickey art. And people were saying, "Oh, it's probably new art for a reprint of Detective Mickey," but I'm pretty sure they said no, that isn't the case. This isn't new art for existing cards. I think we're just going to get another like Mickey, a different detective. I won't be called that, but like I think it's actually just like continuations of a theme with new cards as opposed to just being new art.
All right,
guys, we are starting.
Guys, let me know if the audio is too loud or not loud enough for the stream.
It's good. Sounds good to me.
Ooh, love that little trickle.
Bingo.
Ooh.
Bingo.
What's this?
Animation.
And Ursula's here kicking off.
There's the seaweed.
Yep.
Shadows. Oh, okay.
Who is that? Who is that in the
Ursula?
shadows?
Ursula?
Like another Ursula.
Oh, is that Martin?
There's Martin.
That was
That's
Martin.
right
It
there.
was Martin and the other two.
There's Martin
Shinzi
again.
and what's the other one's name? Or not Shinzi. Bruno? What the heck? Bruno!
Out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh!
Ooh, a nice looking aerial back there too.
Mickey
Mickey Musketeer.
That's Ursula's
Oh,
there.
What is? Okay.
Wow.
And they're
Martin, what
underwater. Can I just say?
They are underwater.
They're
aren't they?
underwater.
Yes, they are
Underwater.
Wow.
I believe that's on bingo.
Oh yeah, they're definitely.
Oh yeah. Playable eels?
Oh my
Oh my
gosh!
Oh, there we go.
Minnie Mouse is
Hey,
in there.
this is supposed to be a kids game. Come on.
Oh, this is getting sick. Martin's there with his guitar.
Close your eyes.
Whoa, look at
Oh
that.
my
Holy
god!
cow!
Ursula's
back.
There's the
return.
trident.
Jeez. Blooded trident.
Whoa!
Oh my word.
Oh, it's actually called Ursula's
Ursula's
return.
return.
Wow.
Holy cow!
That's crazy.
Titular
That
character.
was
All
good.
right.
Hello, Illumineers. I'm Ryan Miller, co-designer
Ryan.
and brand manager of Disney
Hi,
Lorcana,
Ryan.
and I'm here to
What's
welcome
up?
you to the first ever Disney Lorcana Lorecast. We'll be using Lorecast to give you the first look at all things Disney Lorcana, and today we're kicking it off in a big way by announcing Set 4, Ursula's Return. A storm has been building in the magical realm of Lorcana. A powerful Ursula Glimmer
All
is
right,
entangling
pretty sure
other
we all
glimmers,
called it.
bending them to her will, while many more have gone missing. How far will the Sea Witch go to gain power over all Lorcana? Ursula's Return will be available at
product.
hobby stores and Disney parks
yeah.
on May 17th,
Encanto.
2024, and at mass retailers and
Sapphire
DisneyStore.com
Steel and
on May
Amber
31st.
Amber Amethyst.
And I think
2024.
Encanto there.
Yeah.
New glimmers.
All right, what do we got?
One of the things I'm really excited about for
Whoa.
Ursula's
Oh,
Return
God.
is the
Someone
inclusion
screenshot.
of
Come
Oh
on.
my
Get
gosh.
this.
Here we go.
movies, and I can finally talk about it. So many of you over the past year or so have asked me, when is Encanto coming into the game? And I've known all along, but I couldn't say anything. Well, now I can. They're finally in, and it's super exciting.
Beautiful.
Quest.
Ooh, Lumineer's Quest.
All right, what do we?
The other thing I have not been able to talk
Oh.
about for
Whoa.
so long, but really wanted to,
Look at
is
that.
Lumineer's Quest.
Cooperative game.
It's a
Oh,
whole
co-op
new way
game.
to play Disney
New
Lorcana.
card.
Instead of playing against your friends and
my
family,
God.
you are now playing
Huh.
with them. It is a cooperative experience where you will team
Wow.
together to defeat the Ursula Glimmer and
Make it
save Lorcana
instant.
itself. It's awesome. It's
Wow.
amazing, and I can't wait for
It's
you to try
Piglet.
it.
Piglet
Yeah,
pirate.
that was the piglet.
That was a Piglet, yeah.
One of the more subtle changes we're making with Set 4 has to do with the
Oh.
accessories. Now, in
Okay.
the past, the accessories always pulled art from the set that they came out with, but
Yeah.
starting with Set 4, we're going to use this opportunity to pull art from any of the sets so that we can really highlight those fan favorites, such as
Oh, okay.
Giant.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
There we
Let's go.
She got her own playmat, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to see some really great sleeves, deck boxes, and playmats
Nothing
going
on
forward.
Rapunzel.
And pull from all the
I love the
Last
artwork
thing I
on
want to talk
that
about
one.
is Disney Lorcana Challenge. This is our series of competitive events that allow you to show off your skills at deck
Let's
building
go.
and playing.
my
But I
God.
know what you all really care about are the prizes, and we are giving away some amazing prizes, and I'm here to show you what they are. First off is our participation prizes.
Whoa.
Participation
Comes to the event,
prize.
gets one of these, and it is this gorgeous Dragonfire. You can see we're doing a full
my
extended
God.
art all the
That's
way to the edge of the
gorgeous.
card.
That's
based on
beautiful.
the
That looks
original art
so
of the card.
good.
Let It Go is the day one performance prize
Yes.
card. Sounds really cool. What does that
Let
mean?
It Go.
Day
Well,
one
the top
performance
64
prize
are going to
card.
get one of these. There's
Okay.
also
Oh
other
my
ways you can get
God.
one of these as well. This beautiful Cinderella card is going to go to the top 32 players.
Yeah.
While
That looks
Rapunzel
great.
is only for the top
Rapunzel! Oh my God,
That's
finally!
beautiful.
We are doing a serialized
Oh,
gold
we need to
promo.
up the-
Serialized
we need to resolution.
Serialized
level.
gold.
Taylor. We've got some more details about Disney
Oh
Lorcana
my God.
Challenge later on in Lorecast. I'm super excited and I hope you are too. I'm going to be at a few of the events, so if you see me, hey, stop by. Let's talk Lorcana. Let's play a few games. I really can't wait. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the Lorecast.
Wow.
Offer accepted.
Come on!
That's something to play for.
Yeah, they're all
Wild.
beautiful.
Hello, Lumineers, and welcome to the
Look at
first
that.
Disney
Hey,
Lorcana
look, you know them.
Lorecast. Like
Benefits
Ryan
of
mentioned at the
living
start, we're here to talk to you
Hi,
about
Rochelle.
everything that's
Hi,
coming
Rochelle.
to Disney Lorcana.
Rochelle
And
shit. That's really
Ursula's return.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone I know is super hyped about it. We have the chat that we can see. All of you got so hyped about Bruno and Encanto and all of that. But I have some guests with me. You may have seen them actually when we came in here. So first, I want to introduce Erin from the Illuminateers.
Hey everybody, I am pinching myself still that we're actually sitting here for the first Lorcana cast. Thank you so much for the invitation to join all today. We're
Thank
really
you for
honored.
being here.
So everything in front of Erin is
And
all
I tell you what,
Set 3
same,
stuff, right?
Thank you
Yeah,
all for inviting
it
us.
looks
It's such
like
a
it.
treat. We just saw so much. I can't wait to talk about it. My mind is blown a little bit. Otherwise, I'd have something more eloquent to say.
And your name is?
Oh, my name's Lane.
And then also from
Matthew.
from Team Lorcana, Matt Ang, lead art director.
Art director.
Didn't mean to take that
Very
away
fitting
from
for
anyone.
the Illuminateers and the
okay.
lead art
Hi,
director.
everybody. I'm so excited to be here and be part of this first inaugural Lorecast. This is really exciting to be here.
Super nice guy as well, and
Yeah,
very
so,
active in the community. Watches
I
loads
think
of our
We
content.
kind of want to kick things off with, being that we have you guys here.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to seeing Set 4 Ursula's return?
I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose a little bit right now. We just saw so many incredible announcements, and I'm really excited to
Just
talk about
normally
all
what
of
it
them.
feels like
That
when the
trailer
next
for
set
Set
gets
4
released.
is
Mind-blowing.
incredible. Yeah, I love that the narrative of Lorcana is continuing. It seems like with every set, we're kind of diving deeper and deeper into the story that you've all been working so hard to roll out. And I think us as a community has been trying so hard to figure out.
Yeah.
And so things are like kind of starting to make sense a little bit. Some things we've seen in cards from the first 3 sets, like it's like, oh, maybe that's where it was going. So I'm really excited to
I didn't
more
see
about
such a
Set 4.
huge ramp up
Yeah,
into
me
the
too. I mean,
narrative
the
coming.
is
To be
such a
honest,
special part of this
Me
game.
neither.
At this point, we've just seen
Yeah, neither did I.
breadcrumbs, I think. By the way, if dive deeper was a Ursula pun, I fully approve. So good, well done there. But we really have, like, those of us who've been around for a while have seen these
Yeah,
little
that is all
tidbits
Set 3
throughout. We've
stuff,
kind
by
of
the
tried
way.
to piece together what's going on, and
Yeah.
even right away in the trailer, seeing that purple seaweed that we saw in Set 1 on like Mickey Mouse Detective and Duke Weaselton. And so what I'm really excited about is now that
Weaselton!
we've seen kind of the way things are going, this amazing villain appear, and so a ton of other characters I can't wait to talk about. Going back and looking and figuring out that the story was there
that's the new
all
thing there,
along.
look, in front of
We
Rochelle.
just weren't seeing it. But now I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
gateway product.
The
So-
gateway product, yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to
This
talk
t-shirt,
about
maybe?
first, before we get deeper into more of that Set 4, is the accessories, the playmats, and the card sleeves, the deck box. Ryan had mentioned that those aren't tied to the set anymore, so they'll still be releasing, at least for now, they'll still be releasing tied to a set. But Giant Tank as the biggest one, not intended to say it that way, but Giant Tank being the biggest one that fans have just been so excited about. that art ever since it was revealed. So to get that on a playmat, we're hoping people are going to be really excited about that.
Oh, they will be. I mean, give the players what they want, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You're right, Liam. We
do a
are.
lot of art analysis and interviews. We talk to the community, and I can't tell you the number of people who said that Big Tinkerbell was the card that got them into Lorcana. Like they saw that art and were like, I need to figure out.
They're very aware that the sleeves, especially,
and in a poll we did, 50%
so I wonder
of
if this
fans
is part of
ranked
the
Big Tinkerbell in the
rejig
top
with that.
10 cards of theirs in the first set. So this card is wildly popular, and I'm so excited that
Can they make more playmats
listening to the
too?
pulse of the community and pulling that
That's
out.
true.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It continues to be that way. Like we've had 2 other sets since we saw Big Tink in the first chapter, and Big Tink still in conversations consistently is one of people's like favorite pieces of art, and so to be able to see that in playmat form, I'm so excited to go to our LGS and like somebody roll out a Big Tink playmat. It's gonna be really fun.
The thing for us is that when we think about these accessories, you know, when people make their deck, like player expression, self-expression is important for both like TCG fans and Disney fans. And so being able to make sure that we're getting those fan favorite characters in so that players can express themselves through more than just their deck, you know, that's what we're hoping to have.
Lorcana between 2 ferns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I think we have some of the cards that were in there for card reveals.
There's
we can
so
show if we can switch to show card reveals.
I
have
to tell you,
that
there's
looks
so
so
many
good.
characters. I know people are going to be poring over this video afterwards too and trying to analyze all the little crumbs you showed us.
You nailed it.
I would love a brave little.
What's
Taylor.
nice
So
is
hopefully card reveals
this
should appear over
confirmation
here.
that they have
If
like
we can-
a
if we can
good
get
and nice
the first
studio
card pulled out.
set up.
Hey,
bingo!
A Dalmatian puppy.
Okay, the first card pulled up, please. Okay, is there? We have the first card. I'm sorry, from Ursula's Return.
I'm sorry.
That's great.
Oh, it's so good.
You know what you should have had
I
on
think
the
we're
bingo
out of
is
Dalmatian
technical
puppies,
difficulties.
So, the first card from Ursula's Return.
Oh, I feel bad. I feel so bad.
Come on.
You can do it.
Okay, actually a new one.
This is Floodborn Ariel. I know a
That's
lot of people
sick.
have been
Oh, dude, that is
asking
That looked pretty
for,
good.
Love it.
for Ariel
That's
as a
sick.
Floodborn. You know, Ariel in set 1 has been, or for the first
Right in
chapter,
the
has
Steel
been one
Song,
of
by the way.
the most popular cards out of Amber. And so for her to get a Floodborn
Holy
that
crap.
is Steel, which we're seeing a lot of that
Shift
Ariel
or
being
follow up
played
to
in
turn
Amber
3.
Steel decks.
Yeah.
You know,
Once the
this
Amber one's
Ariel
done its
is
work.
a 6-cost
Yep.
inkable,
And it can sing all the stuff she can sing
Floodborn.
anyways.
3 strength, 8 willpower, shift 4, with an ability Amplified
That-
Voice.
wow.
Whenever you play a song,
that's so
you may
good.
pay 2 ink to deal 3 damage to chosen character. And
I
I,
mean,
didn't
it-
mention this, she has 2 lore. I
Yeah,
know
Bivens
we've
is
talked
somewhere
about it,
going.
Smash
but
on
essentially
it's
those
a repeatable smash.
those Amber
Yeah.
Steel or Steel
I mean,
Song,
that
like
just
everyone
seems
keeps
great
referring to
in
them.
Steel Song.
Those Steel
really
Song
seems
decks,
awesome.
just got a huge tool where now that Ariel that they were already playing,
Yeah.
you know,
Great art.
she's
as well.
already doing what she was doing before.
Yeah, beautiful
But now
art.
if you have that Ariel sitting out on the
Marcel
board,
Berg, legend.
you can shift her into Sonic Warrior.
Enchanted
and,
Shoe-In?
and start using those songs that she found
Probably,
to deal
right.
additional damage. So, I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, it's
Another
so good on
expensive
so many
steel
levels.
card.
I mean, it's a
Hey,
great
she's
card.
pretty
Another 50
You can
bucks.
start
It's Steel
moving
card
towards
right
your win
The
condition.
good thing is it's only super rare,
I love
so
this
it's
card for
not.
some reasons. I
it's
do
most
love
likely
Ariel,
not gonna
though.
see,
Like in talking to fans
the
and talking to
legendary
artists,
prices.
it is amazing for how many people The Little Mermaid was such a formative Disney film for them. I underestimated personally how much this film meant to people and how many artists got their start tracing Ariel on VHS covers. There's like 5 artists who told us that. So the more Ariels, the better. And seeing Ariel, you know, in this form is just fantastic. And I think players are going to absolutely love it.
And I have to, like, that 8 willpower stat line is,
Yeah.
Yes.
we're starting
Come
to
on
see that,
now.
especially with
But
the lands
isn't
that
it
roll
3
out
strength?
and into the ink
Medusa
lands.
says
Like,
yeet.
really, when you have that over
Yeah,
like,
true.
5 willpower stat line, it becomes a little bit of a bear to get to get those off the board. And
I mean, those are pretty beefy
I think
stats
because
for a
of that,
6-drop.
just
For
as you
real.
said,
Even
Yeah,
the
really.
Steel Song
I'm
decks
fine with
just-
the lower
just got a
strength.
huge win
Yeah.
today.
Because again,
So those of you who play Steel Songs,
she's a defensive weapon.
good for you.
Why are you
so
going to
let's
be?
take a look at the
You're not
next
going to be able to
card
do
that we
everything
have.
on curve with her, though, right? Like you're not going to be able to
Right.
put it down on 4
Right.
and have
No,
the 2
no.
left over to smash something. So,
And unless you're playing like Ruby Sapphire, I don't think you can respond with the Medusa immediately if you shift her.
Right.
no, she can sit there for a
Oh,
second.
look, it's Stitch again.
Mirabelle.
So, yeah.
It's
one of the
Mirabelle.
things
Madrigal.
that,
Son of
Madrigal's
Madrigal
getting
is
some
the
family
you
stuff
actually
going on.
trait.
saw in the trailer when Bruno
Some
was
Madrigal tribal
Um,
coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mirabelle,
Which seems to be what
is
the
one of
starter deck
characters
looked like.
in
They showed
that
6
Yeah.
Madrigal
Yeah.
cards.
themed
Yeah.
starter
it.
deck.
Bunch of Madrigal.
So, Mirabelle Madrigal, Gift of the Family. She's a 5-cost uninkable amber character, 3 strength, 5 willpower, with support and an ability saving. Oh, I keep skipping the lore. 2 lore, and an ability saving the miracle.
That's why you
When
just
this
gotta say
character quests,
3/5/2.
Your other Madrigal characters get +1 lore this turn.
That's so cool for the starter
She kind of
deck.
depends.
I
Her
have to say-
effectiveness
oh,
kind of
sorry.
depends
Go
on the
ahead.
other
No, I was
Madrigals,
gonna
right?
say,
Yeah,
I
there's one
love
deck she
the
goes in,
Hiding
right?
stuff.
Like,
that y'all are
Yeah.
rolling
And
out.
and thus
I think
far we
especially
haven't
for new
we
players, for
haven't seen
casual
much play
players,
with any
it is
other
just that, like,
character that
extra
when you
piece
quest
to
like
kind of
give
get
other
them
things
bought
more
into Lorcana
Yeah.
when
see
they
play in
get
the
to
meta.
play
I mean,
out
like,
a
this
little
is
bit more of a
perfect for, like,
story.
an awesome
when they're
casual
experiencing
style
the
deck.
game for the first
Yeah,
time.
good theme
and
deck.
so
I mean,
I
like,
love that
I see
we're
I see
seeing
Lucky's
kind of
pop
an
up
Encanto starter
occasionally,
deck come together for this
but not.
set.
But yeah, competitively
I
not so
love
much.
that,
But
Competitively,
this is a
from
great
flavor
theme deck.
perspective,
Yeah.
which y'all always just
And
nail the
also I
flavor.
think a
feel
really
like so
good
much on these
idea for a
cards, but
starter
the
deck,
fact that Mirabelle
because there will
has
be one
support,
copy of
like
this in
her
the starter
role in the
deck.
film,
Right.
But
and
somebody
the
can
fact
then
that
very easily be
she
like, "Oh, I
gives
just go and
kind
make
of more
all the cards in
strength
this
some
same
ways,
Madrigal."
and when I use
Right.
strength,
And that's how
right
I
now we're
make the deck
talking,
better. You know, like
lore
it's got a
to
very
the other
clear
members of the
upgrade
Madrigal
path for
family.
new
I think
players.
that just plays so beautifully.
Frank Carson
into
in
who she
the
is as a
in the
character.
Twitch chat.
It's
saw him.
and I love the butterflies all around her too.
Oh, the artwork's incredible.
I just love Encanto in the game. We talked
Movie
to a lot
makes
of
so
people.
much sense in the game.
I'm gonna keep saying that. We talked to a lot of people. We were talking to a Lorcana artist who's from Colombia.
Name me a Disney
about,
property that doesn't make
Encanto,
sense.
and we asked specifically.
I
what was
mean,
it like
Hunger
for
the
you
South.
when you saw this film come out.
Next question.
Nailed it. Nailed
And
it.
they said it was life changing in some
I
ways.
just mean,
They got
I
to sit
expected
down
this movie
and
to
share
be
their
in
culture
set
with,
one,
with
honestly.
people around them who
It's
aren't
like
familiar with
you
Colombia.
you
and
think of like
so,
modern
for
successes.
films like
It's
this,
up there
they
with
really
I
have
love
a
White
set
Frozen.
Oh, yeah.
It's up
So
there,
to see
right?
this
It's very
hard
popular.
to see this franchise, in the game is just so exciting, and I think it's going to mean a lot to a lot of people.
So the next, we actually there were a
cast
bunch
out-
of cards there revealed
cast out
from
the Madrigal's gotta be
Encanto that are all in that starter deck. So we can go through each of them right now. I think the next one should be Bruno.
The overhead
Can we
cam.
talk about
I don't know.
I don't know. We might just have to move
Rochelle,
on.
you're running the show. You can talk about whatever
Here
you
we
want.
go.
Yeah, so you like Rochelle. You're
Bruno
the boss.
Madrigal, Out of the Shadows.
Bruno.
So he has a 5-cost uninkable Amethyst
Oh.
storyborn character, 4 strength,
chosen
5 willpower, 1 lore. I remember this time. With an
Really
ability, it was your
proactive.
vision. When you play this
Yeah.
character, chosen character gains. When this character is banished in a challenge, you may return this card to your hand.
Unless you
This
flip it off of Mufasa, then it's reactive.
Okay.
On flavor again.
So, when you play Bruno,
I mean,
you choose a character.
could
And if
maybe
that
no,
character
it
is
couldn't.
banished
I
in
don't
a
think it's very
challenge,
good.
it goes
It
down.
could maybe see
We've had
like
some characters that have
it'll
that
get
effect
another
in-
hit off your
in
fox,
previous,
maybe. Like
That's
if
what
it
I'm
comes
thinking,
down.
But this is really
Yeah.
like an on turn. I know that I'm going to challenge this turn.
But it's
playing
uninkable.
Bruno.
I don't know if it
and
does
get,
enough
like,
to,
No,
for,
pretty
not to
strong
be
for the
uninkable.
5 cost
out,
and uninkable. I don't
and
know
just
if
get
that's
that
enough.
effect.
It requires a setup.
I
I
mean,
think this could have
Otherwise,
been
it's
another
not very
bounce effect
good.
for,
Give me
Amethyst.
Facilier.
It does allow you to challenge into something, possibly remove it, get the card back in your hand, but then you also get that enter play effect again. with
Somebody
that
in the
character,
Twitch chat
you need
said
to.
we want a Bruno rat deck.
Pretty
That'd be
fun
sick.
card. I do have to
That
say,
would be fun.
Aubrey
All
is
Brunos get 1/1
incredible.
for
All
every
our cards are
Bruno it
amazing.
sees.
Just really nailed the character
Relentless
piece.
Brunos.
Yeah, relentless
Brunos. Sorry, there's a
Yeah,
Magic the
I
Gathering
mean,
joke for you all
it
there.
being uninkable is a little tough. I'm interested to see how it does play out. I do have to say though, because I
Spoiler,
realized I said
this
it
isn't gonna
while the
see
trailer
play.
was playing, but I'm
No,
so
it could-
excited for another
they
Amber
gotta give it a
Amethyst
rush.
starter deck.
Yeah.
I love those two colors together. I really loved the first
art,
chapter
though.
Amber Amethyst deck.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to play this one. And now that we have like this flavor kind of overlaying it. But this is really
I
interesting.
love
I'm
the
kind of,
amethyst being able to return
I'm-
stuff to hand.
I'm excited
Like,
to see
that's-
how this card
that's good.
pairs with
Stays on
cards
theme.
that kind of have challenger and that sort of thing, and how that'll play out in a game. So yeah.
So Mirabelle and Bruno are kind of the highlights of that Encanto deck. Packaging, and they're probably the rarest cards in that deck. But we do have some of the other ones that were shown in the video that we can go through pretty quickly.
Can I ask? So those Mirabelle and Bruno, those are going to be the cards in foil probably in that deck, because it's normally the ones on the front of the packaging. Great.
So Dolores Madrigal,
Ooh, I
easy
like that.
listener. She is
Oh,
a
that's pretty
4-cost
good.
inkable Amethyst
Okay.
Storyborn character, 3 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore, with an ability Magical Informant.
not a
When you
bad
play this
stat line,
character,
and
if an
the
opponent
Stat line
has
for
an
a
exerted
ability
character in
to
play, you may
replace
draw a
yourself in your
card.
hand.
That's way more playable than that, Bruno.
Yeah.
100%.
When we look
100%.
at the abilities, immediately, as a casual player, immediately I start going,
Wasn't
how am I tying this to flavor?
Mirabelle
Like,
a
how
5
does
cost?
her
Yes,
card draw
Mirabelle was
relate
5.
to her hearing things?
It'd be a while.
I'm going to still need to mull that over. But
curve of it.
I feel like it's
And
kind
the
of
stats aren't
weaving
bad,
and getting
especially
there.
with
But
her ability.
for those of you who might not have seen some of Liam in my videos before, you're going to hear us say this a lot today, which is, I love this art. The art team
Should have been on the
at
bingo
Ravensburg
cards,
does
3
such
space.
an incredible
Well, so here's the
job.
thing you see.
Thank
The
you.
artists
I
they bring
couldn't-
on
You weren't allowed
board
to say
are
anything.
I wasn't allowed to say
just,
that the
amazing,
Illuminateers were on
and
it.
again,
Yeah.
this is wonderful.
But
I
yes,
love.
Illuminateers loving
this
the art would have definitely
is
been
a
in the
little
middle
bit more
square.
stylized than kind of your modern storybook feel.
I
a little
definitely
bit.
see
I
this
feel
being
like I
a
see
really
kind of
solid,
some more sketch lines,
almost budget option if you don't
in
have
the
like the
character, which
optimized
I love
cards
when we
for a
see
deck.
things that are
Sure.
a
Right,
Being a
but
he's
it-
tiny
but
bit more
this it's still a
stylized,
pretty decent
so
stat
I
line
really
for the
appreciate
cost,
that.
Yeah.
especially in that color
I
and
love cards
and
that,
the
that
ability
make your
to
opponent
potentially
think.
draw.
And
off
in
of
this
it,
scenario, with this
replaces
card,
itself,
especially when you're
it's
playing
not
starter deck on
terrible.
starter deck,
He's like,
No,
your
no,
opponent
no.
has to kind of think
Actually,
twice
common,
about whether
I
they
think
want
that's
to.
really
Do
solid.
I want this one lore this turn,
would
or,
draft it all
or
day
on
long
turn
as well.
4 is my
I was
opponent
about
going
to
to
say,
get a
really
free
Very
good
good and
copy?
limited.
limited.
So, it's kind of fun. I like it.
And then we can look at the next one.
Can we?
There's a little
We
delay.
can. We can.
Luisa Madrigal, the
Okay.
magically strong one.
We have 5.
Not
She
loving
is a
it, but
4-cost uninkable storyborn character. 4 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore with rush.
I mean, Fox is just
Yeah, when
Pretty
Fox
straightforward.
exists,
yeah.
I don't know why you play this.
She
yeah.
is the strong one. But yeah,
Unless you're playing a
I
deck
think,
that cares about rush.
great character. Love
Yep.
Luisa.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Just that
I think
unlinkability
people can figure
still.
this one out. I'm sure that there's Luisa fans.
Yep.
I think we can go to the next one.
Going to put a lot of pressure on your opponent's
love
board.
Rochelle knows
Yeah.
what splits the beat.
Felix Madrigal. He's a 3-cost inkable Amber character.
2/4/2.
2 strength,
Not
4
bad for
willpower,
Amber.
2 lore.
Like a go wide.
No abilities,
Yeah, big
but he
butts
has
on
another
Amber's pretty
Madrigal. If you're playing that
And the 2 lore.
Mirabelle themed deck,
Yeah.
really want to have as many of the Madrigals in your deck as you can. This is really just supporting that.
And he's inkable.
To be honest, this
Which
starter
I
deck is
feel like
looking
we're
pretty
seeing like
good.
kind of
Yeah, it's not
a
bad.
Yeah, what's the other one
balance
like?
of
Because at the
inkable
minute,
and inkable in the Madrigal
just
family,
putting stuff
so
down,
it's great that
maybe
we're
seeing
seeing a few more inkable options here.
what's the name? I don't really know
With the
Encanto
2
very well.
lore.
The main
Always
one.
love
Yeah,
the
he does
2 lore.
really well with Mirabelle.
Mirabelle.
Strong in a starter, right? Like
Yeah.
just throw stuff down and then quest loads. Like let's be
Yeah.
honest, out of all
Yep.
the sets so far, that's the starter that does that is usually the one
Yep.
that's stronger out the gate.
When you play,
think
remove
it's
up to
Julieta.
2. If you remove damage.
Julieta Madrigal.
Oh, she's
Any
a
amount
mini
of damage.
Apologies if I
Rapunzel.
mispronounced it.
Yeah.
But 3-cost inkable, 1 strength, 4 willpower.
We already have 2 characters in the
1
starter that
lore,
immediately
and an
replace this.
ability signature recipe.
It's
When you
That's
play
so
this character,
bold.
you may remove up to 2 damage
I
from
like the
chosen
flavor
character.
text is
If you
so,
removed damage this way, you may draw
could be
a
so
card.
toxic.
So she's kind of like a mini Rapunzel.
It is me more.
Obviously, Rapunzel different
Well,
with
if you
healing.
say it like that.
She draws cards for every
I think it's meant to be.
damage that
Eat
you
this.
remove, but this kind of like
No,
plays
eat
into
this.
the theme, especially people that love healing up their characters. You could really play that one and Rapunzel in a deck.
Little mini Rapunzel. I kind of dig it.
We are seeing more cards, or you've all given us more cards recently that give you some benefit if you have damaged characters or damage themselves, or so that they come and play damage. So I can see kind of a theme, a deck being built around this, damaging your characters and removing the damage for some benefit. I like it a lot, and on flavor.
Yep. I need that for my.
You're seeing the opportunity to play
blue,
her
yellow,
outside of
princess
this Madrigal
healing.
package as well. Like
that too.
She has some versatility here, which is really great. I have to say, I can't believe I didn't bring this up earlier, but like I love, and it makes sense that Madrigal is kind of a subtype. Almost. So
because Mirabelle was looking for other Madrigal cards.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It totally makes sense that we're not
Show us
just
more
looking for the
Tigger
Madrigal last name. But we're actually looking for that
Remember from
Madrigal
set one, like
so
why do we see
I'm
the
curious to
Tigger?
see how that
We
makes
want a Tigger Lord.
Right?
Also
Gotta
the
have it.
frame, the window frame.
So
He's very amber.
that should be
Very
all
amber,
of
very
the
cool.
Encanto cards that we're showing. So we can move on.
Where's the grandma?
The next, we have a few more card reveals before we get into talking a little bit more.
And
looks like we're
Keep bringing in the card reveals. We're totally fine with that.
It won't be card reveals for the whole time, unfortunately.
that's okay.
that's okay as long as we get more stuff.
All right, guys. Nice seeing you.
Bye.
We're gonna just slowly go through all 200 cards in set
No.
4
Yeah.
during the stream. No.
There aren't to go for. That's
a
nice.
lot of cards. but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's coming here.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it because I can see it.
I can't tell. I mean,
What's next?
Here
There
it
it is.
comes.
There
Look
we
at
go.
this.
Oh wow.
I love the
Elite
frame.
Archer.
Legendary.
God.
6
Yeah, the
cost,
frame.
Oh, yeah,
Soul,
legendary.
Ruby, Floodborn, Mulan.
Yeah, look at all the
2
ink.
strength,
Like-
6 willpower.
I'm big on the ink.
This is our
Spooning out.
first legendary.
Oh my
reveal of the
goodness.
set. So she has
Dude.
shift 5.
It's really
let's go
cool.
for it.
Oh,
Two
wow.
other?
Two other.
Wow.
2 abilities. The first one, straight shooter.
Oh, it took
When
me a
you
long
play this
time.
character,
Dude,
if
you
you
could deal up to
shift
15
play
points
her,
of damage.
She gets
That's
plus 3
insane.
strength.
That is
plus
pretty
3 strength
big.
this turn. And then the second
Man.
ability, triple shot.
Does she
During
have
your
a good
turn,
shift
whenever this
target?
character deals damage to another character in a challenge, deal the same amount of damage
It's 5
to
plus
2
strength.
other chosen characters.
There's an
Shift
uninkable
5.
4-drop, I think.
So
with Rush.
when she comes in,
There's
I
the
mean,
support.
this is removal.
Yeah,
There's
and
a
in a
free
different
drop.
color.
There's a
For
free
3
drop
other
on board.
characters.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
This is a scary card for sure, and fits
Honestly,
in
not
so
bad
nicely
either.
Oh
with
wait, yeah,
this
she's got a
Ruby.
great shift
I'm
target.
Sure.
Morph.
Right.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
If you have the
so
Duke down,
Mulan
she gets
Floodborn.
plus
I'm trying to
1.
think
So
of
it's
shift
6.
targets for her right
She have
now.
what down?
The Duke,
There's
because
a
she's a
few.
princess.
Oh, yeah,
There
yeah,
might
yeah.
be,
the-
there might be
Ooh.
some more
Yeah,
inside.
Amber,
Okay,
Amber
cool.
Ruby really come
But-
That was why I
together.
was like,
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
so she could deal
One of the
18
really fun
damage.
things
And
about
notoriously,
this, like
Amber
we saw
Ruby is
in the
lacking in,
trailer,
like,
is
unless
Mulan
you're-
is one of
this
the
is more
characters
removal
kind of
options
taking
for
on the
that.
fight against
Oh, for
Ursula.
sure.
Oh, because Ruby needs that.
You
You
know,
know.
this
Well, you don't
pretty
wanna
much
always
sums up
have to
what was
play
happening there.
Dragonfire,
They were
you know?
surrounded, and she's
Mantis
throwing
is
out
chat.
triple
Mantis,
shots to try and
mentions
take out
Bishop.
some of the
That could be
glimmers
pretty cool,
to
too.
Oh yeah.
Already being
Oh,
protect
yeah.
the Lumineers. So
basically
I
a
think
board
this
wipe.
is
It's
really
really
strong
nice.
for Ruby.
That's right.
That border is
Ruby
amazing.
loves removing.
Yeah, I love
I
that.
love
Yeah,
this
that's-
art.
that's-
This is
that's
crazy.
Removal.
Another
Keeping in
frame
all
rate.
around it,
Just played
yeah,
right into it.
that's
And the fact
one.
that
If we're going to see
you know,
that on
there are
all
cards in Ruby where
legendaries
you're
or all,
just banishing a character.
do you
But
notice
this
that on the
actually,
aerial?
because she's challenging,
I didn't
didn't
notice
see
you know,
that
it
frame
sort
on
of
the
plays into
aerial.
if you're
Okay, so
going
that
around
was
those
maybe
themes
the
of
legendary frame then?
challenging a character to do an effect. You could fit Mulan into a deck
I
archetype
feel like
that.
Nicola
Yeah, I mean,
Saviori
really swings board
hits
states
every
is
time.
great. It's inkable.
Well, what's the deal with the
I also
card?
the flavor. You know, for those who watch the movie, there's that scene where Mulan fires 3 arrows at a target and shoots 3 targets. So that's great. So it,
Oh, yeah,
it also is calling back to
224.
the story.
Yeah.
And the creative team and the art team are also doing fun stuff.
Oh,
with
yeah, I
the,
see that.
with the text
Yeah,
box here
what
with
the heck?
Alternate treatment.
new,
legendary?
So it could
I
just
know.
be an
do we
alternate
have a
Style.
frame
treatment.
break? We kind of have
Yeah.
like a little thing up in the top
Oh, they're
right where
not
the
even gonna
frame even
acknowledge
is
that
creeping
either as
into
well.
the piece.
No, they're
So they
not.
shot this with
You'll
the
know-
cooperative
You'll know some
thing,
new frame
right?
elements on
So
this
maybe it's
card in
in there.
particular, but
Matt, can I ask? Are you trying to communicate something in terms of the story or anything with the black lines coming in? Are we going to see other cards with that or?
absolutely.
Is that
So,
it?
like Rochelle said, Mulan is battling Ursula, so we actually have a little bit
Okay.
of the
Oh, that makes sense.
visual motif of Ursula's kind of environment around the border of the card.
I really
like
see
that.
things that
Please tell me
remind
if you
you
in
of
Twitch chat are
being
asking why it's
underwater
224.
or
The
kind
Twitch
of
chat
like
is.
tentacles, but not exactly Ursula's tentacles in those shapes.
I love that so much.
Didn't the
And
cards
then,
that they showed with the
I
cooperative
believe we have 2 more
expansion
cards to show
had all these
for now.
in the?
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I saw at least one
So
more.
they're like after numbered the enchanted, probably like.
Well, this next
special
one.
Yeah.
This
Mickey
says
Mouse
this
Playful
is
Sorcerer.
16-1.
So, we've had Fantasia.
Ooh, there we
in
go.
the game,
Ooh.
but,
Me likey.
Sorcerer's Apprentice has kind
Broom
of been
top.
hinted
Broom.
at. People have been, wanting more of Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Equal to
So now we
the
have here Mickey Mouse
number of
Playful
brooms you
Sorcerer.
have in
Play.
play.
Oh, that's so
See
fun.
Sorcerer's Apprentice for the first time. 5 cost
Removal.
inkable, steel, Bloodborne.
Yes.
Did you just say broom removal?
Yes. 3.
He did. And he loved every second of it.
Take myself out.
And resist 1 with an ability, sweep
Okay,
away.
do we think maybe
When you play
this
character,
tentacle
deal damage
treatment
to
is
chosen
like an
character
alt
equal to the
treatment
number
then?
of broom
gotta
characters
be,
you have
That would
in
make
play.
sense.
The alt
For the
treatment
set.
for the,
No.
for
For
the set thing.
it's the Illuminator's
in
Quest
that-
Deep
in
Trouble
that
thing.
broom deck.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah,
4 of
yeah,
these.
yeah, yeah.
It's pretty
Okay.
solidly
Which means
now.
we're probably gonna have 20
Amethyst
enchanted or
Steel.
Yeah, because
something.
the
If you're
piglet that we
playing
already
Broom,
have
Oh,
also
16
has
enchanted.
that frame.
there was a lot of
Oh.
So do
speculation
you think
on
those will come in
where are they
regular
going with
packs, or
brooms.
you'll
Is there
have to
going to
get
be
the
a broom in
Illuminator's
every
Quest thing to
color?
get
But
them?
it lives pretty comfortably in
Good question.
Amethyst Steel, where you're using, there's already the one Mickey Mouse
good
that
target for that,
plays
right?
with brooms, and now
Yeah, but if I'm playing
point.
if I'm playing a
Target, and
broom
now a
deck
great,
though,
shift
I
to use
want
with it.
Wayward Sorcerer on board. I don't want to
I
shift.
mean, we've
them.
all been waiting for the broom meta to be a thing for a
Yeah.
while now, so this is super exciting. Again, Matthew, that element, the black lines coming in.
I'm
those
fine
tentacles, not
playing this for
tentacles,
5
so that kind
though.
of indicates where we are in the
Oh, yeah.
story, and I love it. So
Yeah,
to highlight
for sure.
the creative team again, like. This is not an enchanted card, which we're used to seeing like full art on. But what you've done with the text box here, it kind of feels that way. It almost feels like a full art bleed throughout the whole thing, and I really, really love that as a complete piece. This card,
border on the
aesthetically is
stream.
just beautiful.
Additionally,
Somebody
I love,
in chat says
it's
this
a
Illuminateers guy
Bloodborne,
is so
but
good.
he's in a very traditional Mickey costume, which I think is interesting.
handle
for Bloodborne.
Liam's mom.
We know Floodborns came from the Ink Flood that we saw in set 2.
That was good.
But
Oh my
normally
God.
when we see a Floodborn character, they are, fairly different from their traditional character that we see in a Disney film. They're in a different costume, but this character is in that Sorcerer's Apprentice costume. And so I'm interested to see kind of like where we go with that and expanding our understanding of like what these Floodborns are, and how they interact in the world of Lorcana.
Yeah,
He's surrounded by water.
Interesting thing about
Therefore,
Floodborne,
Bloodborne.
which from a story standpoint, but I had been trying
Watch
to
it
bring up
yourself.
with people in the community a lot, is that there was this understanding that people had that Floodborne meant specifically non-canonical, and a lot of times it does. But this being Mickey Mouse, he's slightly different from the normal Mickey
Gotta
Mouse.
see another broom now.
The canon typical version of Mickey Mouse.
I don't
so
know.
a Floodborn
We
does
got a
bring out
hyena in
something
set
that's
3
there
and
in the
nothing
character all
else.
along.
Yeah,
That
true.
weird about
Yeah,
other
you'll
hyenas.
actually see us explore a little bit more of what you were just talking about, what it means to be a Floodborn Glimmer, what's different about them.
I would
or,
argue the reason he's Floodborne is because he
what that
seemingly
means
has control.
from set to set as well.
Power he's
You'll see
using,
us
she doesn't
Right.
have in the original.
Yeah.
So this is probably the first
I also wonder
opportunity
if the
we're starting to see
Floodborn,
some
and I don't know if they mentioned this, but like they
And shout out
like
to
those
Alex
glimmers
Mazzoni again. I think
came
he's
originated from
an
the
incredible artist.
world of Lorcana.
An incredible
not
artist.
like the
Like,
original story.
for
that
the
they're
last
pulling,
of these card
don't
reveals
know.
in this section.
I also think it's just a mechanic
One more from
as well.
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, right, right.
But it-
But if they're trying to
Yeah.
tie it to like a
Narratively,
story,
sorry,
element,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Those are legendary.
Yensid,
Yensid.
finally.
You drop
Yensid,
legendary.
powerful sorcerer.
Ooh,
He is a 2-cost inkable
Ooh.
Amethyst Storyborn
That's
character.
pretty good.
That's a payoff
One
right
strength,
there
pretty
again.
good.
one
Good.
willpower,
and it's only
one
2.
lore.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nailed it.
2 abilities.
Um,
The first one,
let's
timely
play this in.
intervention.
Let's bounce.
When you
Can I?
play this
I'll bounce
character,
it.
If you have a
and play-
character
oh,
named
man.
Magic Broom in play, you may draw a card. Second ability.
Okay,
Arcane
I'm
Aesthetic.
getting a little worried
While you
about
have
these
2 or
numbers
more
now.
Broom
These
characters
two,
in
this
play,
2, 2, 3.
This character gets +2 lore. So again,
Why?
solidly
Because if they're
Amethyst Steel,
inside that
this card being
Lumineers
legendary.
quest thing,
So our second
oh,
legendary reveal.
saying we're guaranteed a
People
legendary
who've
in
been
every one of
calling
those
for
we
the
open.
broom
We're
meta
guaranteed
are
this
just-
legendary in
It's
every one of those we
here.
open.
It
Or
has
are they-
That means
arrived.
it'll be
and I'm
cheap.
so excited.
Special
The broom
packs in
meta
there.
is real.
Yes,
So we have to buy multiples of
that
them.
is the engine.
That's
I hope
incredible.
not.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
gosh. I'm trying to think about,
But also,
you
that
know, as we're looking
means
at this,
the secondary price
lines
would
of
be
play,
could be cheap.
you know, knowing that this is a
Because
two-cost
there's just gonna
character,
be a
but
lot out
looking
on
at
the
trying to
market.
get 2 brooms.
I can't imagine in a
in
cooperative
play,
game that they're not
and
just
then
already in
playing
there
instead,
free to play,
you know, to then
especially if they're on the
quest
front.
and as a
Right.
casual player,
Need to
that's
go
not
back.
my
I wanted
brain
to go
does
back
not
and
It does
look at
feel
I'm hoping they
weird
talk
fast
about it
enough,
when
but
they
for it
will.
to be a legendary then, you know?
I think it's
Yeah,
something
like
we
what's
should
Yeah.
surely a
You
legendary
can
just
consider it
means
as a
it's
closer,
rarer.
right? Like he's a 3-lore character in this deck when you you know, set the conditions. So he's good anytime in the game if he draws you a card and replaces
Jim's
himself.
been
but then you're
hyping
building
up
up towards him
brooms
getting
for a
3 lore,
long time
and then
now,
he can
so
kind of close out the game.
Alex.
I don't know if that's there yet.
There
I
were
think the big problem we have with brooms is the payoffs still look pretty good, but the brooms themselves
guessing
aren't.
on things
Right.
like what are they
Yeah.
going to announce, what are they going to reveal.
you
and I
need
saw one
something
person
else
that
at
was
the
like, I
top
want
end of the
Yensid more than anything. I was like, we are going to make that
funny if there was
person
like
a
in particular
Bloodborne
very
Yensid
happy
who was
to
I
who
do
hope
turned
it.
you're
into a
watching
broom.
that person.
Yeah. I am very happy though that we do
so
finally
yeah,
get Yensid.
Now,
Yes.
a bunch of people in the chat were asking what's up with the collector number.
Okay,
Finally.
here we go.
And the reason for that, if you caught it in the beginning, is that when you purchase a Lumineer's Quest, you're actually getting Mulan in one deck. It comes with
So
2-player
you're
decks.
getting-
One of the decks, you're actually getting that Mulan card. And in the other deck, you're getting Yensid and Mickey. So
Yeah, you called it.
they come in the Illumineer's Quest in these player decks that are built for Illumineer's Quest. And I kind of want to like take that to go over to talk more with you about Illumineer's Quest. The announcement that there is a co-op mode for Disney Lorcana that is
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear
She
what
has
said-
been held back
because
all
she
this
didn't
time,
say
but
only, right?
The
She
story
didn't say
has
only.
been leading to having this co-op mode, play with your friends. Typically, TCGs are an experience where you're always playing against someone, but we kind of like we saw this as an opportunity that for Disney Lorcana, a
Ash just
Disney
did something
trading
similar
card game,
recently.
that one of the best things would be to find out ways that we can have people play together where you're not necessarily just competing with each other. And at the same time, it's so tied into the story. This is the end of the story. This is the end of this Ursula story that has been kind of teased, and I hope people go back and look at the first 3 sets and see like where there's been pieces
Just
and
watch
hints and
Jonti's
all
video,
that.
he'll do
There's
it.
stories that are in there that people, at least I haven't seen people pick up and connect the dots yet. That,
What?
that
Oh,
are
come
actually
on.
gonna
I was in a
Gotta go.
play
video.
out.
I was in a video, and Warlock
the
Leverum's
conclusion of
YouTube
in this
video.
Illumineer's
It's
Quest.
literally about
It's
Ursula
gonna
being the
answer
big bad.
things
Come
for people
on.
that have been having questions about what happened in this story, what happened in this one. So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts about that?
I mean, you know, when we thought about, when we were coming here and we were like, you know, these are the things we expect. Of course, we thought, you know, set 4 and a bunch of other stuff. And a co-op mode, a product like this, a game mode like this, didn't even occur to us. So when I saw it, I was
Didn't have that one on
shocked
the
and
bingo
excited.
card.
You know, for a lot
I
of
just
players,
wonder
I
how
think,
popular
you
it'll
know,
be. I wonder how many people will
confrontational play
enjoy
is
doing it.
fun, but I
Looking
do
at
think
the
that people,
size of the
especially families,
box,
friends,
looks
are
like
looking
it's
for
gonna replace
opportunities
the
to
gift
play
set.
in a
This
different way
set,
to
I think,
play
Yeah.
more
It's
cooperatively.
similar in design in the
And
box.
so
yeah.
the idea of
Probably more
you
expensive
versus
than the
the
gift set if
board,
it has
you
two
versus
I would
the
have thought
character,
so
you
if there's
trying to
decks in it,
achieve,
yeah.
you know, some sort of end
Um,
state with
I'm just,
all
and
of
if
your
it,
friends.
if it is that,
$10
I think
American.
is so wonderful.
if it does, if it
And,
is that
I
if that
also
sort of
love it as an
early
exclamation
Ursula
point to
art
the story.
is from those
The
boxes, they'll sell
story
well because
is,
collectors
to
will
me,
want
is
them
one of the
to
things that
pick
makes
up.
As long as we
Lorcana
get enough.
so special.
That'll
It's
be
the
the
narrative
thing,
that
yeah.
works its way into the details of the card art, the details of the abilities, and that narrative supports a lot of the game. And so I'm just excited. I'm excited for the game mode, and I'm excited for the story. Yeah.
I'm struggling here because I honestly feel like words cannot accurately describe how excited I am for this and how much this
Well,
game
I'll show you
mode
through interpretive
means
dance.
to me personally. When Liam and I first met, and
play
kind of at the beginning of
TCGs?
our relationship and our marriage, I was not a board game player. I played Life with my family. I played Monopoly, you know, your traditional American board games. And because I didn't grow up with that, you know, I had siblings. My brothers, you know, played American football and, you know, all of these sorts of things. They were really competitive, and I was never really a competitive person. I did dance and art and that
Somebody
sort of
in
thing.
chat
And
says
so
this all sounds great, but where are comprehensive rules?
For me, is this
yeah, I'm thinking we didn't
just
get
not
dates
naturally
for the co-op stuff
And
or locations. No
How long has this been going so far?
that
40
is a
minutes?
hurdle
About that.
40 minutes. We
I
had
have to overcome as a person because I'm not
We had
naturally
a
a competitive
rough,
player, which is why I really enjoy
4,000 people
casual
watching
play.
though.
I love
Pretty
playing
good.
with my family and the like.
4,000.
So when
4,000?
Liam was
Wow.
teaching
4,000
board games,
people watching
he
this.
started
Viewers
introducing
and,
me to more and more
It's
cooperative
definitely the
showing
biggest
up.
thing they've done there
cooperative
because
games are what made me fall in
the
love
ones they've done on
with
the
gaming.
Discord would get about 500 to
And now
600,
it
I
is
think.
how we
Yeah.
teach our friends and our family.
How many are watching us,
how to love
Brandon?
gaming.
Restream
And we
says
always, when we
430
go
something.
to, you
Oh,
know,
hey, hi.
my
Hey,
favorite
everybody.
gifts for Christmas
Hi,
and
hi,
Christmas,
Matt.
we're always known to
You're the
bring a
cooler
bag full
people.
of
You
games,
pick the
and
better version.
75% of them are cooperative
To everybody watching,
games
make sure you go
because,
subscribe to all our channels.
It's something that everybody can walk away from feeling good because nobody's won, nobody's lost. We've all won together, or we've lost together. And so having
It
that
eliminates the
element of
feels bad
Lorcana
moments.
is such like a beautiful thing for me and means so much to me as a player. So like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get emotional, y'all.
Actually, before
Thank
Aaron
you guys
cries,
so much
bless
for
her.
doing that. I think it's just gonna change the way people around the world experience this amazing game. So.
I will
If
bring
can
up
find
that
it.
when we were watching it here along with everyone, you
Still
know, there were
gets
things that you
great.
guys were like, oh, that's so cool, or oh my gosh, like, and like reacting to. But when Ryan said our first cooperative game mode for Disney Lorcana, like, you shouted, like you were so excited, where you were like, I can't believe this is happening. I know you're like tearing up right now.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not kidding, y'all. I am actually, like, there is a tear in my eye. Like, it's so amazing. And I'm so grateful that y'all think about the community as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, you have people who love competitive play, but you have families, you have people like me who just, you know, want to sit around a table like this and talk and have coffee and walk away feeling great. Have the feelings that Disney gives us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I reckon Michelle's just got like a sealed box of Inkland sat in front of her. Like, I know that they've just got product
you
lined
really,
out.
you know, we're all here. You know, everybody's watching. We're all here
Open the
because we love
box.
games and gaming. Is
becomes a whatnot stream.
New friends, give us something to do, made us feel good about ourselves. Like gaming, if you believe that games matter and that they make the world a better place, and that the more people that
Take a
are
quick
engaged
20
in
minutes
and
to
introduced
stream.
to
We're going to be selling the
then the
pools.
more ways that people have to play and experience games, it's just better.
Yeah.
And so the more avenues that we can give people into LGSs, into
Two trumpets is
Lorcana,
not
into
this box is
TCGs, into
trash.
board games.
Anyway, moving on.
I just think it's better. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that happens with trading card games a lot of the time is that someone might say, "Oh, that looks really interesting to me. Maybe I'll just collect it." But I'm not someone that likes playing games against other people. This gives a new avenue where you can jump into Disney Lorcana and play it, and you don't have to compete against anyone.
So show us then.
There are you can play solo also. So if you just want to play by yourself, you can do that.
I'm eager to see how it plays
it's just the
compared
same
to how you
player decks of
actually
Disney
play
Lorcana. You may
Lorcana.
need
Like,
to
all the
make
rules
a
are
deck
the same.
specifically for co-op.
What if
because
someone
now you
gets
have
to
think about,
what if you could
you know,
theoretically like,
there
I
were
want to play
cards
Ursula
that were in
this game,
previous sets
you know,
that
and be
were
your
very
villain.
heavy
Yeah, like
support
a
cards,
Marvel
and
Champions
people were
type
saying
thing.
like,
Like you
well, this
used
doesn't
to
seem
play the
playable
bad
and
guy.
competitive, but there are cards that are designed with
Supposedly the
cooperative
product
play in
pages on
mind.
the
And
website are
so
live for set
now it
4.
like makes you go back and you're
Co-op
like,
box.
oh, that card that gives so much support that I wouldn't have played against another player because they'll just remove it. Now it's like, oh, I can support my friend and we can like get through this together. But yeah,
I wonder if this co-op thing is
out of
also
a
kind of a
box,
pilot for another
of
film.
Winner's Quest. Deep Trouble
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
that's
first
quite a big,
scenario.
overview
So
of
this
it
is
on
the
the
end of that
website.
Ursula story. It comes with those 2 player decks. You can play by yourself or you can play with one friend. Out of the box, you don't need anything else.
This is
That's
golden
amazing.
You
cards.
have additional
website.
Disney Lorcana player decks.
That
golden
Ursula's
back
got to be a
card.
Floodborn Ursula.
So For
that
those
art
of you that
looks
already
sick
have
with
your own
Ursula.
decks, I mean, this is another reason to bring people in. There's 4 varying difficulty levels, so you can play on
Whoa.
easy, or you can play on the hardest difficulty to give yourself a
sweet.
challenge.
I
That's
like
interesting.
For those
Especially
really
these, like, larger
hardcore
cards
Disney
that are-
Lorcana players.
It should really be less hard and super hard, because the easy one is not that easy.
Do you speak from experience, Matthew? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
imagine.
We'll just say
interested in this.
okay, good. But anyway, one of the other
Oh, it's
things that was
cool.
really
There's a-
cool,
there's
if
a-
you saw in there,
there's
there
a
was
prize
this gold pack.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That
Look
has
at
a
that now.
message, a contract. Ursula's known for her contracts.
And secret
You
victory
cannot
card.
open that until you have defeated Ursula. We won't tell you what's in that pack, but make sure if you're
People
invested
aren't
in the
just going
story.
to buy it and then open it.
This
right
is this
Yeah,
is going to
it's
be
gonna get ripped in
scout.
parking lots.
away.
This
Yeah.
is going to be scout heaven.
It's
hell.
what it is inside that thing is going to be a rules card about how locations work with square coordinates.
Make sure you do not open
Nailed
it.
it.
Story of our life. So
You guys didn't
yeah,
want
you
them,
said
and
a
we
lot
didn't
of-
have anywhere else to put them.
Yeah.
Imagine it is the
One of our
like
favorite ways
one-fourth of a
to play
puzzle.
is 2v2.
You know, one-fourth
because
of
there
a
are
puzzle
cards.
card.
to
all
your
of the-
point,
it's
there's
all of the
amazing cards,
puzzles.
Coconut Basket, for example. Heal any character.
Or it's just bulk
It's a great
comments.
card. In
I feel like it's
multiplayer,
going to
when
be
you
the
have teammates to
Trident on a
support, but it's
serious
card-
note.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be.
sure.
Oh yeah.
It's a good
Just
one, yeah.
my big concern is that any of the cards that are in this aren't available
Right.
in regular
They'll
packs.
probably-
That's
Well,
that's
the-
Probably doesn't
I
see it
don't
in the
think
bulk
they'll do
box.
that.
And then you dig
There's
in there and
already
you find
the
cards that you can build a really
Ursula's,
awesome deck for a specific
Ursula's
game
deck
mode.
has golden card
and they become
backs.
valuable in that game mode.
Which is
So I
interesting.
love that.
Oh wait,
I
Yeah.
love.
okay. There is an Ursula card
corporate
on
games
the
again, 'cause it's a way to
website.
teach
Yeah,
people
it's
how to
like
play.
a-
Not
like
only
a
give them a
legendary
way to
one,
play
right?
that where you're not
Yeah.
competitive, but
I'll
where you
have to
can
look
sit
at that
somebody down
after the
next to you,
stream.
you can look at their hand and you can kind of coach them through,
Yep.
what you would do.
Yep.
That is because whenever you're teaching people to play, oftentimes there's a
Gosh,
feel
I
bad
have a
moment where
million
you're like, I know
questions
the right
about
thing to do is to challenge you to remove your character, but if I do that, it feels bad, but I want to show you the right
They
thing
pull
to
up a
do.
fifth chair for you, Jonti.
Anyway,
They're like,
I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
No.
He like
product.
he
And
gets
the
up
sealed
from
envelope
this
is a
screen,
fantastic
walks
idea.
into frame on the.
I really hope people
After intermission,
keep that
Jonti's
off
not
the
there.
internet to let everybody experience that for themselves. Because what a fun moment to get to open that with a group and see what is in there.
Yeah, I mean, one last thing about Illumineer's Quest before we move on. Do not spoil it for people. It is story. It is heavily story-based. Do not spoil it for people. We're actually, as a rule, making sure that we're not sharing everything that's in there, and we're especially not sharing what's in the contract card. But we are not
that
sharing what the
says to me
story
that
is
it's a
ahead of
card that
time.
you
We
can't
want
pull in
people to
regular
experience
packs.
it for the first time playing it. I know
Ooh.
spoilers
Yeah,
are
I'm
gonna get
very
out there,
scared that these things
but,
are going to be scalped to oblivion.
yeah,
and
cheated,
nobody's
cheated,
gonna
and
be
then
able to find them.
spoilers, because spoilers are going to get out there. If you're someone that hates spoilers, protect yourself. Mute
Save
Illuminator's
yourself.
Quest, probably mute Lorcana
Run!
around the release of the set. But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I really hope it's not like
we're
a
gonna move
super
on from Illumineer's Quest.
playable card.
It can be an alt
show on
treatment
Illumineer's Quest.
all day long.
We really
It's
could.
Yeah.
If it's
I will
one
also
that
say,
nobody knows
for everything
and
that
it's
we're
playable in
talking
regular
about here,
constructed and it's
there
good.
is going to be
That's
the product page. I don't know if it's already
awful.
live on DisneyLorcana.com.
Oh, it is,
but
Michelle,
you can
don't
find
worry.
all of that info on DisneyLorcana.com, on our socials.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I think what we want to do is take a break from Ursula for a bit. It's been
This
a
is
lot.
really exciting,
a
though.
We haven't
lot of
showed
Ursula
the-
so far.
Because there's an Ursula
but
card.
we're gonna talk
that's alive,
about
but they
Disney
haven't-
Lorcana Challenge.
Yes.
So let's
Yes!
do it.
Right.
Thank
Here we
you.
I mean, gosh, we could do a whole show on the prize cards.
Yeah, I mean,
And
let's
we
pull up,
probably will.
let's pull up Dragonfire.
John, we have a lot to talk
I
about
think we
next
jumped. I think
week.
we jumped ahead. Let's pull up Dragonfire.
Oh man, just so good.
And it's the good Rapunzel.
Just so good.
Number
I have
on
to say,
Rapunzel is
as they're
43.
pulling up the other card, one of the things Liam and I always do when we see a new
Probably a
card is
promo
immediately
number.
look at who the artist is. It's like your eyes look at the art. I think for us, my eyes look at the art, my eyes look at the artist, and then I go, okay, and what can this card do? And especially with cards, we know their abilities, but I was just immediately looking at who did the art on that last card. But
So,
Like this
so
Dragonfire looks
is the
legit
participation
like
card.
a hand
Everyone
painted
that goes to
altar.
the Disney
with,
Lorcana
Yeah.
Challenge
and a bunch of
and
magic
it's very
stones.
similar pose to the
fucking
original.
Man of the
Gorgeous.
Disney
Thorns up in the
Lorcana
front.
Challenge. will get that
Notice the
Dragonfire card.
rarity symbol is different
just
too.
by
All that
being there.
special.
Specifically for
so-
challenge,
This looks
that, I think, is
textured.
it?
You know, this was the first action card, I believe, that everyone had seen.
Yeah.
What
is
Y'all
and we
did the
thought it was
puzzle piece to reveal it. Oh, so
we thought that it would be fitting if the first action card that everyone saw was
Yeah.
also the first card that people saw in this
So
competitive
interestingly, it
play
actually
that's
is the
more
Dragonfire art.
action-oriented.
It's just been extended. It's the
so yeah,
it's actually the
it
exact
has
same.
extended artwork. It has
Right.
this
I think it's
unique
fine
foil
though. It
that's
looks
not
great.
used on
I
cards
wish.
Yeah, no,
or
it's just
products.
great.
I kind of wish the
But
enchanted
we're getting to
cards
see
looked
more
like
of
this,
Dragonfire
like just
now.
more.
And even the
full art
the vines,
than they
the
are.
bramble on the bottom.
But I mean, these
Yeah,
like
even
since
breaking
these
into
are
the-
like
even breaking
participation
into
in
the
the
text box,
the
overlapping with it.
organized play, I kind of like that.
Yeah,
They're
it's a
the
different style even
better
than enchanted
version,
cards, the
if
way
that
that
makes
you're
sense.
breaking the
Yeah,
text box and
yeah,
doing things.
sure.
And I do love that you use Dragonfire, and I love that you use this piece because for those who've actually looked at Dragonfire a little bit or played with it, we're seeing so much more of the piece here.
Surreal, yeah.
When you
So much so
actually
that
put
it does
if you
look like
imagine
a
the
different art.
frame on the
It
Dragonfire
looks like
card,
it's changed a
so
little bit. It's so much more.
Well, it's just
such a small
like the
piece
actual
of that
dragon
art that
itself
we're
is
really
like,
seeing
it's
more
Right,
story
yeah.
here. We're seeing the
But yeah,
brambles, we
it's
see
still-
the shadow of
looks like
Maleficent.
maybe it's gone over
in
and
the
like done some
background.
refinish into it,
Um,
and also it's
Right.
had this
It really
like
is
swirl
brilliant.
put over it. I
Like
think that
body,
might
I
the
think.
swirl might not be on the
Yeah,
art. I
yeah.
think that might be
I
showing
love
the
like
foiling.
how I don't know if that's going to be the foiling, but it almost looks like it's like pulsating a little bit, and it's like you get the.
It does feel
like,
special that
anger
it's
of the
Dragonfire, being like one of the
itself.
earliest
Can we
cards
ask
Right,
revealed
about
that
foiling?
people
exactly.
all
I was thinking.
made
What
videos
is-
on.
Can we ask you about
Right.
foiling?
What about it?
What is it like on this card? You said it's unique.
There's a
That's
lot
what
more
that's
blues
what
and
it's like.
purples
Oh,
in
okay.
this
Yeah.
art.
So it has like just the okay.
Yeah, so that swirl pattern is the foiling.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna.
That makes
what I was
sense.
gonna-
And we, if you
So when
notice,
they
you talked about the
showed it
artist,
in
right?
motion, it looked like the
Luis first, we went
structured
back to
foiling
the original artist
Yeah.
to
Mhm, yeah.
because the original art was not full frame, right? So we had them fill in and continue
yes,
the
they did fill in
illustration
the art.
on the parts that
Yeah.
you're seeing
Yeah.
here that you don't see in the regular card.
I do
Beautiful.
love it.
And then the next one is Let It Go. Ryan referred to this as the day one performance card. He had mentioned that it was something for what that roughly means is top 64. We'll get into a little bit more details on how there could
Day
be
one
more than top
performance.
64 in an event that get this card in a little bit. But I
Fan
do want to
stuff.
show
In a
all
little
these
bit
cards
of
and talk
20
about them
minutes,
a
or
little
is it a
before
little
we
bit in
go a
June?
Yeah.
little bit more into
Yeah.
that.
Nice and competitive, yeah. So we'll get to the
stay
competition.
tuned.
Stay tuned
Yeah.
for the competition. Yeah, but now to celebrate these cards, everything that you said that we said before applies to this one as well. I mean, it's a brilliant. What I will say is, I really love the fact the same way that with the playmats you're going back and doing beloved cards and bringing it forward and honoring it with the accessories. Same here. I love that you all have gone back and found cards that players use, that they love, that mean something to the
good.
community.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're-
good that
you're
they're
doing
playing
something
little
special
players.
with it.
I'm
So it
very
resonates with
excited to
people
play
in
for
the
these
emotion.
cards.
I absolutely agree, and I think y'all are bringing a whole new level to rainbow
Do you-
foiling. The concept
Do you
of it
think
and
these cards
the
are enough,
colors
or
and
do you
the
think it needs to
foiling
be
is
these
gonna
cards
be
and product?
unbelievable. I can't wait to actually hold this.
You mean
Well, for
like-
the lower
in my
levels, the
hand
card is fine,
and
but once
move
you
it
get higher
around.
up, it should be in addition to
There
other
is
things.
there is a
Yeah,
guy who
probably.
plays in our local community.
It better be a
who
brave
his-
little
We
Taylor
always say
top
his
four
deck
price
is
card.
completely tricked out.
That's
He
so
plays with
lovely.
enchanted
Nice.
cards. His entire deck is
So
foil.
since
He's a
Ryan
very,
already
very
mentioned
good
like
player.
top four is a gold
I
serialized,
am
do you think
looking
this is all they're
forward
gonna
to
do?
slash and
Like,
it's
that's what I'm saying. It's like,
intimidating
is
when
that
he
a
comes
lot?
up
Is
to
that
you and he
is
throws
what
down
is
an
walking
enchanted
away
from the
table,
day
and you're
with
like, oh,
one
you're
card?
not that
I mean,
smart.
there's 100%.
Okay.
There were
And
100% will be players who will not
I am
participate
imagining
in
people actually
tournaments,
playing
like high level
this.
tournaments,
Oh,
if
yeah.
there's no
And I
cash
think
prizes.
and having
I
these
don't know
cards
how
in their deck and
like
it
how
being a little bit of
much.
a badge of honor,
But
that
for
you
this game,
competed in
I
this.
like I
And
said, I don't know how many
I'm
people
really
will, but I
excited
mean,
to
there are
actually
definitely high
go to
level players
locals
who
and
just
see people
won't
actually have
participate.
Yeah,
cards.
and I'm
I
actually
wonder if
happy
they'll do
with these
cash
cards.
pricing at all.
The
Yeah,
next
I'm
one,
more than I'm
Cinderella
They
Stout
seem to be
Hearted,
very against
for
cash
top
pricing. They
32.
really do.
That's fine by me, but
Yeah.
but
This
I
And,
card and
like,
the next
it
one
it
that we're
will
gonna talk
100% turn people
about,
off.
has come
Yeah.
up a
Sure,
lot
yeah.
in
You're gonna turn people off
conversations where people
regardless.
said,
So
I really thought that
damned if you
Cinderella
do,
Stout
damned if you
Hearted
don't.
was going to
That
be one
is
of the
so
enchanted
good.
cards.
Jeez.
That's
We
like new
were
art and
holding it
everything.
back for this.
Yeah.
yes,
So,
that is new art.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
so yeah, this is a unique artwork.
I love the
that
highlighted
addition to
glow
being extended
name.
art for Cinderella Stout-Hearted. This is going to top 32.
Top 32.
And that one is
okay.
solidly top 32. Yeah, what do you guys think about the new artwork?
This is one of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen, and I can't I can't say any more than
No,
that.
no.
Oh, you say that all the time,
The
Liam.
homage to
Yeah,
the original
right,
style
right.
Just like all the other
character
cards.
is
It's like they're all of them,
the
so-
foiling versus the treatment that
Loses
Somebody
its
just
meaning.
check like
it's a
Ian and
fantastic
Aaron are
card,
going to pass
and I
out.
think people are going to be really excited
Right.
to get a hold of this.
And I love that you guys, you had
like,
you have Let It
side
Go, you
view
have
of
Dragonfire,
Liam on
which
the
are
giant camera.
very
He's, like, on
much
the
true
ground
to the
just-
original art,
Yeah.
and kind of honoring the original art that we saw. And then, like when Ryan was doing these, when we saw this, I was like, oh, and they're doing new art too. And so
Yes,
I'm
Andrew.
glad that y'all
All of
kind
these
of
are
did
for
a
top
mix of
finishes.
both, and we're
So if you
having
make
an
top 4,
opportunity to
you'll
see her
get
in a
all of
completely
these.
kind of
Also
new
with
way
the
than we saw
serialized
her
card, I
in the
imagine.
past, so.
Yeah, and let's see Rapunzel gifted with healing in a new way.
Yeah.
And then they said this was
Because
top
the
16.
Rapunzel,
I mean,
Rapunzel's
Rapunzel
top
gifted with
16, I
healing.
think.
It's your favorite card.
It is my
When
favorite
you guys get a
card.
chance, check out the box
So,
for the
Ryan
Steel
mentioned
Sapphire
during
deck.
his
It's got
segment
Anna in
about
armor.
abusing his power for that Tinkerbell playmat. I kind of abused my power a little bit for this.
It looks really
gifted with
cool.
healing.
Well, thank you for that.
And a new
card.
Hercules. The Anna
Oh,
in
this is
armor
the
looks great.
legendary.
Rapunzel gifted
I
with
just
healing,
realized.
one of the
The
most
legendary
popular
Rapunzel.
cards in the first chapter.
Yeah.
Didn't get an enchanted card.
What did you say,
But
Sean?
this is for top 16
The box art
of
for the
Disney
Steel
Lorcana
Sapphire
Challenge events.
deck has
You
Anna
can
in a
earn
suit of
Rapunzel
armor.
gifted with healing.
It's amazing.
It looks great.
Like,
I mean, no notes. Again,
Yeah, we see that and Hercules.
these cards are
New Raya
they're
as well.
fantastic. I mean, we've said it
the
already.
dragon.
You know, the
Sisu.
full art treatment,
Sisu.
going back and honoring previous characters that people love, and
Am I
the full
mistaken?
art
Is that
frame
Grace
really allows
Tran?
the artist to
artist
play. You know,
for
we
this?
get to see
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
Grace
she's
Tran.
You're right.
on all her
Yep.
glory.
Yeah,
Nailed it,
In a
Jacob.
very different pose than she is in the original card.
This is a great
One of the things I love about
Grace Tran.
these cards that we saw
I have no
is
notes, but
every
these
single
cards are
card
going to be
they
some of
did
the most sought
they
after in
did
the game, not only
something
because
at
of their
the
rarity, but just
bottom
how beautiful they
borders,
are. So,
and it just looks
Well,
really cool.
from the beginning of Lorcana, going all the
Because
way
what's
back
really
to
neat
D23,
is like the bottom
September
corners.
2022.
It just gives you that
Um,
contrast behind. It's a small
Yeah.
thing,
At
but contrast
Wallpaper,
behind
you
the
just
words,
keep
so you
Yeah.
can act, so they
doing
pop a
really
little bit
cool
more,
and
and you can
unique
read
things
them.
with foiling.
Small thing, I think it's cool.
things
The
that I think
trove
we
too.
haven't
The
really
trove
seen
box
before,
has
and
it's
so
depicting Beast on one of its
You're
sides.
doing it again.
Look like he's stuck in thorns,
and
maybe.
it's so great to
Yeah.
see.
Trove.
Yeah, again,
Beast
I can't wait to like
relentless.
actually
And
hold
the-
these
and the
cards in my hand. I
separation
hope I have an
cards are
opportunity to
rarity
this
actually
time.
experience
Yep.
No,
foiling.
I like
Ooh,
that.
yeah, I like the rarity
Instead of
ones. Those
the
are
ink,
I know
cool.
a lot of really good players. So we'll
Gives you
have
more
to-
options
Yeah,
for,
we'll have to
for
do-
And
organization.
one thing to keep in
Yeah,
mind
for when
on
I'm
the
just
rarity
sticking all my
symbol,
enchanteds
that is
in
the
there.
symbol
Yeah.
that's
All
going
your
forward
enchanteds.
with
All my
Fortnite
0
today.
enchanteds.
And so we're seeing it here. These cards are only available through Disney Lorcana Challenge. This
I mean,
won't
we
show
say
up in a
we
booster
say there's
pack.
no
It's
Okay.
Or you
cash
buy it on the
prize.
secondary
You need to go
market.
to the
Yeah,
event
they
to
would
get
say there's
one
no
of these
cash prize, and
cards.
somebody can flip this for a couple of grand probably.
Moving on to the
I don't know if
top
it'll be
8
that
prize,
much.
though.
Do you not
Oh,
think?
well, that I will
we're
be
using the
interested
same
to see
Depends on how many
artwork of
events there
Rapunzel
are.
gifted with
to see
healing
Yeah, that's the
for a
thing.
to
top
see
8
the
play
cash
mat.
value of those.
Ooh.
Playmat. Oh
So
yeah.
that is gonna be
Okay,
free
let's
for
go.
the playmat as
Cool.
well.
Very nice.
Wait, what?
Very
What
nice.
is this for?
Okay.
There's
Top 8
some
play
Top
mat.
foiling
eight.
on
Said
the playmat.
this is top 8,
it's
I
meant
believe.
to be incredibly
Top 8
special. When we talked about Badge of Honor, when you're
I'm a little
playing a
mad
game,
that this art
is
is
meant
being
to be a
used
badge
for all
of
this
honor.
stuff that we'll
If you
never
get one
get
of
our
these,
hands on.
if someone puts
You,
this down
you
at the
say
table,
that, Brandon.
you know
you say
you're going
that.
up against someone
I mean,
who is really
does.
good at Lorcana.
It makes even the artwork just
so
that more special, you know?
one of the biggest
Well, that-
badges of honor that you could
Kind
get.
of cool.
Talk about.
Can we
being
get playmats with stitch
intimidated.
edges?
When I get
That's top
yes,
four.
if that playmat rolled out.
You gotta earn your
Yeah,
stitches.
But and intimidating, I think, is the wrong word because it's an
I just caught
opportunity
that.
playing against a really great player and something that is so wonderful in the
Corey
Lorcana community
Baumeister's
is
in
even
chat.
those
It's
Oh,
funny.
really good
It's cool
competitive
seeing all the
players
magic people in the
Yeah.
chat.
almost always in my experience are willing to teach in a really kind way newer, more casual players.
Somebody says, "Okay,
And
now
so
where do I need
having
to
an
travel to?"
opportunity learn
Yeah, like, it all looks great.
definitely
I get it.
Oh, looks great.
When
Tell me-
is it,
give me-
and
give
where do I
me
need to
an
go?
When
information.
that rolls out in front of you, you know that
I really,
this is somebody
I really
that
think
can
it's going to be
learn
in
from.
Seattle
And
first, just given their location.
normally they're really gracious about it.
I'll be
It'd be a
surprised
fitting
if they don't
location for the
reveal
first
all of
one.
that.
Okay.
So in
After
addition
all
to
of
that,
this.
Have you
playmat,
guys scrolled to the bottom of the
top
products
8
page
players
yet, or
will
the
qualify
Well,
bottom
for
of the
the
yeah,
first
Lee,
person
we're
page.
watching the stream.
Did you see the
Ursula
Ursula
Not my fault you can't
legendary?
multitask, Brandon.
You'll actually earn an invite to.
Are you talking about the
North
Ursula
American
legendary?
Championship? And again, in Europe, if you top 8, you'll earn a qualification for Disney Lorcana, the European Championship for Disney Lorcana
So
Challenge.
where is it?
We have a few prizes from here on that we're not quite ready to share in terms of images or announcements for, other than, Ryan mentioned, and we had that little like blurred pixelated version of it, intentionally to hide it. But we're incredibly excited that we have a serialized Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor, kind of the mascot of the announcement of the game, and that's for the top 4. So those cards are serialized. You actually will know, like I have the one version of this card,
So
and again, we'll share all of that information on how like the serialization, how it all works, and how it'll look.
How many?
Once we kind of reveal that Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor, but those are going to be some pretty valuable cards if you get top 4 at a Disney Lorcana Challenge.
That's amazing.
Well,
I
that's
love
just
the
a normal
serialization,
challenge.
and what's fun about it to me is I
Based
love
off of
history
all
and I
that,
love things with stories, and
I'm
you will
not
forever be
seeing
able to
them
tie
do
specific
cash
numbers
prizes or
to
anything else.
specific
Maybe
players
some
who earned
product,
that card.
Doesn't sound
So
good.
even if later on the card becomes available and somebody else purchases it, you know where that card came from and who earned it, which is super cool to me.
So the fact they've said they're going to show that later, does that class as an
that
announcement
card
of an
will have
announcement?
alternate artwork as well. It's not the
Yeah.
same Brave Little Tailor that you've
Stick
seen
it off on the
before.
bingo card.
I think people are really going to be blown away by it. But yeah, the card's an entirely gold design. Being able to capture it perfectly on this stream is why we're not showing it. We really need to like kind of give it its own space when we reveal it. Aside from Lorecast, so it's gonna come later. It'll be an announcement where we really show off how this looks in person. And so yeah, the images for that, all those the prizing for second and first place, that's going to be shared on DisneyLorcana.com very soon. But that said, of course, we've seen some people in the chat may have already seen on the website, but people want to know the dates of these events.
Yeah, please.
And we're ready to share the first 2 challenge event dates for both North America and Europe.
Atlanta.
Now,
I'm
Disney
there.
Lorcana Challenge, these are
Chicago!
open events. They are
Chicago, baby.
You'll
Let's
need
go
to get a
Chicago.
ticket.
Sorry.
But the first
4
2
more
in
events
North
to be
America,
announced.
or the first
So
one in North
Yes!
America,
6 in North
is May
America.
25th
Dude,
to
I'm so
26th,
hyped.
in Europe.
in
That's
Atlanta,
awesome.
Georgia, and then
Let's go,
June 8th
baby.
and
Let's
9th
go.
in Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago,
There will be
love
4
you.
more Disney Lorcana
May
Challenge events in
25th.
North America
Almost
that
2
are
months
to be
from now.
announced.
Guys, I'm
and when I say
so
to be
happy.
announced, they're going to
I'm
be
like
announced
so
within the
happy.
next week or 2. We actually,
And what's the player cap?
right as the stream was starting, had someone rush to confirm that, oh, we got all of them. Can you show it on the stream? We didn't have time to make changes here, but we will announce them on the website very soon. And then in Europe, same weekend, May 25th and
France and
26th
Germany.
in
So you
Lille,
can't do
France.
both.
Oh, so the same weekend.
And then on
Okay,
July
okay.
6th
So this
and
is
7th
far
in
enough
Bochum,
before
Germany.
my wife is
And then there will
supposed to
be
give
2
birth,
more
so
European
I'm good.
events to be
We're
announced.
good.
You said there's
memo.
4 more. These are the first 2 though. So for people looking to book tickets and travel, and get
Yeah.
into
Alright,
the
Michael,
action,
baby.
those are the
Atlanta.
first 2 they can look to.
Yeah, and these events will be capped at 512 players. So that's
512.
the tickets. Right now, the tickets for these events are capped at 512. They're going to be going on sale fairly soon.
All right. I
Again,
need to
we'll
send
announce
a
that on the
message to
website. We'll make sure that we announce on social media. We're Disney Lorcana everywhere on social media when these tickets are going on sale. Give people enough time before they go live to prepare to get one of those tickets.
I wonder if that's even enough.
And
I don't know,
there
man.
also
With
will
the
be
size of
additional
these
ways.
these
I had mentioned that the top
cons and
8
stuff.
qualify for the championship events.
250
There's going to be more ways to qualify. So we can't quite share everything right now. We're still working out some additional details. But I do want to note regarding that we are planning a day 0 last chance qualifier at both the North
Okay, that's
American and
cool.
European championships.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
I mean, if people don't understand what that means, technically, the tournament itself, you have to qualify for, but everyone can go and sign up until we hit a cap, but this will be a very large cap.
I love that.
People can go and attend the championship and play in that day 0 event to try and get into the main tournament. And even if you don't qualify to participate in the main tournament, if you're there and join on day 0, worst case scenario, play in side events. We're gonna have lots of them. You don't have to make the main tournament, there's going to be more
That's
that
really
you can
awesome
do
to
there.
hear.
Now, for the World Championship when we get there, there's no day zero. It's only the top players that are participating in the World Championship event. But the World Championship itself is going to be held at a larger fan event. I know that we've mentioned fan events
Okay,
before.
that's good to know.
That's
Okay.
not something that we've really talked about.
Talk about it now.
We're not
Yeah.
quite ready to share.
Ready.
We're
Pretty
Their
soon,
ink is not dry.
but, not on this stream.
Give me more.
I was like, fan events? Okay.
Yeah.
We can
so,
accept that.
So I know that was a
How
lot of
can we, Aaron?
information.
We can't.
If you guys want to
You
chat
don't
a little bit
speak
about
for
if you have thoughts about it.
What are we doing in late May?
I know, booking plane tickets.
Apparently going to
Going to
Georgia.
To Atlanta.
I'm doing.
No, I'm glad the dates are out there. You know, people have been eagerly awaiting. You know, they want to buy their plane tickets. They want to plan their year. There's so many Lorcana events going on. Not only, you know, the events that you just announced, but there's other cons and things to go to, and D23. And so I'm really glad these dates will be available so people can plan out their year. The pricing is amazing, and yeah, I really hope
Atlanta, Georgia.
everybody's able to get a ticket that wants to go play.
First
And
North American
yeah,
fans
they're
in
gonna be.
Atlanta.
I'm just excited. I'm excited for the announcement.
Yeah. I do see some people in the chat questioning the cap of 512. I do want to address that real quick before we talk more about it. If we do see that, you know, 512 caps really quickly,
Which you will.
this is the starting cap for Disney Lorcana Challenge.
Again,
So,
everyone should remember and
these
realize
events, you know, we will
this is
address it and we
Ravensburger's
will
first
change that
time
if
doing
it's something that we need to
anything
do.
like this.
We just want to see. We want to see how it goes.
Give them a
we want
little
to
bit
sell
of
some
grace.
tickets first and see how it goes, and then
There
obviously
were
we want to do what's right
226
for the
players
fans.
at the 8K in Georgia.
Yeah, we're not looking. We're not looking to keep people.
Well,
out
yeah,
or anything
and that
like
was
that.
and that's an unofficial tournament.
But one more.
Yeah, exactly.
thing
That's what I'm
that
saying.
is along those lines of not wanting to keep people out.
Comprehensive rules and
that
judge.
I very much want to talk about on the stream when it comes to Disney Lorcana Challenge is a new format that we've been working on for day one of those events.
Ooh.
Whoa, wait, what?
It's an alternate way to handle Swiss rounds. To help me talk about this, I'd like to introduce, joining from our German office, Tim Schilder from the game development team. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hello there. Thank you for having me.
Hello, Tim. That's an awesome
That's
shirt.
a German
love
name.
it.
We're introducing a new,
Swiss
a new
format, it's
Swiss
German
format called two-game round format, and
2-game round.
for other TCGs, there's typically you play best of one or best of three, and we didn't quite feel that that was right for Disney Lorcana.
Why?
We didn't quite feel that either one fit perfectly for Disney Lorcana, is what I should say.
New rules.
So,
new rules.
You know, I had called a meeting with like all these people that work on Disney Lorcana, on Team Lorcana, to kind of plead their case. There's people that preferred best of one, and there's people that preferred best of three. And,
You split the difference?
you know, everyone's saying which one they prefer. Everyone gets their chance to speak. And when I went to Tim for his turn, he says, I know I was supposed to answer one or three, but what about two? And I sort of laughed it off, and I was like, okay, who's speaking next?
Shut up, Tim.
We're going to play 2 games in a round. So,
God, I knew I shouldn't have called on you,
Tim, can you
Tim.
explain how it works for everyone today?
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I think
So,
there's more
of
total
course, there's a
lore.
number between 1 and 3. So we thought 2-game matches kind of make sense for Lorcana for the challenge events because you are awarding or you're getting awarded points for each win you achieve in the match.
Okay.
So if you win one game,
okay.
you get 1 point. If you win 2 games, you get 2 points, but also you will get an additional point for winning 2-0. With this, we can really better in Swiss determine your strengths in the game. And rather than just splitting you in 2 groups with winners or losers after game 1, you will be paired against someone of the same strength with being a 2-0, a 1-1, or a 0-2.
Interesting.
So did you get?
Yeah,
did
so,
you get it?
I mean,
both
one of the
get one go
things that,
first?
and I know a lot of people are saying, what, best of 2?
Probably,
It's
yeah.
not best of 2, and we need to be
terrible.
specific about that.
Yeah.
It is a 2-game round format. Some things that are important about this, you know, there's been a lot of debate in the community about the die roll
You
mattering
get
so much.
1 point if you
Who gets
win
to
a
go
game,
first
no
matters.
matter if it's
in
first
this
or
in this
second,
way,
right?
actually both
But if
people
you
get
go
an opportunity to
2-0,
go first.
if you win
So,
2-0, you get an additional
when you do the
point.
die roll,
Okay.
you're choosing which game you're going first rather than
I kind of like that. Like
Ooh, I wanna
rather
go
than
first in the
winning the
second
die
game
roll
every
and just
time.
immediately going first, and then whoever wins or whoever
Yeah,
loses, I'm
Jacob,
sorry,
I-
gets to choose the next
don't
one.
disagree.
Get more information.
This way, both people.
Yep.
It's more akin to sports or esports where
wanna know if
you
you have
have
to
sides
disclose
and
your
you're
ink type.
swapping sides. If there's a side advantage, you can't. There's nothing that you can. There's nothing that using the side advantage matters with. I will say that going first, you know, because people have different reasons for how they value that. There
It is
are
interesting.
Different decks have different
there are
values
things
for
where
it.
now there's strategy to choosing
Might
which
just be
game you go
smarter to
first
go
in
second,
based on your
yeah,
deck and
first
how
if
you
you win
like
the
to
die
play.
roll.
And Tim,
I
if you can talk
100%
about that
think
even a little bit.
I'm going second in game 2.
Yeah, so
I'm going
in our
first in game
development
2.
and
You
also
guys,
in the
you guys,
testing,
yeah.
we
If you win the
experienced
dice
that
roll,
many
you would pick to go
players,
second in game
are
1.
putting a different
Yeah.
strategy into the match, and some prefer going first in the first game to to have no knowledge about the opponent's deck and also to surprise the opponent, while some players prefer
I
to
think
have
this is
already
an
some
elegant
knowledge there,
solution.
and then
It really
Yeah.
is.
To
players will
what
decide to
we've
go
been
first in
discussing
game
for
2.
a long time in like
Also, it's
all
of
TCGs, to be
course,
honest with you.
worth to mention that there are certain tiebreakers, of course, in the 2-game format. So after looking at the points and the wins, of course, their strengths of schedule means that if your opponent is winning 2-0 and having more points, your tiebreaker with strengths of schedule that is relying on that is also getting better, which kind of encourages both players to finish the match in time and to always come to a result.
I like
Since you
that
can
too. It
always
allows
win
for more
a
time for those
point
control decks.
and not win the first game and then lose 2 games and get nothing out of it.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it should help the time
something
issue
else,
too.
that there's a few things that this solves. Best of 3, obviously, that's what TCGs have been using. So the reaction that we've done test events with this. The reaction
True,
that we
Andrew.
get
This
from
should
people that
speed
have
up
played other
tournaments
TCGs
too, theoretically.
before they play it has been, why are you doing this?
Also, when you get
already
the
know
cuts,
what works.
there's
Best
so
of 3
much
works for
feels
other
bad of we have the
TCGs.
same record.
So just
like,
use
why
best
am I
of
getting
3.
cut?
You have precedent for what works. We want to make sure that we're doing what works for Disney Lorcana. And something that we've been seeing when there are these third-party tournaments that have been happening over the last few months, there's a number of things that there's been feedback over that hasn't been feeling right for us. I mean, people have been reporting that games are taking too long. If they're going against a control mirror, they're not finishing the round.
Which is always going to be
One thing that we don't like is people playing the tournament rather than playing the game. In this scenario, every game matters. There's no way to intentional draws have been something that's been happening at these third-party events. Yep. There's no way to.
That's the only thing I don't
this,
necessarily like.
Because
you
need to play out your games.
Hours, I would
the bonus
like
points
break,
even kind of prevent that because
I get it.
If you draw with your opponent and someone else goes 2-0, they could jump ahead of you.
And not how it already works.
It's not easy to predict how the standings are going to be. And, part of this discussion, and when Tim was proposing this, it was, when we get through Swiss, we're not looking to see how many rounds you won. We're looking to see how good the players are at the end of Swiss. We're looking for rankings for players. So when we've done these test events, we've found that there's consistent ranking. Tim, even you could speak to that.
So with the tiebreakers there, you get a really good ranking of your strengths of schedule, and in case that this is not enough and there could this precedence that even your strengths of schedule is the same, we've added another tiebreaker, which is only used in a very, very small amount of cases, but this is the person who won the last game is getting a slightly better tiebreaker. So this means if you won game 2 out of the series, your third tiebreaker essentially is a bit better, which always gives us a really clear ranking after Swiss and determines the best players, really.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's
Tells
been
me they're
so
probably not
incredible
making
about these test
disclosure
events that
like
we've been doing.
rematch.
So there are people out there that actually experienced this already. They were under NDA, so of course they haven't talked about it. But there's a lot
Any
of
of
Disney
y'all?
Lorcana fans that have been experiencing
I
this.
can't
And
say.
the thing that we're hearing kind of,
I can either confirm or deny.
They come into it
Ooh.
obviously being resistant because why don't we just do what's been working? And after they've played it, it's, oh, this is actually a really competitive format. If you're that competitive player,
It
you need
does
to
sound like
crush
it's
your
very,
opponents.
very
You need
good.
to not drop
Like I
a
said
game.
before, I think it's a very elegant solution.
And if you do drop a game
to
and
the
you've been
problem.
crushing your opponents all
'Cause
day,
for so
it
long
actually
it's
doesn't
just
hurt
been,
that
"Oh,
badly.
this is how it is. This is how it is." I mean, I've said
At a test event that I was
even said
at,
that too.
there was a player that was going
I wanna hear,
2-0 for several rounds,
true
got
competitive
0-2'd in a
grinders'
round,
opinions on
and
it.
still ended the Swiss day one
Here.
Swiss.
I'm sure
at
they're already on
number
Twitter
one
talking
rank.
about it.
They dropped a whole round, and they still were number one at the end because of how consistently they were playing over the course of the whole day. And then similarly, casual players, the people that were going there because
most
they love
importantly, what does
Lorcana,
Zach
they want to participate in Lorcana events, but they weren't necessarily that hyper competitive player. Some of them were finding out that in this format, they actually had a chance. Maybe they weren't winning when it was best of 3, but now they're slowly gaining points.
Yeah,
and they
kinda
may
like that.
eke into that top cut. And even
Definitely
if they don't,
encourages
they
players
have
to just play the
something,
whole
a
thing.
clear
Oh, for
point
sure.
system
Makes
that
people
they
stick
know
it out.
how they did at the end
Is this
of
happening for the
Swiss,
store champs? And if
where there were people
not,
at test
why?
events being excited
Yeah, it
about,
should be for the
oh,
store
I got 34th and you got 36, like I beat you. They knew
beta test,
why they
you know?
did. They understood why the rankings happened the way they did, and most importantly, they felt like every game mattered. Something that we've been hearing a lot in feedback from the more casual players, where Disney Lorcana is their first trading card game, is that they felt like when I win a game in a best of 3, it doesn't matter. If I lose the first game, they're suddenly on tilt because I'm not. There's no way I'm going to beat this person who just crushed me. There's no way I'm going to beat them twice. But what we were seeing was that those players who had given up when they're going into game 2 previously, they actually started fighting back. They knew that they still had a chance to get a point, and they were fighting back. They didn't just give up. So, the feedback that we were getting from competitive players obviously was that, oh, this worked. And that's really what we were looking for from competitive players. But how much it did for the newcomers, the people who Disney Lorcana is their first TCG, it made them excited. It made them excited to play the game. And similarly, those competitive players who previously, when they were looking at how do I game the tournament, how do I play the tournament by not playing the game, they're suddenly thinking about how do I get better at playing the game, not how do I get better at playing the tournament, how do I do better at the game.
They're not going to do sideboards.
We want the focus when we're starting these competitive events. We want playing the game to be the focus. We don't want people to drop after 2 rounds. We don't want people to give up because they had a rough first round or a rough second round. We want people to play through, and there's a reason to play through. And Ryan had mentioned, and I mentioned when we talked about Let It Go. That's roughly the top 64 players, at least the top 64 players. But there will be announcements about points that you can earn additional prizing.
Okay, that's cool.
So even if you're not someone who is
kind
that
of
top
like
player,
a Pro Tour
you have goals to get
type
to.
system.
You may be not fighting for getting into top cut. You're fighting for, I just want to get that Let It Go.
Yeah, I really like that.
So that's really what we were looking at with this. We will have implementation in the tournament software that's coming soon. We're working on it so that people can test it for themselves if they want to at their local events. But something that I do want to have everyone keep in mind is that this is something that we're rolling out for Disney Lorcana Challenge. So this is not something that suddenly, we have the set championships coming up and your local play and all that sort of thing. If your store does not want to adopt this, we are not forcing this on anyone outside of Disney Lorcana Challenge. At challenge events, we will be using this format. But I do think there are going to be people that want to try it for themselves. we're not suddenly shifting the entire game to this. It's literally day one Swiss at Disney Lorcana Challenge. Once we get to Top Cut, it goes best of 3. In each of those rounds, we have to find a winner.
Which makes sense.
Best of 3 is required. But before we get there, this is a format that felt more approachable. It removed some of those issues of people debating about the die roll mattering. A lot of debates in the community about casual versus competitive, and this is kind of trying to marry those together. Yeah, I don't know, Tim, if you have any other thoughts about it that you haven't shared, but I'm...
Oh, I forgot Tim was there.
If not, yeah.
No, it's all good. You pretty much summarized everything that we discussed and that we discovered in testing. Just one last thing to all the competitive players that might think best of 3 is better. I mean, I used to be one of those as well, and just said I don't like this as well. But after you've played this format, it will make much more sense because you're playing far easier and far earlier against the players of your own strengths in those
Frank
events.
Carson and I made a good question, and I think you touched on a little bit, but
so
how are
winning
they going to
2-0
handle
is still the
timeout
same
draws?
as winning
So, like, if
2-0
you
in a
finish
best
game
of
1,
3.
game 2 is not done by time.
It totally makes sense for the challenge
How are
events
they-
also because
how
it
are they
gives you
gonna
more
figure that
round
one out?
time. And with that being said, I hope to see many of you in Bochum for the challenge event in Germany.
I've got a long commute that for me, Tim. Sorry.
Thanks for joining, Tim. And again, we'll talk about this more. We know that this is a big new thing that I'm sure lots of people have questions about or want to discuss. We have the Discord community, discord.gg/Disney Lorcana. If you're not on it, jump on. We're going to talk about it more in the future before we get to those challenge events. So be prepared for that. But yeah, thank you, Tim, for joining to kind of explain it.
All right. Thank you, guys, and enjoy the Lorecast.
Thank you.
Like I said, I
yeah,
like that
one more thing is that I just want to say, with these events, we appreciate how patient the community's been with competitive play and organized play and all that. And we hope that you're excited to participate more in competitive play and everything organized play. The team is really close to finalizing and posting the complete rules. It is something that will be up this week. And
nice.
we are working
for next week.
Wait, Judge, what?
Soft rollout for the staff at Disney Lorcana Challenge before expanding into the more publicly available judge program.
Ooh.
So we'll be sharing all of those details and resources on DisneyLorcana.com. And we're working on a page for all organized play updates and news, including Disney Lorcana Challenge. And we just need to ask for a bit more patience as we work to get all of that live. But that's going to be your go-to place for all of the details about rules and in-store organized play and Disney Lorcana Challenge events and everything. So yeah, what do you guys think? I know it was a lot.
Yeah, I know Aaron's itching to talk about this. I just have to start with, Aaron and I come at this from 2 different angles. I started playing Magic back when the Junior Super Series was a thing. It was a competition for under 16-year-olds, and so I got my first taste of competitive TCGs way back then, and I love a good competitive event. I love casual play, but I love a good competitive event. And I've been mulling over this 2-game, Swiss format, and the more I've thought about it, the more I'm excited by it. First off, I'm excited to try something new. I'm excited to go in.
The more I think about it, the more I absolutely hate it.
Collecting points as opposed to the traditional best of 3 system.
Has Liam ever said,
it's a little bit
I
like
don't
know.
know?
2 games on the round, you don't have to worry about the 3-game mental strain.
Oh, it's a grind if you're looking to crush people.
That's fair. That's fair, which I'm sure a lot of people out there are. I love a good crushing. But I also love this idea of going in and your goal is collecting.
Didn't need to know that about you, Liam.
Going in, there's gonna be different rounds.
You do use
games.
Clip that one. Clip that one.
Let's see how many points I can collect.
Can we clip that? Somebody clip that.
Somebody, please.
Aaron and I have had the privilege of going.
I know somebody out there's recording this.
Commentated some, and when you're commentating, you like to get out.
That
you like
just
to talk
needs to be
players
turned
and
into a
figure out
soundbite.
why they're there and what they're trying to do.
T-shirt, anything.
And some of the most inspirational players to talk to are those that are at their very first event, and they're saying, "Hey, I'm here. I know I'm not going to win, or I don't think I'm going to win. But my goal is to see how good I am and to challenge myself." And for those players,
Open up
I
Discord,
love this approachable idea of being able to, see where they rank, see how many points they can collect, how many games they can pick up, and then the next time they go to an event, they want to push themselves and get a few more. You know, maybe you went to a 5-round tournament and you came away with 6 points. Next time you're like, you know what? I'm going to go to this 5-round tournament. If I get 8 points, I know I'm getting better. And I love that approachability aspect. I'm just a fan. I can't wait to try it.
We're definitely going to be pushing this
Aaron and I
into
may
locals.
do some starter deck games with this format and see how it goes.
I'd like to run
I
it.
don't know, Aaron.
I'd like to try it.
No,
I'm assuming they mean that they're going to update it.
Again, I appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate kind of how y'all thought about this announcement and continuing to stay, you know, with the Disney Lorcana brand, even while you're thinking about how players play this game competitively, and the opportunity to continue to grow the community and make it approachable for players at all levels. I know,
I think it's Brandon
for myself, we've talked on this stream even about
so the system just
that I
rewards
am more
playing
of a
polarizing
casual
decks
player.
more than anything else. You're less
Playing in a
incentivized to
competitive
have a wide spread
setting,
of good
to me,
matchups,
quite frankly,
and
is
more so
quite
incentivized to
intimidating.
crush a matchup.
I'll, you know, join Liam and commentate on a tournament
I
all day
play
long.
to crush
but,
people every time. I
me
mean,
sitting down
I
at the
don't know how
table is a
anybody else
I
is
don't
playing
understand
this
how
game.
that's not just a competitive environment.
And
If anything, it might. I mean, like it might get people off of a deck like Ruby Amethyst, which is historically just a
not
safe
winning
deck
best of 3,
into
walking away from that.
tournament
You and I had
because
an
it
opportunity
has
to talk
pretty
about this
okay
briefly
matchups
in
and
an
everything.
experience
To rather
with a
play
player at
something
your
that,
LGS
like,
where
you may be
they were
giving up
playing
a
against
couple
you
matches to
and
something
felt
specific,
like
but
they
you have
were
better
not, quote
matchups,
unquote,
you know,
winning.
to other stuff.
And it's because
Is it
they were
kind of
winning
what
games,
Bivens
but they
did,
weren't winning
come in
best
out of nowhere
three.
with a deck under the
And
wire to
I
just beat everything out there?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good call.
Yeah, it was
well.
100% a
Meta
meta
calling though.
In
Yeah,
our own
I mean,
yeah, that was
where
straight up a meta call.
you might win a
Somebody
game.
asked, "How does this beat
You know, well,
Emerald something?"
as an example,
and he
Liam
was
and I
like,
went to
"It doesn't." Or no,
relatively
it was
casual,
Amber
but
Steel.
still
How
kind
does
of
this
a
beat Amber
tournament
Steel? And he said it doesn't.
in our
But I
community.
thought
And as we were
nobody
driving
would be on
home,
Amber
he
Steel,
asked me, he
so
said, "Well, how did
it was
you
going to
do?"
be
And I was
everything
like,
else.
"Oh,
And I
you
played
know,
that. Like that's exactly what it is.
I lost 3 rounds."
That's
and
not
he
much
goes,
different.
That
That was
I
a best
can't
of 3
believe that.
format.
Like
So
yeah,
you
exactly.
knew your deck.
Eszti, are you part? Are you in the US with us?
And I
Or
said,
what
yeah,
part of the
well,
country
you know, I
are you, or
won
world are
like
you in?
two or
I'm
3
in the
games.
UK.
And he's like, okay, well, you
Okay.
won.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the European
But
ones.
as
There
a
you go.
newer player to TCG,
I mean, I'd be
it's like
amazed
you
if they don't
walk
announce
away
one in
from
the
these
UK.
best of 3 sometimes.
Yeah.
I assume one of those are the
feeling
two that
like
are coming.
you haven't
Yeah.
won anything.
Yeah.
I'm
And
surprised if
so
they're all in mainland
the
Europe.
idea
Didn't
that
Rochelle
we're
say
moving to
that-
this
Jonti?
point
Didn't she
system,
say they're finalized? They
I
just couldn't
can
get them on the slide.
hopefully
Yeah.
change my thought process
Yeah.
to say,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
but I
I
got
could see one in Toronto.
or you know whatever that is, and then the next time we go, maybe I get 6
North
points, and now
American,
I'm being able
right?
to see
Not US.
myself
Yeah.
grow as a player
Yeah, we count.
and compete against myself. And so I really appreciate that from kind of a newer TCG player, a more casual player standpoint. And I also think that this is going to work from the tournaments
the only
we've
thing
been
that I would
able
say
to
though is like
commentate on.
tournaments aren't
This is
catered
going to
towards
work in Swiss
casual
rounds.
play.
Like
That's true.
there's,
That's true.
it's crazy how many
I
games go
think
to time.
Lorcana
Especially with these
has to
control
be
decks, as you
though.
were
Like they have
mentioning.
to
And
try and at
so I
least
think that this will really help speed up pace
show
of
that
play,
it's a bit more
allow
welcoming,
tournaments to
you know.
run
Yeah.
more on
I'm
schedule,
not saying
which is like
I get
my
that, like, and I
favorite thing
agree.
ever is when we
but
actually run on
when we're
time with a
talking about,
tournament.
like a tournament
And
of
so,
there's
yeah, I
definitive
think
winner.
I'm really excited for this
You know what I
format. I
mean?
can't
That-
wait to try
yeah.
it out myself.
Oh yeah, John pulls up a
One
good point.
final
Chat.
thought. I think
That
you know, as a
event's gonna be
community,
like
I know we have
7
people
days or
experience
8 days
games
after
and people
the set
experience Lorcana in
4
different ways.
launches.
Everybody has their
Yeah,
own way of
the
playing,
May
and
one
everybody
is
has
going to
their
be
own
like a
approach,
week
whether it's,
after.
more
There's no
casual
way
or
that's
heavy
just
lift. Some
legal
people love
for
tournaments,
that
some don't.
event. There's no way.
But I think
I think
that
it
as
will
a
be.
community, as a
Why
Lorcana
not?
community,
It
as a
100%
gaming community,
will.
we all benefit
Yeah.
when
That's
we
wild.
give people
100%.
ways to access various parts
Has to
of
be.
the game.
Good luck at your
Here-
Georgia
and so
LGS.
The more that we
Yeah.
encourage,
For real.
No,
we
it's
provide
true.
an avenue for
Yeah.
people who are new to the game to
Yeah,
feel like
I'd imagine
there'll
tournaments
be
are
vendors
something
on
that
site,
makes us
too.
better. We get bigger
I think
player
even
pools.
though,
You know,
like,
players have
tournaments,
a variety of experiences.
I mean, they're not casual
players who may
things;
not,
they are competitive
They may be
things.
some of the best
I'm
players,
viewing
but
these
they just don't
events
want
a
to
lot
deal
like
with
I
the
see
tournament.
Pokemon events,
If we
where like
give
you
them
have the
easier
main
access
tournament,
point,
but then
it's just better
like
for
people
everybody.
go just to play and be around
we
other
want to
people
give
that
everybody
like
the ability to
yeah,
access
just like a bunch of
Lorcana in
stuff
all
to
the different
do.
ways that they want to
Yeah.
play it.
And
whether it's
somebody
casual,
else made a
competitive,
comment in the
cooperative,
Twitch chat.
head-to-head.
Where'd it
I was
go?
gonna say, this is so great. As
and
we
it was
see
at
even like
Brendan
kids breaking into the
Ravensburger's way to
competitive
weed
scene
out the
right now.
quote unquote pros along with no cash prizes.
We just had an
Like
opportunity to
I want
commentate
now
on a tournament
that I'm
in
seeing all this,
Texas
it's like I
where,
wonder if they just
there was
don't
a- there
want
was a-
those, you
a
know,
Sorry, not sorry.
I mean,
pro grinders to be
competing
part
in this
of their game.
tournament
Which
with
again,
people who've been
I don't think
playing,
they
their
do.
game, they can do what they want.
I remember I've
TCG
always
since
hung on
the
to this
90s.
quote from Ryan. It was
And
from a
her
interview
having an
before the game was
opportunity
out. I think it was like at a
to,
D23
even though
interview.
I
He
don't think she won
specifically
very many of her
mentions like we
rounds,
don't
but
want to
like
do large
have
cash
that point
prizing for
system
tournaments
and
because of the
experience
people
that
that
win
it,
and
that it
experience that
attracts. Like that
validation
this
as a
is not the game
player.
for those people.
That is
So,
what is going to get
yeah,
her to
I wouldn't
buy
be surprised if that's the
in
case.
Well, and again,
continue
with
to
with
try
with a
and continue to
Disney
grow
product,
and become a
they
better
don't
player,
have to do
and
stuff like
that's
that to
how
be
that becomes
successful
lifelong
anyway.
Exactly.
And so
Because I think
that,
there are plenty of other games that, in order to
But no,
attract
I
a
mean,
large audience,
something that we talk about, and that's great to
what
bring
they
up. Something
have
that we
to do,
talk about is
especially on the
wanting to make
competitive
sure that competitive play also
I
is
mean, those cards will be
aspirational.
crazy
So
expensive.
there are
Then
people that
it's
are the
8
best of us,
events,
and we're making sure that
like the top
when we
16.
are working on this format,
that's what
finding
I'm
the best of the best
interested
is the
to
number
see
one
is
priority.
what
But the other thing that
those
this is
values are
solving
going to be on the
is
secondary
even
market.
it's
with
giving
Pokemon,
people
Because what
more
was
of
it? It
that
was
trophy
aspiration.
cards and Pokemon are insanely expensive.
This is something that will
It's
make
what,
those
6
players
NA events and
a
4
kid that wants
European
to join an
events.
event.
10
40,
events.
there'll be
Worldwide
40
events,
serialized Brave Little
They're
Tailors
not
altogether.
expected
There's
to
going to be
win an event
160 of those
necessarily,
Rapunzels.
unless they're
Yeah.
amazingly good. But
Yeah, they're gonna,
knowing,
especially the
like,
serialized
oh, I
ones are
need
do you
gonna
think they'll
hit
be more
high
so I'm going to
numbers.
keep
expensive?
trying to get more points.
They don't go. They
to
don't
try
beat
and
D23
get better
cards, do
and
they?
get to
No,
the point where
I
I'm
don't
winning
think so.
events.
No, yeah,
That's
because
kind of
those
one
are
of
going
the
to
time and
reasons
place
why.
thing.
You know, a lot of
Okay.
people in the chat have
They
asked
will
about
be like the next
on
most
that topic.
expensive
Are we,
item, in my
like, what are
opinion.
we doing
Yeah.
for kids?
Like
with
they
the
might
Lorcana
crack a
challenge?
couple G's, but I don't see
They're
them going up
talking
to
about
the
kid
heights that
there
D23
are
has.
things in the works for how to help with having kids experience with the Lorcana challenge. Again, we're not ready to share that here, but
Okay,
it is
interesting.
something
It
that
sounds like they'll
will be
probably
part
have
of
like
those
a kids
announcements
division.
That's a good
I love
idea.
that.
when we get that started.
That's good. I could win that.
So yeah, they'll.
I don't think you
We're
could though.
gonna move on from
No,
the
I
Lorcana
couldn't.
challenge. Spend a lot of time talking about it right now. But the last thing regarding new information, sort of new information, is Disney Lorcana Gateway. We have the box here. I know that people have seen the box either at
Open
events
it.
or social media. I don't know if you want to
Do we
see
get to hold
it.
it?
Just rip it open.
So yeah,
Throw it down and open
it seems maybe weird to bring that up. You know, why are we showing the box that has already been seen? Well, Liam, put that down right here. Let's show the back of the box.
Oh, dang it.
Oh.
They were opening it.
Oh, there's set 4 cards.
Oh yeah. For those of you wanting more card reveals.
So we have a few more
Enhance.
card reveals
Can't
that are
read
from
it.
the back of the Disney Lorcana
Zoom in
Gateway
hands. Zoom in
box.
hands.
Zoom in.
Are you going to make people zoom in?
No. We'll show the cards.
There it is.
Show the cards.
Okay. Are they opening it? Is this what happening?
I'm super excited for this product, by the way.
So if we could pull up Rapunzel.
Camera's slowly
We've
panning
talked a
like
lot about
soap
Rapunzel
opera.
today. There's still one more Rapunzel thing to show.
Heck
It's
yeah.
okay. I
It
love Rapunzel.
might need
Rapunzel,
to like
baby.
straight.
Still one.
The mat's off center.
There it is.
Ooh, blue Rapunzel.
Rapunzel,
Ooh, that
appreciative
looks so good.
artist. Sapphire, 5 cost
Oh,
inkable.
James Ward.
Dream
Whoa.
character,
Oh.
3
Okay,
strength,
okay.
5 willpower, 3 lore, with the ability
Little amethyst
Perceptive
sapphire
Partner.
stuff going.
While you have a character named Pascal in play, this character gains ward. So, you know, typically that Pascal has been used to avoid interacting with characters while they quest and gain lore. And this Rapunzel kind of plays into that strategy where you can't choose her for abilities if
Basically,
Pascal
Maleficent
and Rapunzel are
uninvited.
working together.
That's cool.
I love it so much. I love flavor almost as much as I love good mechanics. But what a flavor
Good
when
hidden Mickey on the left.
what a fun
Yeah,
little
hidden Mickey.
utility, little bit of utility for Pascal. Gosh, anything with 3 lore is just great. And the other thing I love when we see synergies
Milo.
in color combos, which we don't often see. And so now we're seeing Pascal and Amethyst, and we see
We just
Rapunzel
have that
in
one
Sapphire.
Pascal, eh?
This is
Yep.
working across that
Yeah.
color
So,
combo,
yeah.
and I hope that we can see
So this
Gotta be
that's
another
more
one
just
then.
synergies
another
that we
one
can
then,
build
right?
Yeah, we'll
Surely,
probably get
yeah.
another
between these
one.
two colors.
Bloodborne Pascal.
I love it again.
Can't even see him. He's so
Aubrey
camouflaged.
Archer crushing it.
I was supposed to
He's
say,
a
can I ask
Komodo
Can I
dragon.
ask an art question? Is there like intent? I mean, Aubrey Archer with the Rapunzels. Like,
Yeah.
she is
Would
like
be
really
hilarious
good at
if Bloodborne
Rapunzels.
She
Pascal
is,
was just
and that's
a
why we
landscape.
ask her to do a lot of
Said Pascal.
Rapunzels. She's an amazing artist, and she actually is one of our art directors right now as well. So you'll see a lot of really great Rapunzel cards from Aubrey, and she always
Somebody already has a
knocks out
spreadsheet
a
up,
park
putting
with
cards and
She
numbers
just
in.
like is so. I feel like she's
That's how
now.
it's done.
This is the 3rd Rapunzel we've seen her do.
I'd
Maybe-
imagine Mushi's on that.
Yeah.
Well, 3 card, a different art style
What
too.
time
We've
is
seen
it
multiple
right now?
versions.
It's probably
Yeah,
like
that's true.
2 or
So,
3 in the
Mushu
morning.
knows
I mean,
no
she's
time.
just
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's always awake.
like a part of this character now, and I love that she's continuing to put these Rapunzels out. It's beautiful as always.
So next we have Goofy.
Ooh, Goof Man.
Good Goofy.
So Dan,
Yeah,
this
you
is
have a
what Goofy
play-
actually looks like.
Yeah.
Super Goof.
Super Goof!
We have a
Four-cost
playable
inkable
Goofy?
Super
Ruby,
Goof.
Storyborn
Super
character, 2 strength,
Oh,
4 willpower.
yes.
Ooh.
More
Okay,
Ruby
put
Challenge
me down
stuff.
with
Let's
this.
go.
Heck
Super
yeah.
peanut
Yes.
powers. When this character challenges another character, gain 2 lore.
That's not bad.
This is fun. I love
Wow.
it.
Okay. Hold
So this is a
on.
new
Hold
use of
on.
Rush, right? We're used to seeing Rush with a high strength character that's used for some board control. This is kind of new where, yes, you can use it to remove something low strength, but you're also using it more for that lore effect. And so with his high willpower, or higher willpower, in
lore
theory,
immediately.
you perhaps can use him,
At least.
to immediately gain some lore, and he'll stick around for another turn to allow you to get a little bit more
I doubt
out
he's
of him.
sticking
So
around.
potentially,
Is
use
there
more
an item that
lore out of
readies
this
a character?
And another way to gain lore quickly, without having to put a character
the
on the
shield.
board and wait a whole turn. to
Yeah.
play.
Yes. Okay. There.
Another
I
way
knew
for
there was
Ruby
one.
to close out games.
It still costs
Fun.
3 to do.
And then
Yeah, that's a lot.
next we have
Tough.
Hans.
That's tough. Maybe we'll see him. And
Hans.
Hans, Noble Scoundrel.
What the heck?
He is a 3-cost
Oh,
inkable
shoot, a
sapphire
goat with a
storyborn
princess deck?
character with 3 strength, 2
That quests
willpower,
for
2
2.
lore,
And
and
at 3 lore,
ability
that's pretty
Royal
decent.
Schemes. When you play this character, if a princess or queen character is in play, gain 1 lore. Very on brand for
Cool.
Hans.
yeah, that's kind of cool.
In Anna's bedroom. I mean, there's a portrait of her on the
That's kind of
wall.
creepy.
Yeah.
So this
It's a little creepy.
Sniffing Anna's knickers.
Yeah, if Anna's in play, I gain 2.
I mean, he is a pretty creepy dude, isn't
I've
he?
seen Frozen.
Yes,
yes.
I underestimated how hated of a villain Hans is until this week when I saw
Hans?
people. I mean, what a terrible villain. So more Hans, more cards for people to hate. What again, from a flavor perspective, what a win with the ability. Gosh, we have a lot of princesses in the game. We have a lot of queens in the game.
I just want to hear somebody. I just want to hear Lynn be like,
there.
"Hey, it's card's mid."
Yeah.
The flavor text is
I want to point out
Next. Moving on.
the crosshair kind of shape near.
Yeah,
It looks
go.
like
There's,
Hans is working
there's a
with it.
reason
love
that Liam
Yes,
and Aaron are sat
okay.
there.
He's
and
definitely
none of
Yes,
us.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
well, exactly.
And that's basically
So,
it.
The
Yes.
flavor text is a little too small for me to
Let's
read,
see. Who
unfortunately,
can we
from
get
here. I don't
that
know if
loves
anyone else can see
everything
it, but basically, there is more story. One thing to keep in mind, Ursula's return as a set narratively takes place before the Illuminator's quest. So there's still story going on that leads into the Illuminator's quest.
Okay.
Hans is sort of
I see where this is
playing
going.
into what's
Yeah.
going on, and there's more story there that we'll leave for
Yeah,
future
that
reveals.
flavor text
Okay.
has.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
This art is so good.
So let's show. Oh, sorry.
He's in. I think in Christoph's room because it says he needs something
Yeah.
of Christoph.
I was going to say, you don't have a
He's
picture of
gonna
yourself in your
Christoph just
bedroom
has
usually.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You don't?
You're
Michelle.
good. So let's go to Daisy Duck.
I
Fair
do.
enough, Jonti.
I don't know what you guys are talking
He's
about.
got a picture of himself.
Jonti just has
Probably.
mirrors above his bed.
Daisy Duck.
Daisy!
Daisy!
Wow.
is
Look at
a
her.
Amber 1-3.
One
Daisy,
cost
bringing the,
inkable
Oh, yeah,
Amber
Amber gets
Greenborn
1-3 now.
character,
We
with one
got
strength
this
and
1-3-1
willpower
stat
and
line
one
for
more.
Amber.
You're still missing
No
one,
game
right?
text, but some
Yes.
really great
Steel.
flavor text from
Sapphire.
the
And
narrative team.
Sapphire, yeah.
Oh, Steel has Tiana.
Yeah.
Just cute.
I don't
I
know
love
my-
Had you
that.
corrected
my
yourself there, and
glasses,
we didn't have to do
but
it for you,
seeing
Jacob.
full, I love it. It's great. I mean, we see these 1-3 stat lines are often useful on turn 1. Amber's getting one here, so I love it. And what a beautiful one.
Yeah.
That's not terrible, actually. If we do see stuff
And
that
then
wants to
next
heal,
up is
see a lot of
Lana,
play.
Yeah.
who we were
a
just
1-3
talking about.
can get some damage on it.
Right.
I want to see a location.
See, I'm trying.
A little bit more of
There's
that
that hat.
story that was going on with Hans.
Looking for
There's a few more
Christoph?
cards to piece
Yep.
that story together, but
After talking a lot.
Lana
Yeah.
Braving the
Yep.
Storm is a 2-cost inkable Sapphire character, Dreamborn, with
She's
1
the shift
strength,
target for
4
the other one.
willpower, and 1 lore.
More about that
With the
storm.
ability, I was born
Yeah.
ready. If you have another hero character in play, this character gets +1 lore. So
This is pretty good with like
there is a
Like a
big hero
bodyguard
theme
deck,
in this
play a
set.
Hercules on
Obviously,
3 or
You
something.
play 2 of these, they
you
fulfill
need
each other's
heroes
cost.
to combat Ursula.
Each other's
So,
condition.
Oh yeah.
Anna is
Oh,
one of
yeah,
those
true.
characters that
Yeah, heroes.
really
There's a
strong
lot
in the
of
hero
hero.
theme.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah,
queen,
that's a lot.
though, not a princess, which is
It seems
kind of
that
bothers me.
Why?
Wasn't she a queen in the original one, in their first set too?
Yeah, it just
and I
just
know
bothers
that
me for the
Anna is one of
synergies.
those strong hero
Oh,
characters.
princess
and
synergies.
trying to do something about it.
Yeah.
Art-wise, she's holding the head that Hans was just
something
holding.
I feel like we've
Yeah.
seen several times today is this gaining lore based on conditions of the board. I feel like we saw this, like these two characters here. We've seen it a little bit in the Madrigals. So,
Yeah, it seems to be
I
a
also love.
typal
I
heavy
feel like
set so
maybe it's
far.
just the cards we're seeing today, and it'll be once we see more and more cards in set 4. But Ravensburg, your creative team is doing a lot more original flavor text, and you know, playing out this story like that makes a lot of sense. But I'm loving again starting to see this story kind of.
Poor Kristoff,
roll
he's
out,
lost in the
in
woods.
this set and having
Freezing
a
to
lot more of
death.
these
He's
flavor
chained
texts
up
that kind of,
underwater
like,
somewhere, man.
nod
Ursula's got
to
her
other
clutches on him.
cards maybe that we're going to see in the set and how all of this kind of works together. So.
And then there is one last card on the gateway box, on the back of the gateway
Stitch!
box.
It's the
that
Ursula.
People have
I'll give you
been
the Ursula.
wanting to finally see. It has been passed around in the story a few times. Triton's Trident.
Hey,
Oh,
there we
there we
go.
go.
It's finally
It's
here.
a sapphire legendary item.
Oh,
but it's
Amethyst!
Triton's
Uncommon.
Trident is a 2-cost
For each
inkable
card in your
item.
hand.
Yeah, it's trash.
That has the ability
Yeah.
symbol of power. Banish
You guys
this
are fighting
item,
over
chosen
this?
character
Yeah, why does Ursula want that so bad?
Amethyst loves
I bet
card
this game
draw,
works on lore.
and now this gives it a pretty nice piece of removal. If you're playing into that theme of card draw and having a ton of cards in your hand.
And I love that the flavor text is an Ursula quote.
It really is. I mean, so for those following the story, I mean, the Trident has been teased as super important since the
Yeah,
very
this is kind of a
beginning. We see
letdown.
Martin reaching for it in one of the trailers, trying to grab it out of
Really,
all
was
the lore
really
pieces that
hoping
are being
this would
swept
be
out
a
of the
really,
Illuminary. The
really
Trident
good
is
card.
mentioned over and over again, and so here's the payoff.
Yeah,
The
why is the
ability's
Lucky
fun,
Dime stronger
it'll
than
work
this?
in
Like-
item synergy. I
Triton
I mean,
could've done
I
what
love
Lucky
the
Dime
Lucky
does.
Dime, but
From a narrative
exactly,
perspective,
why
I
is
love that
that
you're kind of
better
telling the
than
story that this
Yeah.
Trident is being used for one big moment.
Power of
Like,
money.
she's
Imagine all of
gathering
this
her power,
not
she's
good,
gathering
not great power in the
things
wrong
together.
hands.
She has all these resources, and then there's
All
one big
this
moment where she's
power
making use of
of
this Trident to do
+3
something, perhaps.
strength.
Yeah.
I love the flavor of this.
And I will say, you know, there's some comments of like, the Trident really is uncommon. Look at the
It's
flavor
not just that
text.
it's an
Just imagine
uncommon.
all this power in the wrong hands from Ursula herself. You know, you called back to the trailer of this moment of the
So
Trident.
this and Goofy maybe?
The Trident's
Oh wait,
not
no, he
done
doesn't
here.
gain. Never mind.
This is the first time the
Yeah,
Trident's
I don't
appearing
know
as
why
a
this is
card,
good.
but it's not the
Exactly,
only time
Brandon.
that the Trident is
Just
part of the
like
story.
trying to-
More to
Oh, are we
learn.
gonna get a
Could get
shifting
a
item?
Ursula's Trident.
But
Ursula's
yeah,
Trident, maybe.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
What'd you
That's
say, Sean?
everything
So we're gonna get a
that we
shifting
have for
item here?
reveals and new information.
That'd be
We are going to
sick.
stick around and hang out more after this, but we're going to take a break, kind of get resituated, let us all sit with everything we've talked about. We have a bunch
good. I
of
would like a
Into the
break.
Inklands here, just for us to open up, hang out, and Matt has
We'll
been,
talk.
been very patient.
And talk about art.
But yeah, we'll be back.
Play a multiplayer game.
But thank you, everyone, and we'll be back
Hi
in about
guys,
5 minutes.
get your webcam set up.
What a set.
Yeah.
To
That's
that.
pretty
Like-
great.
wonder if
Like
that's-
I
wonder if
said,
that's
it's
theirs
nice.
or-
It's good that they have a nice set. Like this.
Yes, yeah, very professional.
While they're
I
on
don't-
break, I'm
I
gonna go
bet
use
it's
the
not
facilities.
Yeah, same.
I think
the
it's their
return.
set. I think that's something they've hired out. It looks too generic to be something they've put together.
Yeah.
Looks good though. It's nice and did the job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use the bathroom as well during this break. All right, Brandon, Jonti, let's see.
What?
Entertain the stream.
No, I might as well go as well if you're all going. I'll have a try.
I would try. Oh man, lots of chairs now. Just you and me, Eszti.
Uh-oh. Maybe I go. It's okay. So do you remember the villains that were standing behind Bruno?
The villains. So I remember there was Jafar.
Yeah.
There was.
I think that was Hans.
Yeah, I think it was Hans. I couldn't tell if it was Hans or if it was.
Yeah,
Prince
I couldn't tell
Eric.
that one. Yeah, but Prince Eric didn't make sense. It seemed like Prince Eric, but
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell with how dark it was, but I don't know.
You said you
It
saw
reminded
Minnie?
me. Yeah, there was Minnie in the bottom right with like red eyes. Which is why I wonder if it wouldn't be Hans. It looked like the
Minnie?
one from the
Really? But they said they wouldn't do like heroes turning into villains.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was kind of surprised to see that. It was really interesting.
I will have to rewatch that because that guy on the left did seem like Prince Eric, but just didn't clap.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. It reminded me a lot of the oh wow, they're bumping the time up.
Yeah.
We're up to 8 minutes now.
Oh boy.
We had like 3 minutes to go and they just bumped the timer up to 8, so I guess we have 8 more minutes.
You want to price speculate on the
I want
prize
to
cards?
I want to look at the product page. So we'll do this real quick and then you guys keep me accountable on when everything starts again if you can. Where is it?
So how in what sense would the legendary cards inside that product make sense?
Yeah, that's a little
I just don't-
interesting.
I just think they've got to be extra legendaries.
Yeah, that's the only way, right? Because
There's
this,
more
this
than
is-
just 2 legendaries per ink, maybe. Or they
Maybe. It's still a 204 set though, and these are just like the promo. And look, Piglet is the same card, but Piglet also has the like swirlies happening.
Yeah, this is going to be a special art treatment just in this with the border.
Yeah. I'm a little scared for these, I'm not gonna lie.
But that would completely ruin the like either scalpers, like people will want to get this for the
Exactly.
legend, or yeah, just don't see
Or
it.
it makes pulling those legendary. Well, technically, you kind of already have precedence for this with the gift set of like the super rares in the gift sets.
Yeah, but
like
they're super
Mulan.
in the starter decks,
Yeah,
and they are the
but you
worst
can still
cards
pull
to
those
pull.
in packs.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
we'll
think
get
that this is just
report.
going to be the case for legendaries. Like these 2 legendaries might just be the worst legendaries to pull value wise. But then again,
That's actually 3, right?
special
Because
treatment.
Ursula is also in there. No,
Right.
Yeah.
The this Ursula.
So
So
what does
that's-
that Ursula do?
I don't know.
That's
I
actually a
can't.
good card.
Oh,
Oh, here we
she's a
go.
good card.
It's
I think it was when she
When this
She
character
quests,
quests,
you can-
exert chosen
characters can't sing.
character, and then
Yeah.
other characters can't exert to sing songs.
That's even
That is,
yours.
and she's Floodborn. Oh my
even
god.
yours can't.
correct.
sing
Even
songs.
yours can.
Yeah, you can't sing songs,
There's some
and when she
drawback.
quests, you exert another character.
Right.
You're totally
But
That's
down.
she
really
can
good.
sing. She can sing
Shift
songs,
5.
but with
Oh,
if she's
yeah.
three lore, you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, this with maybe, I mean, Emerald has the better Ursula targets, right?
Yeah. And then ironically,
See
the
what
other
you mean.
the other Ursula wants to sing,
Yeah.
so it doesn't
Alright,
really
I'm gonna
synergize
refresh
at all.
here.
No, I don't think you play that.
Is there even an Ursula not in Emerald or Amethyst?
Well, there's the really expensive
Amethyst.
uninkable Ursula in Amethyst, and then in Emerald. Oh, you're saying is
There's
there
2
one
of them.
in other?
Yeah,
inks? I don't
think
think.
that's it.
Say there's 2 in Emerald. There's Deceiver and Deceiver of All.
I could see this being on top of Deceiver of All, shift target, but definitely not the legendary Ursula.
Even
Yeah.
Deceiver, the one that comes
mean-
down and you get to look at their hand, she's done her job at that point.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
a
was
good
gonna
shift
say-
Yeah,
target.
definitely.
It's a very anti-song card already.
100%.
So like
yeah.
they can't sing the songs early, and then we shift this on 5, so now they can't sing at all.
Yeah, that's I love that card, honestly. I think she's great.
But is she also in the box?
I
but-
don't know. It
She's
doesn't
a
actually.
different one.
Oh yeah.
She's
Maybe.
she's on the. Oh, where
It
did I
doesn't-
see her?
It doesn't
Yeah.
show her in any of this, but it's
Got the one
on the
next to the box.
page.
Yeah.
It's on the page specifically for the
Well, that's fair.
The box
Deep
art,
Trouble.
the box art is different than the art on that Ursula legendary.
True.
So
That
that tells me
little-
is that
that
the
little-
enchanted art or something,
Yeah.
or like
Could be.
Well, it's just this art. I
could
don't
have
know.
sworn I saw her propped up against a product, and maybe I'm just misremembering skimming through it now.
These say? Player abilities. Remove
But
up to
that
2
wasn't the
damage
card,
from
that was
chosen
like a-
character.
It looks like a cardboard cutout.
That's I think that's what I've looked at is that cardboard cutout Ursula, and just
So it looks like you can pick different like player abilities for the difficulties. Maybe Ursula doesn't draw additional cards for lore each turn. Oh my god! Wait, that sounds kind of crazy. Ursula doesn't draw additional cards for lore each turn.
Maybe she
I guess
gains
it's just
lore.
similar to like a Jafar effect.
Are you talking about the?
No, this is going to be. This is Ursula. This is the
yeah.
AI you're playing against.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm eager to see like what's happening here. 1, 2, 3 little player cards. See what choose all our power protect earlier against the Lumineers. And then we can do a quick look at the
There's some characters in the background of that Ursula art at the top of that previous page. You can see.
There's a John Silver.
Yeah, there's a John Silver there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I think I would assume that those gold backed cards, that Ursula's army, that you wouldn't be able to play those in a regular.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I imagine they're just going to be like minion-y type cards.
Right.
That don't see
Closer to
play
what
outside
you'd
of
see
this
in a
set.
villain. They're going to be closer to what you'd see in Villainous, I feel like. Stuff like
It shows
that.
you can play any Lorcana deck, like standard deck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Is you pick like you can pick like a higher
different Ruby.
Right.
Yeah,
But
pick a higher difficulty.
the question always is in these types of co-op modes is what are you playing against? And those which it looks like it's those gold backed cards.
Yeah.
The worry
It'll
for
be
me
interesting to see.
The worry for me is that those like Mulans and Yensids, I really hope that is that the tentacles coming in there and the higher number is just alt arts of the regular.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
You never know.
It's not that they're the only way you can get them.
We think they're going to be like essentially the same as like the super rares that you get in gift sets right now, or they just feel worse to pull in the regular pack, but they still maintain their legendary.
Based off of what they said before the set 1 release of we're never going to do mechanically unique cards that you can only get like at a thing, it makes sense. I don't think that they would do something like that. To me, that would go against what they've kind of.
I agree. I would just like clarification.
Right.
If that Yensid's only in this box, I want 4 of this box. And
Right.
I don't have to buy 4 of this box, should I? Right. Like you know.
Right.
So I think that was the majority of the good stuff.
Yeah, I think now it's just they said it's just going to be like them hanging out. I think they said opening stuff. Did I mishear that? Like opening product?
Yeah.
And just like hanging around. I think they're interviewing. I think the Limiteers may be interviewing somebody. I don't know. Maybe Matthew.
Yeah. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
What?
My 13-year-old just ran past in the background.
Oh yeah.
Is that what it was?
You can walk past. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I could drive to Cincinnati and fly to Atlanta.
Just come to Chicago with us, baby.
Thanks, everyone.
Chicago is much easier. I'd kind of like to do both, though.
Just joining.
I'm super happy about
all the stuff that we were.
I'm gonna be. Hey, dude, I'm totally fine
announced
just showing
for,
up and
Ursula's return. A new co-op mode.
Same.
Illuminator's Quest.
Same. If Ravensburger needs a casting team, a lot of people here that would love to
You're
do
looking at it, baby.
If you need a local caster, you don't gotta pay for travel. I'm already here.
I'll travel. You don't have to pay me. I'll do it.
Before we get into all this. But we have it here if people want to see what.
I'm gonna put that out there.
I am absolutely more interested in playing though, obviously. So
the other way.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Open those in a
Did
pack.
they just crack that in one of those Inkland packs?
Zoom in if we're able to zoom in more.
A Stitch.
Well, that is the set championship Stitch Rockstar
champion
promo
one.
card.
Man, I'm itching for one of those.
What's it like seeing it in person?
I was gonna say, I mean, the pictures of it are amazing.
It'd be really
they don't
funny
do it
if Liam
justice,
just
though.
like
It's
grabbed it and
fantastic
ran
in
off
person.
camera.
Right.
Just like ran away with it.
You really get to see a lot of that incredible foiling technique behind each stitch. One of the things I like about this ink foiling treatment too is that I think we call it ink wash foiling. That's what I call it. I don't know if that's the official term, but it makes like every card unique because the pattern is slightly different on each card. So one of these cards with the amount of this ink wash foiling you're seeing in the
Because
back
he's so in awe.
as another one
Because
based on how that card plays out, which is I love so much. It's like
they're
fingerprint.
touching the table, and
So yeah, I just wanted
when
to-
you're
just wanted to
zoomed
share that
in,
so
when
people
you're
could
zoomed
see
in
it.
like this,
The
any
set championships,
minute difference or
retailers
movement is
have
gonna
been
get
signing
picked
up for it. We actually did extend the window.
It's the power
extended the window a little
radiating
bit
off
for
of
retailers
the
for sign ups. We're trying to sort that
enchanted
out.
Stitch
So
card.
retailers that host organized play actually have already gotten messaging about the window being extended, just to help people get through that process, and hopefully everyone really gets to experience one of these Into the Inkland set championships.
What are they doing? Extending the sign-up period?
Yeah, they've extended the sign-ups for stores.
But yeah,
I disagree with that because I signed
we're
up.
just hanging out for the rest
four
of the
minutes
season.
before
No more stuff to reveal, but we have a whole bunch of products.
That leads me to
here,
believe they're
and,
wanting like a bunch of stores to
let me
get this
just share
though,
some
so it
packs
should
of
be
everyone,
pretty
and we
easy
can
to
just
find a
open
few.
them. If anyone pulls anything cool, can just show it on
You know what
the
they should do is
We have to
they
put
should,
Enchanted on the
they
first
should just
Lorecast,
start
don't we?
answering
I
questions.
feel like the
from
pressure's on.
chat.
However, I feel like
True.
with us on the Lorecast, we are not the team
Do they-
to pull an Enchanted
did
with
you
y'all.
say
Like
that
it.
they're gonna
No,
look
we
at-
do not have
look at
luck
the chat,
pulling
or is it more
Enchanted.
like-
Well, okay, that's not true.
They said
pull
they
them.
said
We've got the studio for the
That
day.
is
Our
true.
boxes, we don't pull them.
That
but
is true.
This being your
I
box.
think we have pulled one Enchanted. No, we've pulled two. We've pulled two. One on camera,
Watch
but
'em
I
pull an
wasn't there
Enchanted Stitch.
because our daughter was
Oh, God.
not happy.
That
day.
would be
And then
chaos.
the next
That
was
so
Wait,
bad.
okay, so I gave him one, so now
You would
you
have a
get
producer run on the set
I was
and
keeping
like when the
extras
camera's
for
pointing
myself.
away, like,
Liam
give me
lets me open.
give me
Whenever
that.
we have just one pack, he lets me open.
Oh, so nice.
Usually
Liam
the
has to
cameras
censor
are shut
himself.
off.
Oh my
That's
god!
how I justify the
The
expense
art!
when I buy
Look
it.
at
I'm
it.
like, here, this was for you. Yeah, I do want to ask, as we start to open these, Matt, you were one of the art directors for Into the Inklands, and an artist that we've really grown to appreciate and love is Grace Tron, who we saw all the way back in set 1, and then set 3, you all picked her to be the kind of the feature artist for this set, with all of the products featuring, I think all the products except the plants featuring her work, and kind of the title cards. Why Grace? What was it about her work that led you to say, hey, we want her to really bring Into the
Michelle's
Inklands
already
to life?
opening packs.
That's a great question.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Grace,
like I'm not
obviously, as you've seen from her work, she's an amazing artist. We had her for
organizing
set
them.
1 cards and set 2 cards, and felt like she really was able to capture what we wanted for the tone and look of the art style. We're changing things how we approach the art production as we go from set to set. But for this set, we had her do all of the marketing characters that you see on the front of packages, and she did a great job.
Got
and
my email
she was chosen
from
really for
Amy
her
K
speed and
announcing
style.
set 4
And
release.
we'd like to change it up from set to set.
From
As you've
Zoo?
seen, we've used different artists.
The
for those characters.
what's her
But,
title?
Yeah, we were really,
It's
really pleased
just
with
the
the work she did.
typical
She's just a solid
PR
solid artist for us.
email, like the mass blast.
Yeah, her style is fantastic. Like she
Andrew
really brings like
Hanneman, they're
approachability
just
to a lot of her characters.
Local case,
No matter what pose they're in or whatever, they're
salt and
they're-
vinegar
there's
like a
bit of
real
warmth to
man.
them. And even
I'm
Jafar.
it's a very popular
really,
flavor.
really
I have
love.
a little
I loved the piglet on
like
this.
bodega, like a
on
little
the box.
convenience
I got
store.
so excited.
Oh, yeah.
in my
I'm,
building.
like
So just
my-
when we had a break, that I
my
just ran down and
shirt.
grabbed some chips.
Oh bother! I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan.
My wife is too. Yes.
And the more I specifically, okay, so something I feel
To
like
spend
I've
the
been
money.
noticing, but I'm
Yeah,
not a
Atlanta might not be
professional
possible. George,
I feel like
Chicago is
the
very
use
doable for me.
of
It's about a 6-hour drive.
ink in
That's not too
Lorcana
bad.
is actually
About the same for me.
And Liam's laughing.
Not
And
for
it's
me.
I don't know why. So,
That's
like,
all right.
for
We're all just
instance,
sleeping at your house,
cards.
Dan.
So the croquet.
I don't know.
Look at that basement. Look at all the
set
rooms
2,
behind you.
and Eeyore.
Yeah, it's mine.
And set 3, you like
I don't know if my
very
wife would go
strategically
for
use
that.
the color pink.
She wouldn't have to
And
join us.
I just
I
have
don't know
like
why it makes
like
such a
20
difference for
friends
those two
just
cards
stand
to
over.
me.
Cool, right?
But
You're
I
cool with that.
realized that I don't. See, it's not intelligent. This
That's
is not
like
an
luck?
intelligent. Yeah. I don't know if there's
Luck?
any sort of like specific thought process behind. And maybe if I find an Eeyore in here, I can show it to you and be like,
yeah.
why is this standing out to me?
I don't know.
One thing I don't mean to interrupt. If you have any wrappers or anything, you can just
Oh,
send them
yes.
my way.
Sorry, we have a trash can.
Throw them on the ground.
Rochelle's keeping us organized.
I don't think we've really intentionally restricted the color pink. There's been some, obviously a lot of characters will have
Oh, that's
on
a
their
sick
body or on their costume.
sweatshirt he's wearing too.
It's obviously not exactly one of our ink colors, so maybe that's why you see it used a little bit less. And we try to make sure to not, make it detract from the colors that we want to stand out on a card. But you probably saw a lot of pink in that Ursula trailer.
Yes.
It can be useful when showing magic and things that need to feel more light based. So you might see more of it, but there's no real intention for us that we've been leaving it off of cards or anything.
No pink. Now, do you have Matt? Do you have a favorite piece of art in this set? A card that you really enjoyed, either really enjoyed working on with the artist, or that just kind of
let's open
blew
and
you
see
away
what
when
you're
it's
open,
finished
guys.
And you keep coming back to it.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this because I knew you were going to ask.
Yeah, of course.
Of
course.
And so yesterday I was looking through, I was like, okay, I need to remember all of the pieces from this set because this is like a year ago for us. I was really loving.
I'm curious how
being
many
able
people
to
are watching
introduce,
their stream.
location cards
2,300,
because,
2,275.
I love landscape art.
I think
So he said
probably
I love
drop
landscape
off now.
painting,
That most of the
and
Yeah.
I just love the
So
So
artists
he
that we've
said
gotten
a
for
year
those.
ago.
And the one piece
So
that stood out to
this
me
was from a year
was
ago.
the Arliss
So
Legacy.
that's
When we got that card in,
no.
I believe it was almost instantly approved. It was just like so perfect and amazing. I love that artwork.
Which cards are you talking about?
And so that really blew me away.
I missed
It
it.
was also one of the first
The
times we worked
Arliss
with that
Legacy.
artist. Because the
Ooh.
location cards are such different types of
But he
cards.
didn't
We have a
save
lot
the
of new
enchanted
artists we
or the
brought on
normal
just to
version.
do locations. They're specializing in that kind of artwork. So that was one of the first ones. And then the Enchanted Ursula, of course, with the legendary team up of John Lorne and Nicholas Cole is probably my favorite artwork in the set because it was, it's amazing. It's beautiful. Both artists are amazing, and it's a pleasure to work with both of them, and they've really helped shape the look.
Nicholas Cole better get the art for the Brave
One thing
Little
I
Tailor
love about
serialized.
that is one of my
top four.
favorite cards in the set. Partly because of
I hope he gets that.
because of the art, but there's a story there. People who have watched Nicholas Cole do interviews he often talks about John. Because John and Nick go back years their careers, and they keep bumping into each other. These are artists that often work together, and they'll send each other pieces, and they'll comment on them. And so
It
to
looks
see
like
the
they
two of
pulled
them get
Stitch.
to team up on a single
Yeah,
piece,
on the mat like
and to
that.
see each of them bring their strength to that one piece of art is just fantastic. So when you know the relationship between the two of them, it makes that piece even more special.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that, so I'd never worked with John before, but I knew Nick from my days at Hasbro before I came to work on Lorcana. And when we brought John on and he mentioned to me how he'd worked with Nick, it made sense because I knew they'd worked on some of the same projects together and all of that. I didn't know how close of a relationship they had, but John said, Nick taught me how to draw. He taught me so many things. And it's really amazing to see them collaborate together, even on their own without any prompting from us. Like you said, they'll talk to each other.
We had
they'll be
16
working
new
on their own
cards today
pieces and
to launch
get
the
each
set,
other's
which I think
eyes
has
on
been the
them for
most we've
critiques
had
before
for a
they
set
send
launch.
it to us and stuff. So it's really cool. And actually, a card in set 2 already had that I don't know.
Then
if
we
a
got
lot of
16.
public
We got
knows about,
13
but
for
Winnie
set
the Pooh
2.
Honey
Sorry,
Wizard
Dan.
was a Nicholas Cole idea.
All right, guys,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
John
hop
Nolan
off.
illustrated it.
This has been
So
fun. I mean, dude,
it's
you've been going
they
for
work
2.5
together all the
hours.
time,
This
and
is
they
crazy.
and Nick was. I know
yeah,
Nick wanted to
yeah.
do the art
You
for that
guys
one.
are
We wanted
free
him
to
do the art
like
for that one
leave
too,
and
but when we
stay
get
if
into
you
John,
want.
he
If
was
you
like,
guys
"Okay,
need to go,
John,
but
you can't
appreciate
get
it
rid of
having
that
you,
easily,
Dan.
Brandon.
Thanks for
they're
coming.
friends." And
All right,
he's like,
thanks a
"John,
lot,
we can do this
guys,
for us."
and look
Was that
forward to
something that
talking
they,
Ursula's
speaking of
return
John
here shortly.
See you,
So,
man.
Yeah.
see
Was
everybody.
that
Bye.
something the Honey Wizard specifically? Had they kind of talked with one another about the piece and then gone to y'all and said, "Hey, can John finish this piece up for us?" Or did you all identify that?
I can't remember the specifics, but I know that the original idea came from just a sketch that we told Nick to go crazy on whatever like ideas he had for characters, and he was like, "I want to do a Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard," and it was just a sketch from Nick, and we were saving it for him, but it ended up he was busy. He took on, I don't know if he was working on other cards or for whatever reason he couldn't do that card when we needed it done, and we knew John also loved Winnie the Pooh.
Nigga polls.
So,
Nick
we got him
almost
on
got
that point, but
Honey
I don't
Wizard.
think he knew
That's
about it
crazy.
until then.
So fascinating. And so Nick
What Honey
kind
Blizzard's
of
looking
was
forward
the
now instead of left.
impetus for that card, like the, and then the game team kind of created a card around the art.
Hey, we really like it, Nick, but could he just face the camera?
I wouldn't say they created. It's
Oh,
a vanilla
let me call my
card,
friend
so
John.
They didn't really create a card around it because there's not much to need there for gameplay reasons.
Because Zoolander, like, I can't draw right.
We had the sketch sitting around for a while because that was one of the early development sketches, and I saw an opportunity for an amethyst Winnie the Pooh in the set, and so I said let's just use it for this set.
Helga.
I know there's a lot of criticism that he doesn't have like sorcerer powers or anything, which is a little bit of a miss, but it is an amethyst card, which is about magic, and so we thought it was still fitting.
I love it. Common cards deserve good art too, people.
This is true.
Common cards
I feel like
deserve good
this is
art too.
Liam's crusade. He's very passionate about common cards having. Really
I totally agree.
Deserve good art. And thank goodness that card exists. Can you imagine if it were still sitting in a sketchbook somewhere on a hard drive somewhere, just like. I love it so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I still remember when that card was revealed and just everybody's mind was like blown.
Yeah, and thank you for putting it on a playmat.
And on a playmat too. Oh gosh, it's so beautiful.
Rochelle, do you have a favorite piece of art from Inkland since we're...
Oh my gosh, I wasn't even ready to answer that. Even we have a teleprompter here and it says on it right now,
Yeah,
Rochelle will mostly
like
stay
that.
out of conversation unless relevant. So this was relevant. I really
Rochelle's done a
like
great
Tim Hawkins,
job
which is on the
facilitating all
mat
this
here.
stuff.
Yeah.
I could tell it was a
Like-
shaky start because they didn't know how to necessarily flow the
of what
camera
we've pulled
stuff,
so
but
far.
like
They're watching us open stuff
she
here.
has
Yeah.
proctored
It's
this
a one
thing.
legendary box so
wonderfully.
far.
Yeah, she's doing
Although,
that. I think you can see a big, almost a
one
big
thing with
improvement, like
artwork that I love
in just in the last
Inkland is
few
Heal What
of
Has Been
these,
Hurt.
you know.
Even though
Like,
it
I
is
know
a
obviously
common,
she's come from a community
I saw that was in your
management
deck.
background.
It's actually in my
I don't know
deck.
how much
I
of
played
like
as one
on the camera
of.
stuff.
I
I
love the card, and even it's
I feel like
it's a
already
little
now.
bit
just getting
right
way
now.
more comfortable with it.
One of the reasons I play it, Ariel finds it and it triggers Cinderella
I
Stout
hope she gets a lot of good feedback
So,
from the company about justifying this
one of the
live
things that's actually
experience.
exciting with
Great.
that Ariel
I
that we
mean,
revealed
they
at the
have
start
to, right? They had
of the
really great
stream,
viewership. Lots of hype
you can use
out
Heal
of
What Has
this.
Been Hurt
Really great job.
like an inkable Let the Storm Rage on with that Ariel Sonic Warrior. So
That's for you.
Dalmatian puppy.
That's for you, Rochelle.
Yeah, so I love the artwork on that card. I have not
Kind of rare,
have not
yeah.
hidden that Rapunzel is one of my favorite characters. Tangled as a whole is one of my favorite Disney franchises. So yeah, Heal What Has Been
Same
Hurt
here.
I think is up there for an artwork from Into the Inklands that I really love.
Steven
I
asked,
do
do you
love
think
that
we'll
Aaron
get
talks about this
Lorecast
piece
4
all the
times a
time
year?
when it
I
comes
think
out.
surely.
There's a
think we'll get it
question
more.
here about the,
Four times
about
a year.
the style of this piece, Matt, and I don't know if I
Okay.
have it ready.
It's so tricky
but
to
it
know
is-
what we
for
can
those
say.
who've looked at that
I-
piece,
yeah,
it is styled very
I think-
differently. It
I
almost
think
looks like stained
once a
glass or
set-
something out of
right.
a storybook instead of an
Yeah,
actual
like,
piece.
it's
They,
very
they will
lean.
basically
Is
use
that-
this
is that
to
kind of
announce every set.
Yeah.
the direction
Yeah,
we're
at
going with
least
that piece,
that.
or
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me as well,
So
Jonti.
the idea with song cards is, or with every card, right? We're trying to portray game mechanics, but with songs in particular, we want to evoke the emotions that people remember and associate with that song. So some of them, if you remember some of the earlier songs like "Friends on the Other Side," they're a little bit more of an abstract illustration where it's maybe not a specific scene. Sometimes they are a little bit, or pay homage to the original scene, like A Whole New World, where you see Aladdin and Jasmine flying on a magic carpet, but it's in a different kind of context in the world of Lorcana. So we're trying to always evoke those emotions from the film that people remember. But with that particular artwork, we didn't want it to feel like something that was just lifted right out of the film and put on the card, but evoke just those feelings of the song. So we wanted the family kind of portrait of like that moment in time, but it was definitely a more graphical approach than some of our normal, illustrations for characters and other actions. Even
So,
songs are a little more.
I'm just going through all the cards we saw today. Do we think that
It's
forecasting
another
on
one,
Unkable Mulan
common
is
cards deserve, good art
with Rush
too.
is now playable because of that
That's
legendary
another
one,
every
or
time
do we
I
feel
see
like we're
it, I'm
still
like, man,
waiting
I wish
for
I
a
played this card so I
target
could,
for her?
I could look at it more. So thanks, Rochelle, for giving us kind of a use for that card, because I know both
Is the shift one inkable or uninkable?
The one card that reminded me of that is you were talking about like an emotion or
Problem
like
I have is
an
I don't
abstract
think
scene was part of your
Mulan
world.
as a standalone
It's another
card
song
is
where
one
like
that you would
everybody
actually be
looked
able
at
to
that
get your
art
value
first,
out
and we were
of.
used to like scenes.
So that feels
and then
really
they're like,
bad
why
to
are the
include,
fish
because
in
whenever
the
you
air
include
in front
shift
of the
targets
city,
in
and
your
there's an
deck, you still
aerial,
want
and there's
that
a lot
shift
going on
target to
here.
And
be
that was like the first card we
playable
had kind of
on its
seen
own
that was
justify
that
that slide.
large
That's
in
fair.
scale.
Or at least just like
it was.
a
It was
1.22.
If the
There's a lot
Mulan had
going
worse
on.
stats and was
Yeah, and
inkable, then I
that
still
was,
think it'd be
the
better.
card
But
actually,
the fact that it's
I think the
uninkable
card
means
that
you really
really
have to
spurred
want
more
it
of
for its
that,
own ability.
conversation
Yeah,
around, like,
that's my
right?
how
thought.
do we treat
Like, I think it's
why
a
should we
fine
treat
card
these
being
song
a
action
rush
cards
card,
differently?
but you're
So
giving
it
up
was, that's a
uninkable
good
spots in
example,
a
actually,
Ruby
of
deck,
when we
and
started to
those are
You don't
already
really
pretty
want
realize
high.
that we
what
needed
you're
to show
shifting
more than
onto to
just
want to attack
one
into stuff.
scene.
Because
Yeah.
it's just going to sit there with damage on it if it does survive
and
anyway,
each
right?
song can be
Yeah.
challenging, honestly,
That's what I'm
because they
thinking. At
gel
least right
different with each
now,
other,
I'm
but
sure.
that's
I mean,
generally our approach.
surely there's like another Mulan
Fun thing
in
about
the
it
set,
is like
in the new set.
each song is
But
different,
I don't
then
think that
each
Amber
moment in a song is
Mulan
different.
is a
And so
terrible shift
when you're
target.
extracting
It's a
Also, who's
support.
singing
It's
at what
like
time?
if
So
that's
when you're
played
extracting
next
specific
to the
lyrics,
shift
now you're not just
Mulan, you
trying to
can
encompass the
do
song, but
even
you're
more
trying to encompass
damage with
that
Mulan. You know, it's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
for sure.
synergistic in that way.
Um,
Fits the
The
Amber
main
Ruby
self.
thing that
Piglet.
happens
Yay.
anyway.
Super rare.
we're,
Love him.
we're still on one legendary in this box, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
yes.
One
Yeah,
legendary.
one
one
Uh-oh.
legendary.
In
Ours
trash
was a little
box.
bit of a
From
new
that
bite
batch.
there.
So,
Yeah, imagine it's a bad batch.
It's all I have one more pack, but it's kind
They're
of
all here apparently.
I want to
so.
tell a little story about Piglet too.
Yes.
So this is another Nicholas Cole idea, based on it. He did a sketch of Piglet as a soldier, and we knew we needed Piglet as a pirate captain. But some of these elements of, like, you know how cute Piglet is wearing like the big hats and like things that are oversized for him, and so we kind of took the ideas that came from one of Nick's sketches on Piglet and turned it into pirate captain. So that's another fun.
I love
I guess
Piglet.
history
I
of that.
have a
I love it. I
story
do hope
about
that
Piglet.
one day we're able to
One of
see
our
some
regular
these
players at the
amazing
store
so too.
sketches.
is
I hope
an
so.
elderly gay
Because,
gentleman
one
and
question,
opened a
Matt,
pack
and
and
it's
got
kind of
Piglet
broad,
Poo
but,
Pirate
we
and
got
said,
to
Poo
see,
Pirate? I've not
an
been
incredible
called that since the
presentation that you
70s.
gave at,
Hold
where
our second legendary.
Oh my
second
gosh.
legendary is
Perdita.
Perdita,
She's so beautiful.
strong card.
But we got to see, so we got to see this presentation where you brought on some Lorcana concept
I
artists,
imagine
and they
someone
did
like
live
Ian
drawing
McClellan
of
saying
concept
that with his
pieces.
voice.
It was really fascinating. And one of the things we learned there was that there's a ton of artists behind the scenes doing work that are not necessarily credited on cards because their strength is in the concept world, is creating new ideas, dreaming up new ways to look at characters. And they work fast in that area,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of where they live, in your process. So for anybody who didn't get to see that presentation or doesn't watch, our videos, can you briefly talk about kind of the concept process and kind of let's give those artists a chance to shine for a second?
Yeah, sure. We have a very in-depth and lengthy set of, well, a large block of time set apart for developing the world as well as the designs that you see on the cards for specific characters. And I refer to that whole stage as visual development. And there's different parts or different focuses during that time. Some of it is on more just like I mentioned, developing the world of like, okay, we know we need these characters in this specific kind of situation. What does that even look like in the world as a whole? Mm-hmm. And then also we need a specific Piglet pirate captain. We need a design for that character as well. We get down to the specific cards as well. And we have, I don't really have a number. We have so many visual development artists that work constantly on all of these different areas before it even gets to the card illustration. And like you mentioned before, I hope to eventually be able to show more of those concept sketches and designs in progress before that happen, before you see the final illustration. And we also have been able to credit them in a more broader way in the full credit list rather than on a specific card. Eventually you might see some more of those credits with
Flying
my goal is
Lanxess,
to
huh?
actually be able to show
It's a great
visual
name.
development credits per card as well. It's like, hey, these artists did contribute to the concept that you see in this card. It won't be on the card itself. That will always be the illustrator that gets the credit
to Atlanta.
But we go through quite a lengthy process, and it's both internal and ships over to Disney for approvals at specific points for approvals.
So
on
few
those directions
legendaries.
that
I
we
feel
want
like
to
there's
take
bound to be an
characters.
enchanted in this box.
But we do a lot of world development and character design.
Have they just still hit that gym?
I think it was really, really neat
far as I can
to
tell.
have an opportunity to be at Lightbox and meet some of those folks. And for those of you watching who don't know, Lightbox is an art convention in Los Angeles that happens each fall, where artists from around the industry, not just the TCG industry, but many different companies are there doing art portfolio reviews and the like. And Ravensburger was there this year, and so y'all did a presentation. And so getting to see that there are, I mean, as we know, there are the folks at Ravensburger who are behind this incredible game, and y'all put in an incredible amount of work. And then, but there's also this whole other set of people, these concept artists who are contributing to this game and who are working behind the scenes to bring this art, which I think is one of the things that makes Lorcana so special is all of the original art. So it was really neat to see that just the names on the card might not be the only artist who has kind of touched this card. There are a lot of people behind the scenes working to bring that to life. So
absolutely.
I did pull out while we were opening packs, I pulled out a couple of pieces that I just pulled in my packs that have really stood out to me in this set. And so
oh man,
these 3 pieces. I know. There's so many of them.
Those ones.
Oh, Perdita got hit. Okay.
Well, and these were just the ones that I found in my packs. There are
still just 2 though.
Many in these are 3 that I see them. Specifically, this cleansing rainwater. I feel like the art style is kind of different than from your Little John, the modern storybook, which is what y'all kind of call this art aesthetic that you're staying within.
Mantis Cube.
I love how
Just notice the card
rain
reveals.
is almost late.
We always get a 2-cost damage.
Well, but I didn't know
card.
if you could talk more intelligently and eloquently about this card and
Yeah.
maybe
What
why
was
it's
the-
so
what was
special.
the
or
second
is
one?
it even special?
The 2 is Baboon.
I will say
deal
that
2
a
damage.
lot of our
Teeth and Ambitions, 2 costs, deal 2 damage.
Oh, Teeth and
okay,
Ambitions. Okay.
This is
Yeah,
Cookie.
Teeth and Baboon.
So Cookie did a number of cards for us.
I still
Big Tink.
reckon
Cookies behind Big
Cookie did Big
that
Tink.
Teeth
I
is
think
probably
also
the most
one of
played
these,
card that a
maybe?
content creator has shown off.
So
Which is an honor.
Cookie's very
I think
vertically
Rise of the
involved
Titans could
in
crack
what
it
we're
though.
looking for and in the game.
Rise has been played a
I
lot.
would say that piece
First
is
Morphle. Yeah, that.
too
Who
far
revealed
off
that?
of our modern storybook
Rise?
style. But because
First
one of the things
Morphle
that we're
was
Rise was Dan.
Rebecca.
First Merfolk was Rebecca.
Oh, that's right.
play
That's
off of
right.
the strengths of
Yeah, that's
each
another good one.
individual
I think
artist and
Rise
letting their style show through.
probably
Chris
saw
Murphy
is more
We
played
have a
than
broad
Chris
kind
Murphy
of
right
guideline
now.
for what it means to be
But
a
Teeth
modern
was like
storybook or the
everywhere
Lorcana
in
illustration style.
that 3.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Set 2.
really broad in the fact that we want line work on the characters, but it can be loose. You can do it in your own style of line, as long as it doesn't look like a comic book style. Like that's one thing we try to stay away from, too many heavy lines and things like that. So we've been letting the artists kind of stretch out a little bit and widen what it means to be Lorcana, more modern storybook style, where we can let the artists kind of, if their native style is close to that, then we want them to use something that they're comfortable doing and let their style show through a little bit more. So that might be why you feel like that one is a little bit starting to stray a little bit from Modern Storybook, but I still consider it within the family.
And I look, it also has a different frame on it as well. So we have these little like triangle.
Oh, that's because it is an
an
item.
Okay. How have I never noticed that before?
You never noticed that all
That is
items
crazy
have a
for
frame?
Aaron to
No.
not be able
This
to
is the
notice
third
that.
set.
Aaron doesn't play a lot of items.
It's wild.
Aaron doesn't play a lot of item decks.
Because items are
It's meant to be
trash.
subtle, though, so.
I think what you said about letting the artist style shine through, because I do think, you know, we are seeing now, there's certain artists where you see a card and it might be your first time seeing that card and you know immediately who it is.
Yeah.
Jeff Murchie is one. Nuka, I think, is another. Cookie
I
is
doubt
another.
they have one more
where,
thing,
you know,
Steven.
as soon as you see that piece, you're like,
This
I know
just seems
exactly,
like
or you can narrow it down.
conversation.
I know exactly who that artist is, and that's amazing.
How do they wrap
because
this up? Well, that's all, folks.
Aaron
Or do they
said,
have
the
one more thing?
original
Yeah.
art is really what
No, I
makes
think that's it.
Lorcana, and
I'm not
it's
sure
allowing
what
us to
this
see fresh
half is
takes
for,
on
really.
beloved
I guess
characters. And so
part of
the
me
more
thinks
that
it's
we
just
can
that
get
they've got the space and they've got
individual
the
takes
eyeballs, so
on
they're going
certain
to
characters.
Yeah.
You know, I
milk
love
it a bit, really.
To that point, I love what you've done with the new Enchanted
Should
Stitch.
probably always
because
sit
now
it
we
out
have
just
a
in
very
case we
specific
get one
card
more thing.
that's
Yeah,
getting an
like,
alternate version.
It's
Yeah,
not,
I mean,
it's not sort of
we're gonna
out
see
of.
two
It's not
artists take
like
on
it's.
this very
It seems very
specific
Rochelle
Lorcana
to
character.
pop one
Yeah.
last thing on at the end. To be honest, so
If Marvel movies have taught me anything, you wait till the very end.
yeah, you watch the credits.
Yeah.
And I think the answer is already yes, because we saw the Ursula frame breaks on the card reveals, which everybody, the tentacles.
I want to see that
You know, one thing
Bruno
we really saw with the
card.
creative
If
team
there's a
in this
Bruno
set
card, like
was
piece from the
so
very
many
beginning of that
little,
trailer, like some
subtle
shadow
ways
Bruno.
to push
like
doing the
barnacles on
individuality
it.
of these
Yeah.
cards forward.
Yeah, that's what it looked
So,
like.
you know, in
Eszti
Perdita, for
brought up
example,
a
the
good
leaves
point
in the
while
back of the
everybody
text box store,
left.
and there's a number of cards like that, where the coins and screws.
There was
or
a like
unique
evil
foiling
mini
treatments on
almost,
Yep,
like a
down in the
possessed
corner.
mini.
Little
And
subtle,
then
or
we
the frame
couldn't
breaks.
tell if it
Little
was
subtle ways that the
Hans or
creative
if it
team
was
is like,
Prince
all right, let's make
Eric
this card
that was
pop.
also
Let's
like
make this card
possessed in
particular
that little
special.
trailer. But it's kind of
Are we gonna
interesting to
see
see
more of that
what's
in
supposed to be
the
like a hero
Well,
Disney
Ursula's Return?
character in
I
a
can't
like
speak to
villain-ish
everything that you're going to be
spotlight,
seeing
you know.
in set 4, but several of the things you just mentioned.
I
were
mean, if you look at the
specifically
Bruno card,
things
he is
that,
not a villain per
we
se.
wanted to
No.
do
He's an
to
ally,
legendary cards.
So he's also
So we talked about some pieces of the art breaking the black border.
The video has been that video has been uploaded separately.
You saw some of that also.
Yep.
in
Yeah,
some of
on
those
Twitter.
videos
Yeah,
that
it's on
we
Twitter.
posted as well.
Yeah.
We're looking
And I can see
for
the
ways to
animation
make cards
style is a lot
special and
less
stand
stop
out. And when we
motion-y.
do that,
Yes.
More fleshed
the way we
out.
do that is visually with frame
Yeah,
treatment
you can
or
see.
the way that
I don't
the
know if
art
it's
is
more
shown. If you
resources or
notice on these
what, but you
legendary
can see that
cards,
they're
the
just
art
like
shows
putting more and
behind
more
it,
effort
the parchment as
into
well.
this game
So
in
it has a
general, which
different
is
look
great to
on
see.
the rules text area than normal cards.
Am I the only one who
It's
doesn't like
actually the same
Perdita
reason why we have
flavor-wise? Just
a
always
black
showing
ink
the.
bar for not ink bar, but the
Perdita,
classification bar for
the
flight cards.
necromancer.
You can see
Yeah,
A bunch of
My
dead
puppies
puppies
come
running around.
You remember in the movie where she brings those puppies back from the dead? You remember that
Right.
bit, don't you?
referring to right now
I
is
mean, if
really
anything, that should be
what we did
Roger.
for Enchanted.
I think of it
sorry,
being
Legendary.
He
her
gets lucky going.
But
pulling
in
her
the future,
puppies
it
back
could
out
be
of
for any
danger,
reasons
like from
that
the
we want those
discard
cards to
pile.
stand out.
Get back in
We're
here.
seeing the Ursula.
Back in here and fight.
Back in here. Sit here and
Yeah,
quest.
those who are
Yeah,
Ursula.
yeah.
It is
If you
kind of funny to
tentatively,
me that
kind of
like
shapes
the
on
best
those-
card
on
to
those
pair
cards
with
that we
Perdita
did
right
earlier.
now is a Stitch, which is like
Okay, so
dog-ish,
we're just bombarding
but
you
just
with
mutated.
not, you know,
And Piglet,
So
which some people keep as
something
dog pets.
Rochelle kind of we talked about
pigs.
was like the
Very loose
stories that have been kind of playing out, and so I grabbed like a series of 3 cards from Inklands that have a little story going on here, and so from
I just got a legendary, by the way.
ooh, the Mickey. I love that card.
Sorry, keep going.
No. So is there any sort of cross collaboration
The most
amongst
subtle of frame
the
breaks.
artists when
Just a
cards
little
are
bit of
kind
his
of
trumpet.
Tiny.
a group,
Yeah, the frame breaks
or
are bigger
with the art
in the next
directors, or how
level.
do you kind
Like-
of think about this as a collective
Yeah, that's a
narrative?
great question. It's usually held together by the narrative team and the art direction team rather than the artists because it's difficult to do it that way unless the same artist is doing all the pieces, which is it does happen in some cases,
Right.
like you saw with the Seven Dwarfs and some other pieces that you'll see. But in general, it's organized and kind of coordinated by the
Yeah, so
art direction
the
team in
characters with the
conjunction with
eyes in the
narrative of, like,
video
okay, we
are
want all of these
Magica
to
Dispel,
be
Prince
together or
Eric,
be part of
Bruno,
mini story, if you
Jafar,
will, within the set.
and Minnie Mouse.
Like they either play off of each other.
What if there was
or maybe
villain
they're even in the
variants of
same
all those,
environment.
even the heroes?
If
You
it's
know,
a
like Minnie
panoramic
Mouse
shot that's even
villain
more,
tag. That'd be pretty.
coordination. To get
But
that
I think
they
part to be the
specifically
same
said
across them.
they won't do that, right?
But it's
I think so.
usually,
Yeah, I think
you know,
they
just
said
That's
they
like
didn't want to
that's
do
something that Disney just doesn't like doing.
Yeah.
And they when they do it, it has to be something like this. It has to be like
waiting
it's
for the
it's
very
not
legendary
that isn't actually
corrupted.
bar,
It's
it's
corrupted.
Yeah. So if you look at like Mirrorverse, that's it's not actually Sully that you're fighting. It's this construct called Sully.
We're savoring it.
Deglimmer.
Yeah,
So
and they
I know
kind
a lot
of
people-
at the
we've talked a lot
beginning,
about art, you know,
when
that's
one of the
your-
things Bruno
that's
sees
your,
is
you know,
two
role in touching
Ursulas
that.
fighting over
But,
something.
Yeah.
So like
I'm
it's
sure you
really they're
play
really leaning into the idea
well.
that these aren't.
What are you playing
These
right now? What are
are
you
these
enjoying?
created.
Playing?
The son-
Or
it's
do
a
you
son
think-
of
Official
the character.
Ursula is like, I'm not that evil.
I am well, I play several different decks. Sometimes I feel like being really competitive, and I have, Ruby Amethyst for that. And I've played TCGs for a long time, so I do like to win. But I do have some like fun kind of theme-based or other fun decks. I did dismantle it a little bit, but I had like the Beast. I had a Beast deck, and I put every single Beast card in it, including the Beast is mine. But I was like, I guess I got to put one of those in. I do typically tend to play some of the more power cards just because I love to play them as a longtime TCG player. So I'll usually be playing Ruby Amethyst at a tournament.
Oh my gosh!
But I usually try to put a little bit more of my spin on it.
I won't put Matt down as such a tryhard.
Right now,
yeah, man. Evil Matt.
But I really want to play Sapphire
the hero or
because I just love that part of Sapphire too. So
they'll never make you a villain.
All the rage
I know.
recently with that lucky dime as a finisher. So
I don't know. I think more people are going to be playing item hate, and it's just going to take control of that again. But we'll see.
That's how metas work, isn't it? It's how did you describe it, Rochelle? It's the game metas are.
I actually find it kind of interesting.
For those watching who are unfamiliar with the term
acknowledging
meta,
meta
generally just used to describe the makeup of the
game outside the game.
It's a game outside the game. Yeah, you explain it better than I do.
Yeah, so I mean, when you're talking about meta and metagaming, there is a game that goes on when you're not just playing Lorcana. There's a game of knowing what decks, trying to predict what decks people are going to bring, whether it's your locals or when you're going to a bigger tournament or something like that. You need to be basically making your deck to predict what you're going to play against. And so like Matt mentioning, people are going to start bringing back item removal. You were looking through my deck yesterday, and Benja was right in there.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Lucky dime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I actually wanted to ask this question on a live stream that Liam and I did when we had experienced TCG players around the table. So since now I have 3 experienced TCG players around the table, I'm going to ask it, which is how has social media impacted how you put together your deck and evaluating the current meta? So, I imagine, Magic in the early aughts or in the 90s, like we didn't have social media, you couldn't really figure out what was going on outside your LGS.
Yeah.
So how has that impacted?
Steven brings up a good point in chat.
Rochelle
was so adamant about not spoiling and sharing the
people are sharing
what's in the pack and everything going on with the Illumineers quest.
I
wonder if that's literally something that as creators you would. I'm sure you wouldn't get in trouble, but like
archetype or
it's kind of like, okay, if you do this, you're breaking some rules that we don't want you to break.
Well, like showing it on a video, do you mean?
Yeah, like being like, oh, it's come out. Here's what it is. Let's review the
you
thing.
Can use that information.
It's just kind of spitting in your face,
Yeah, it's going to be one of those really tricky things, though, that if, like, for creators like ourselves who are slightly more sort of tied into the loop of Ravensburg, we'll probably honor that and be like, blur it out when we open it on a video or whatever. But then there'll be 100 videos of people who don't. So,
a lot of people refer to when you're
the second the product makes its way to
has some
outside
play
of
in
a
it, but
warehouse,
I wouldn't-
it'll be on the
I
internet.
wouldn't
Oh
say
yeah,
it
it'll be
doesn't
all over
matter.
the internet.
It doesn't matter how often you ask people to not
You
spoil
shouldn't
it.
expect
It
that
will
every
be.
single
So.
deck that you go against is going
True.
to be what you see
She
online.
asked so nicely.
Especially because
Yeah, sure.
if you're
But
playing
she
in the
asked
metagame,
nicely to 4,000
actually,
people.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, deck building.
No, but it
100,000
sounds like
people.
just a legacy
Okay,
game,
people are playing this,
right?
so
You
I'd
don't
say
spoil a
this.
legacy
Yeah.
game.
One of the
So
things
just
you
have
can
to
do
be
to kind of be
respectful
effective
for other
about
people.
is like,
Or at least you say
don't.
spoiler.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
like,
don't,
everyone else is
as a
thinking,
nice
how do I
person
beat
talking
these
to your
sets?
friends
Like, you
about a
brought up
game,
Ruby Sapphire,
but
for example.
but I guarantee you could go and
So,
Google any legacy
people are
game
gonna be
you
thinking,
like,
how
and
do I
it will
beat
all
Ruby
be laid out in a
Sapphire?
YouTube video.
You have to think
So
about, as part of the
that's the
metagame,
difference, right?
how do I beat
We
Ruby
won't.
Sapphire?
I'll say to
And
people, no,
how do
play
I beat
through
the
it,
people
open it
that
as a
are
prize.
making
It's good fun.
changes to their deck
But there will
to
be
beat Ruby
50 videos
Sapphire?
and 50
So
Facebook
there's
posts
this
that you'll
game
just
where,
scroll
like,
up and be like,
decks
oh,
are
what's that?
constantly
Oh, it's
shifting,
basically
Facebook's
Ursula.
gonna
Cool,
and
now I
you need to
know.
account for all of it. So like,
Gonna go nuts.
if Ruby Sapphire is popular, and part of that is Lucky Dime and other items, and you know people are going to start playing item hate. So like, you know, right now,
So is
because
that
people
competitive
saw
product
things
like a
Penta
campaign,
take a
like
backseat,
multi-steps, or just one
I think Rise of the
quest,
Titans
depending on
has
your
been popping up
level?
a bit
They
lately
didn't
too.
really explain that too
Like,
well. I think you just pick one of
you have to
the
now keep in
levels of
mind,
difficulty.
like, you might
maybe.
have been able to get away. Maybe you're not playing Ruby Sapphire.
That's the way I
You
understood
might have
it.
been
You
able to
choose
get
a
away with
repeatable
difficulty you
sneaking
want to
items
do,
because people
and then you
stopped
do that
playing
one.
item removal, and then now you have to be like, well, I know item removal's coming back
And then you just
because
open the
everyone
pack.
is
Like,
like thinking,
I guess if
I
you
gotta put
win,
it
you
back
just
in
open
for
the
Ruby
pack,
Sapphire.
or that's what's
So
supposed
now
to
you're
go.
like Sorcerer Spellbook or whatever that you were sneaking in.
You'll get that
like,
splash damage.
You're gonna get the
that
effect of the Ruby Sapphire.
Triton's Trident card.
You know,
that
meta.
Yeah, I really hope it's not that now.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
take
things
back my
like
guess
even,
from earlier.
Seal Song. Like, people aren't putting item hate
Someone in
in
chat said
necessarily
it's a Dalmatian
to
puppy.
get rid of like sleepy
That would be
Land or something, but
hilarious,
then
dude.
naturally,
4F.
if more item removal is going in, those cards are gonna be hit by it. So yeah, I mean, I could talk about meta gaming forever, but like, that's kind of like the quickest way that I could boil down how that all works.
I love it. I love that description of it as a game before the game.
Story-wise,
we use
where
that
does
term,
Ursula
all the
return
time,
from?
and to
Like-
describe certain things. But I love thinking
That's a
about
good
it
question.
that way.
Ooh, yeah, good call.
she's
Maybe she was
from-
maybe
I
she was
guess
kicked
in
out
the
of the Inklands
movie-
at one point.
I guess in the
Somehow
movie she
Ursula has
dies.
returned.
About, all right, this season I'm gonna play this deck, and that's my deck, and I'm gonna, this is what I'm gonna use. And they
Like,
play
she
the whole
was
season
here,
with that
she
deck.
set up the
Instead of
book,
thinking
she
about,
set up the
I'm going to this particular event. I need to play this game.
Maybe
and think
the
this through, and maybe
Lumineers in the
craft a
story
specific
banished
deck
her at
for
one
this
point, and now she's
moment
back.
in this season, which is.
But you can also do that. Like, you can have your favorite deck and just make those metagame shifts to it.
Yeah,
if it has that flexibility, being like, okay, well, I'm going to have to take my flutes out because everybody has item hate now. That's fine, and you get really good at playing, Amber Steel or something like that. I think that's great because you need to be good at your deck and understand its ins and outs and how to play it. So sticking with the same deck and just accounting for the metagame is totally fine. And
I hope it's
going back
something
to your
like
question
I hope it's
about
like an
how
enchanted, basically.
social
Like
media
Right, yeah.
a really
That's what
nice
I'm
alt art
thinking.
of the
playing
card.
more
Like
competitively. I think it's
if
just
it's-
we just get information so much more.
like
fast
I'm
than
pretty
we
sure
used
they
to.
did say they will never do
But we
anything
still used to
mechanically
get it
unique. But
fairly
if it,
fast,
if
right?
it is a
Like,
mechanically unique
people would
card, it's
post
such a
articles
swing and a
and
miss. Like it's
tournament
never a
results,
good
and
idea.
Immediately the meta would
Yeah.
shift according to the results.
Haven't
in
they
there.
mentioned
So
that they would
I don't think
never
it's
do
changed a ton
mechanically
other
unique
than
cards?
just
I
getting
feel like
faster
they
and
have,
faster.
yeah.
They have, yeah, 100%.
To be honest, I'm not, going to any of these major tournaments, so I'm not.
But
trying to stay
also,
up
I think
on
they said
everything
it
all the
like
time,
within
but
the
I like to
within
know
the
what's relevant and what
confines
strategies,
of like
are being
tournament
employed.
prizing and stuff.
And
Okay.
Like I think what they said was like we'll never do a mechanic unique card that you can't buy. Basically,
Yeah.
so technically, like you can go out and buy 4 of these if like that's my only slight concern.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I just can't imagine going to a tournament and Matt Ing sitting down next to me.
If
Or sitting down across
it's
from me.
a
and be like,
mechanically unique card, it should be like
I would
in
lose
relation
because
to
I would just be asking about other
cooperative
pieces of
games.
art. Like I'd be playing.
Otherwise,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
not playable in outside of that kind of
What
thing.
happened
Yeah.
here?
Like what I imagine
Okay, yeah, I was
that
about to say,
Ursula deck
love
is
of my
probably
life,
going to
light
be.
of my world.
So-
Please open the last pack.
The
while
last
I'm
pack.
on.
You're holding. Is that the last
It's
pack?
the last.
This is the last one.
Aaron, why don't you slow roll this
Oh
one
my gosh.
on the
This
There's going to be
They only
nothing in
get
it.
3 legendaries.
It's gonna be sad.
This is when we hit the enchanted.
Well, there's 3 legendaries. There's 3 legendaries. I feel like we should have.
We should have another one.
Maybe.
How does it feel,
Or
Ravensburger?
No, that's.
To
I
get
mean, that's.
nothing
We'll
in
see.
your
We
boxes.
will see. If we were at home, I should let my 9-year-old opens the most amazing packs every time.
See, that's not us. Oh man.
All right.
3 legendary box. That's kind of sucks. Is this the last
That's
pack?
what I was saying. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Last pack.
There, just for you, Michelle.
It's
Just
all of
for
the
you.
cards that we talked about. That's what this pack is. Oh yeah. There's an Ursula.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I feel like
All
this
right.
is just like wrapping up this box.
Mama Odie, is that Mama Odie?
It is.
All right.
For sure.
Wendy, darling.
Delightful
Okay.
Wendy
Okay,
piece.
here we go.
Rare.
Bernard. And
Oh,
There
there
it is.
it is.
Wow.
There it
Is
is. We
that a-
hit a legendary.
Nice.
Grandma
Grandma
Tala.
Tala.
Like it.
All right.
Gorgeous. And then a foil.
Okay.
Foil Zazu.
I mean,
All
okay.
right.
Zazu, yeah.
Ron Baron.
And they should read the
you know,
location and
love
shit.
him, but common.
I got destroyed by a Zazu
Well, that
aggressive
box
deck in the release tournament.
Sucked.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh man.
That box
Zazu
sucks.
Do
tournament.
people at
Yeah.
your locals
Looking at the
know
cards, that
what
was not a good
their-
box.
So for a while
Unfortunately.
they didn't, and
It's
then
hard. It's hard to keep it.
You know they
there
didn't
were-
seed an
I
enchanted
mentioned
box in
earlier
for the
with,
stream. though.
with when we did the test events for. the
At least you
two-game
know
round
that they're
format,
honest.
Yeah, I'd rather see that than like
People
4
saw me at the
enchanted.
test
Whoa,
yeah.
what a pack!
and
They
locals
should
is
have.
not
They
the
should have
best.
brought one to a vehicle outside and done the car
But
trick.
yeah,
Right.
but it's
They're
been
still-
good.
I mean-
Everything's been really great.
You can
playing the game.
you can
with people,
definitely beat
knowing,
those packs with y'all's This Week in Ink packs.
But yeah, I don't know how have locals been.
That would be pretty funny.
Great.
Other
Open
than
Each
full
open,
box.
recently.
each open half a
yeah.
box
yeah.
on This
Oh,
Week
yeah.
in Ink.
It's been fun.
See
They've
if we
been
beat 'em.
great. You know, most.
I don't think we're gonna have
some
enough
people
time
watch
for
our stuff,
that
some
with
people
all
don't.
this.
But those that do, it's
software
always
next
really
week.
gratifying when when people say that they've seen something you worked on, and so that's kind of a joy. And then they beat me in Lorcana, and then then I have to live with that. But no, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, locals broadly have been a lot of fun. One of the things I've really enjoyed about our local scene is how diverse the scene is, age group, and just broadly. So many different people coming and playing like a
Will you
TCG
guys
for
travel
first
to
time,
the
which
UK
is
or
giving
Europe for
our
these
local
challenges?
scene like a very different feel than a lot of other games.
Tough.
Because every time you
There's
come
enough.
in,
The two
the number of
NA
times
ones
I've
that
talked to
were
somebody and they're like, yeah, this is my first game.
announced. Those are
husband
close
or my
enough to me
wife
to where
has
I don't
played
have to travel that
TCGs,
far.
And I was never interested, and now I see Disney.
I'd
so I
consider
thought I'll
the
give it a try,
UK
and
one
they're
just
out playing,
because I would maybe
Lorcana.
look at tying it into a trip
For the first time, I
back to
actually
see
met
family and stuff, you
someone,
know.
and he said my wife
But,
plays TCG.
Oh, you're from.
otherwise-
Oh, you're from
Disney,
here.
and
I see.
I've
Originally.
I'm from
met
England,
her
yeah,
for the
yeah.
first time, and I was like, okay.
I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
But our
Otherwise,
LGS
though, I
in
don't
our
think.
community is wonderful. We had
I'd
our
entertain
very
doing
first,
a
our
international
daughter, the
in
day after
Europe,
live release of
or I mean wherever
of the
Worlds
first
is
chapter.
at. I'm gonna try to
And
be.
so,
So if that's over there, I'll
our
be there.
ability
But
to go to
I don't think
Yeah.
for the
LGS,
regional ones.
changed quite a bit
I
after that,
imagine
and
it'd be
they've been
easier
so
for me to
accommodating
travel
and, like,
North America
family-friendly.
for regional than
In addition to
to
the
Europe.
starter deck
And
events
did they
run
say
when
there will
sets
be
come
a
out,
European and a
one
North
starter
American
deck event,
championship in the end?
our, ahead
There
of,
will be a
TCG
North
had to play
American
at
and a
our LGS,
European
bought us all, sorcerer
international
hats, so we all
championship.
were wearing, like,
For it's
sorcerer
to like
Mickey
that's
hats
where
at
all
the starter
the
deck
top
event,
players from the
and
regionals
it's
qualify
always
for
it's
in
so
their
fun.
respective
They make
regions.
such an amazing
And then I think the top players from those play in a
The
world
Worlds, yeah.
championship,
Support
and we
your
don't know where that's
LGS.
at.
Yeah.
for sure.
On an island in the middle of
Can
the
we-
Atlantic
can we
Ocean.
I want to like.
Called Atlantic.
You want to open all the
well,
things?
Okay, we can
no,
open
just
we can open a few more packs before we go.
I mean, the trove. What y'all did with the trove this set, I'm super excited about.
Yeah?
So
Yeah.
I just like.
Oh yeah.
People
Go
haven't
for
had
it.
a chance. People
Well,
haven't
now
had
that
a
light
chance to
gives
open
Liam,
one
like,
yet.
punk
I
hair.
Oh, really?
Like we just like no, we've had.
Especially
it,
it zooms
but
out, it gives you
others,
like rebrand.
like the
What do
little
you-
tchotchkes.
Yeah.
in
What
it.
what do you like about
The
this?
tchotchkes? I will tell you.
Who do you think gets to keep these cards?
Are my favorite thing.
I hope Liam and Aaron.
Ever.
I said
So
it burn
I'm
them.
gonna cut you off one
Yes.
quick. Someone said this isn't live unless we say flounder.
It's like-
Flounder.
Flounder.
Coins that didn't get properly
Fishy.
minted.
Matt, are you live?
Had to be
Say
destroyed.
flounder.
Flounder.
Um,
Everybody wants flounder.
Yep. It's fishy.
I think I like organizing our cards as much as I like playing Lorcana. And so the card dividers with the
Yeah, I don't know
ink
how I
symbol
feel
on
about
them are
the card
amazing.
dividers for the next one being
Yeah, they're
rarity.
double-sided.
I'm already organizing everything
Anyway,
in
so that was the big
pink
reason.
color.
I'm just like
I
all
need
about
those
Now
the
you can
dividers.
organize even harder.
Brandon, I
we
think
all
you
did
need
a
to
great
accept
job
the
with
fact
that.
that they're
The
6 pieces
troves are
of
so much
cardboard
fun.
that you could just
But
go
they're
and...
branded
And the box,
specifically for
one of the things
Lorcana.
I really appreciate about
They're
this Pro
special,
box
Jonti. Jonti.
Exactly. Spectacular product in terms of their design. But on this one, it really allows that
There's going to be a
landscape
whole
art to
enchanted
shine. So it's so thematic.
Yeah,
because
that's what makes me laugh.
In my trove, you know, like
I just got my going through my BCW white box.
Right.
With all my enchanters
Oh, wait,
there
right off the
stacked up.
bat. Mickey Trumpeter.
Wow.
Oh, foil trumpeter at the bat.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so
Yeah, I
getting to
love the
see it
artwork on the
bigger,
Trove box.
It's great. And you know, gosh, here's
They also changed the style of the divider thing in the middle.
And here's another example, like the
Inside the
ship here,
box.
you know, the legacy, right? Like getting to see it in space, like in context here, is really great instead of seeing it close up. So, I don't know, love it.
And the
Oh, there, yeah.
the piece from the world of Lorcana on the back.
With
Actually, with the Illumineers.
Yeah, bringing this out from a video trailer onto this box here.
What are the ink cycles or
it's a
ink
piece
riders?
of key art that tells the story
I don't like ink
and
riders. I don't
the
like
theme of the set.
They're called something. I just can't remember.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? I can't
Ink
remember
runners.
Ink runners. That's what it is.
There you go.
Definitely a good piece to show.
One thing actually interesting with that key art, when we first revealed it, Kita wasn't originally in it because we hadn't announced Atlantis yet. So Kita was actually
cool.
pulled from the key art.
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
The Kita here.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and then obviously in the actual final art, you can see her on there on the Trove.
Wait, so was there just no one on that?
No, so in the original reveal of it, Venturo and Stitch kind of, because it was animated.
Yeah.
Right.
And they kind of rode by.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't have this third
But
one.
there wasn't Kita there in the initial reveal of that.
Interesting.
Really wanted to save Atlantis for like hyping people up when we announced it.
Yeah, and people were hyped. Looking at art now. Yeah, I do think, I don't know. I love the Trove as a product line. And they're part of our storage.
There's 3
system
piglets.
on cards,
Yeah.
too.
I like
Set now that has our
That's a
regular
decent card though,
Trove.
so I mean, hey, why not?
Good, dude.
Doesn't have our
Perdita.
bulk. That is way too much of that.
You get them all out, it's 9 lore.
Yeah.
Is this the enchanted pack?
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, you're bringing up the
That's the
rares.
last trope.
Oh, I like about the art. So I get quiet as I. Legendary.
Oh, sure.
Speaking of Atlantis.
Is it Milo?
Kita here.
Milo.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Pretty good trove.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
trove's nice.
Totally.
Kita, foil legendary. Any foil legendary is exciting to me. They're so difficult to pull.
Yeah, 4 legendaries are.
I thought you were saying that you pulled another one.
No,
You'll see
I
the
would've.
price difference
Oh,
between
and
legendary
Speaking
I
of
did get
foil
John
legends.
Brave
Silver
Little Tailor and the
Nine
foil.
Rainbow.
I mean, yeah.
Those are
Legendary
crazy,
Brave
eh?
Little Tailor.
I also
It's like
so
$6
silly
versus
thing. I also get excited
75 or
whenever we pull a Dalmatian puppy. Like
Oh wow.
I will build the 99 puppy deck.
One day.
And so I'm just hunting them down one by one. One by one.
We pulled a foil Dalmatian puppy.
All right, crew,
I almost
calm
gave it to
down.
Rochelle. It's right here.
Nice.
Right.
For your collection.
So this is the
This is
enchanted pack.
Last pack.
Yes, that's the enchanted.
Yes.
I was wrong about
Until
the
your
last
video,
one.
Brandon,
It was supposed to be
I
this
had
one.
never
Yeah.
seen an
So
enchanted
I won't-
pulled from a trove
Send this one on camera. I'll just
ever in my life.
go through, look at some amazing cards.
Ever in
Alright,
all
so
my
we
days.
have
In all my
I don't
days.
think I've seen it either.
Gyro sensor.
I've heard of it, but I haven't
We
seen it
have
pulled. I've seen one
Fang.
pulled from a starter because somebody pulled
And
one
of course,
at
not
the
that one.
Gen
Me
Con
too.
starter
Prince
challenge,
John, Phony King.
but I hadn't
Like
seen
Phony.
one from a trove.
Fantastic piece.
Fun one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for letting us.
Doesn't enjoy a good
this,
crossing.
this whole day has been really fun. I hope everyone.
We all need to tweet
I
Liam
just
after
wanted to
this.
kinda ask
I
before
DM'd him
before we
about
wrap up.
30 seconds after he said
what
it.
everyone's favorite nuts today was. That's been kind of last every time, but I'm going to start with Matt
Oh.
this time.
Okay.
Good.
Put me in the hot spot. I've been so excited for set 4.
Is this them
like,
wrapping
just
up?
being able
I
to
think
talk
so.
about it.
Okay, cool.
is,
I've got a
and the
child to
story
collect
and
from the
things that we're
school.
You're gonna see more and more cards for it, but I'm just really happy that we got to show the trailer and talk about set 4.
Oh, the trailer's amazing. That's probably also what I've been most excited about, like people seeing, especially when the chat lit up with like Bruno was like I just loved seeing that. But yeah, that's what
They've
we
got
were
a really
hoping
good
for.
handle on what the communities will get excited
I mean,
about.
it should come
you
as no
know.
surprise, I think, to people who are watching this whole thing. But Quest, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to play.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to play with our friends and family. So.
There's 1,000 things I could talk about because a lot of it blew me away. But I'll echo what you said, Matt. The reveal of set 4, specifically how strong a role the narrative plays in it. You know, not only the trailer showing Bruno with all the minions and the glowing eyes and like the battle that's about to take place, but the name of this set, Ursula's Return, and focusing on her as a key part of the story. Like all of the way it's woven into the set is so cool to me, and I can't wait to see more cards to see how this story is playing out.
Yeah, and for me, my favorite thing of today's reveals, probably aside from all the
is
card
this
reveals,
next card that we'll reveal.
'cause I love that Ariel. The Disney Lorcana Challenge.
Is all these legendaries?
I have been waiting for people to be
crazy.
able to see those.
As long as we're right about those cards being
I'm
duplicates,
incredibly
of cards in the set,
excited
we did
about
get
it.
to see 2
It's been
legendaries, 3 legendaries. Today.
So
3,
funny to
right?
me
Yeah.
how
Out of the 12 is
often,
kind of crazy.
Like there's
Assuming there's
YouTubers
still
and
12.
things that are like, I wonder why there was no Cinderella Stout-Hearted Enchanted, or I wonder why there's no Rapunzel Gifted with Healing. And I've been like, just wait. Like I've been yelling. I watch YouTube on my TV a lot, and just like been yelling at the screen. Like
I do really
just
like how
wait,
they are willing to go
please.
back
So,
now to other
they're
sets
out there.
and give these
I
cards
can
that we
finally
really
talk
loved
about
a
them,
treatment like that.
And
Oh, sure.
You need to
I'm
be
so
prepared
excited.
treatment like that.
Yeah,
Some of the most
absolutely.
beautiful cards in any TCG that I've seen, and I can't wait to see them in person.
Flounder.
Oh yeah.
So with that, we're at the end of our first Disney Lorcana Lorecast. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining. All of you spamming Flounder or Bruno earlier. It's been great. Again, we mentioned this towards the start, or probably prior to this. The VOD won't be immediately available once we end this. It is going to go up later. All of the information, though, we are going to get out there on the website. There's a lot that you have seen that's already on the website. But yeah, join, follow us on, bookmark the website, DisneyLorcana.com. All that organized play information, product pages, etc. Follow us on socials. We're Disney Lorcana everywhere. And then Discord, our Discord community. There is a button on this Twitch channel to just immediately join Discord, but
Convenient.
if you're watching this later not on this Twitch stream, it's discord.gg/DisneyLorcana. Join the community, chat with us. Pretty much everyone that is behind the game is on there and chatting and talking about it. So
all of that should be in the descriptions here, by the way,
if
too.
you missed
the
anything
Discord
during
and all
this, you're going to
Anybody
find the
wants it.
information. We're going to get the information out to you again. But we really wanted to celebrate this being a day of Lorcana. And
Raphael, is this live
reveals
cast
and
online?
excitement.
So they're initially no. They have
when
stated
we
that their
sign off,
live stream that they're putting
we're gonna
out
show the
now
story
will
trailer one more
turn
time
up
for
as
anyone
a
who missed it
VOD
at the
straight
start.
away, if it's
Again,
all.
it will be available.
But Brandon's one here will, and I'm sure the
thanks,
people have probably
Liam and
recorded
Aaron,
the whole thing and we'll throw it up as
for
well.
joining. Everyone
But for
behind the scenes
weird
who
sort
helped
of
put together
Disney
Lorecast.
wanting to control stuff
We hope
reasons,
this is something
it's
that
not
we
going to
keep
go up
doing
as a
more of in
VOD.
the future. Everyone at home joining to be a part of this first Disney Lorcana Lorecast. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see you all at Disney Lorcana Challenge and everything else we have planned that we'll announce later. But until next time, that's it.
That's it.
Bye.
Sign off catchphrase.
It's like, that's what I was waiting for. Just hear Liam shout it in the background now.
Well, they're going to end with the trailer again.
Oh, is it just the trailer again?
Hit it, Mickey.
Yeah.
I'm always just in front of you.
Watch it one more time.
Yeah, so there's a few things I noticed when I watched it back. So if you see here, there's 2 Ursulas fighting them.
Going for a crown, it looks
Their
like.
crown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their Lumineers. What is this thing?
The tablet from Encanto. Right?
Yeah.
Although the things on them freak me out a little bit.
Yeah, I think those are on all of the
they
corrupted
particle
characters.
Tritanopia or something, is it? Where you get a bit freaked out by like little holes.
Tritanopia.
Yeah, that. I think I have that a little bit. It always weirds me out a little, that sort of stuff.
So is that Mickey going to be a new one, or is just Musketeer?
I think it's just
Mickey?
Musketeer, but could be a
new version.
Because all the other ones are new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jafar looked like he had a gold.
Oh, she's so good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Great.
Oh, look at
Pirates of
the
Caribbean.
The trident that we had don't have those things near the top. So maybe there will be an Ursula's trident, like shells.
That'd be cool.
Two
I sure
shells.
hope so.
I do, like Floodborne item isn't really something I even thought about, but like that could be right. Like,
Yeah,
Definitely
it really could.
Yeah, why not? The glimmers. I mean, everything's a glimmer. So like,
yeah.
when the
And
glimmers
Michelle made a
touch blood-
point to say that this isn't the only trident you're going to
Yeah.
see. So
Yeah. Probably just a tease for what's coming later. Another legendary item, maybe.
We can just see
Pretty
a
cool.
normal item with a different name. It doesn't have to
right.
be. I'm all for the keeping
What are we
it
thinking?
simple.
Right. What are you guys thinking for prices for entry for the challenge? We're thinking like $40 to $60. That's where my mind at. That's where my mind's at.
Yeah.
I don't know what they normally run, to be honest.
I don't know with official stuff because technically
What
they've
were
already
the starter
made
deck
their
challenges? Were
money.
those like 30 and you got product?
Or is it even 20? I think maybe
Was it?
with 20.
And I know that's not a good metric to judge it off of. I'm just seeing.
Yeah,
where
no,
they-
that's
where
why it's the
they've
only
been
thing
at
about it, right?
before.
It's difficult though because, like, again, like they've technically already made their money off us, right? We've bought the cards off them to play in this thing, so I don't think it can ever be like a huge amount. Like it just kind of needs to be like a token amount almost to kind of cover to cover some of the
That's what I'm thinking.
the day charges. But really, like these are kind of ran as these should be at least considered to be like ran as PR events. Really, it's just like a look at us doing this for the community kind of thing.
One small little thing about the new format stuff is, let's say I win the dice roll, or I guess I win the dice roll and I decide I want to go first on the first game, and then I lose that game.
Yeah,
I go second on the second game, even though I lost, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that how
the
they structure
opportunity.
it? That
What?
each person
gets
to go
first.
first, or just that?
Yeah. So the way it goes is whoever wins the roll chooses first or second, and then it switches for the second game. So whatever
Really?
the
Didn't
person
she
that,
say- no,
that's
she
how
said-
that's how it sounded to me. Maybe I got it wrong.
She then said that the person who loses chooses.
Yeah, isn't that just the rules of the game that the person who loses chooses who goes first or second? I'll have to watch it back.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I thought he said that both players get a game first, and you as a dice roll, or you're doing is choosing whether you take game one first.
Right,
I think that's
what I
the
thought it was.
idea, that you can like
You
get
both go-
around that with just two.
So the last two chats, the last two replies in your chat both say the opposite. So I don't think we. Espeon says that it's whoever loses first game chooses, and then Balloon says no, you both go first once. Whoever wins the roll
It's you
chooses.
both. Where she said each person gets to go first to mitigate the whoever goes first wins essentially.
So basically,
Okay.
Jacob, if you choose to go first and lose, you need to get good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
because didn't somebody,
There's
either somebody in our group or somebody on the live stream said you're probably going to end up choosing second for your first game.
Yeah,
You might do. Yeah, I think you might.
If
because
that's how it works, where
Yeah.
you are guaranteed a first for whichever game, then yeah, you're absolutely going second first. So you
Yeah, 'cause you're both
enter the
blind at
second
that
game
point,
with,
yeah.
with more information.
If anything, you can't sculpt your mulligan around what they're gonna do, but
Right.
you can at least sculpt your turn plays moving forward. Your turn one with knowing what they
play
eat.
a bit more reactionary.
Yeah.
In game one, and then go game two, go
I
hard.
think if you
against
play
them.
aggro,
Blake,
maybe you could be incentivized to play first on the first game. Just to be like, I'm just gonna just try to
Right.
get a
I'm
game.
sorry, folks. I've got to run and pick my kid up. This was
Bye,
awesome.
Jonti.
Thanks for joining.
I have no idea how to close this. That one.
There it goes.
I just got a DM from Blake from the Glimmer Gang. He said that yep, both players get an opportunity to go first. Just heard it from past Rochelle's mouth. So
Okay.
Okay.
So I would assume he went back and looked.
It's
just to
interesting.
make sure. I think it's super interesting, and I love it. I really do. I think this is a fantastic way to get people to be engaged for the entire tournament, and not just, oh, I lost round 1, I'm done, I'm dropping, or lost round 2, I'm dropping. You know,
because technically, even players who are in top cuts, when they're constantly getting matched up against people who are in that same bracket as them, of like, oh, I'm 2-0, and I'm 2-0 again, and I'm 2-0 again, they're going to constantly get rematched against people who have technically gotten 3 points multiple rounds in a row. There's going to be opportunities for people to not get 3 points for a match. So if you can, like, from the middle of the pack, start getting 3-0 or like 3 point, 3 point, you can climb up to meet them
you
faster.
can get back. This gives you the chance to get back, and maybe not top cut, but like hit top 16, you know?
If you're round 3, you're X3, you're like, yeah, I'm just done. Even though I've won 3 games, I'm done.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah. I kind of like that. I feel like it will, the way it sounds is you're going to be constantly paired against people that are very similar skill level to you the further that the tournament goes on. So
Balloons made a really good point in the chat as well.
Chat didn't work in Restream for me. I couldn't see chat the whole time.
It says the third tiebreaker when cutting to top cut is winning the second game.
Yep.
So
going for a second game means even more.
The third tiebreaker when cutting to top cut. I'm having a hard time understanding that.
The first tiebreaker is points.
Yep.
And then the second tiebreaker, well, I guess.
Oh, okay. So it's like points and then win percentage, opponent win percentage, and then winning the second game.
Yeah, exactly.
So in a world where your opponents had both similar strength of schedule, which I don't know how likely that is, but in that world, you know.
I wonder if it'll affect that a little bit more, since rather than it being best of 3 and like you either won or you didn't, so like you got 3 points or you didn't and then you drew. I wonder, I guess it shouldn't be too different, because if you 2-0, you still walk away with 3 points every time, similar to best of 3. So the point structure should still be really similar. But I guess with opponent win percentage, I don't know, maybe it won't be much different at all in that regard.
I'm just excited for it on a time basis, because I know that even we changed our local Lorcana League to be best of 1 because best of 3 just wasn't cutting it. Like, it was just so long.
Yeah.
If you had a matchup you didn't like, you were stuck in that matchup for so long, especially when the people were kind of in set 1, they were like coming on to Ruby Amethyst, and it was like, okay, well, this game's going to be a tough one because I really didn't want to have this matchup. And we're stuck in a best of 3 for league play.
Right.
Well, now you feel like you can maybe get a hybrid of, like, I get a chance to maybe like get that rematch, because I know in best of 1 when we shifted, even now for set 3 we made that shift, and I'm like, there are a couple times where I'm like, yeah, I'm glad it's best of 1, but I would like to rematch you because I think it could have gone differently.
Right.
There's the opportunity for a format to kind of settle that, but not be full on best of 3.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I actually question whether or not like things will be faster or there's just going to be less draws, because like they didn't say anything about changing the time structure, so it could still be best of 2 50 minutes, since a lot of people are going to time, you know, even with just that. So I think that'll be interesting to see, but it should almost guarantee that people aren't drawing. It still happens, of course, but that's what I'll be interested to see, like what happens when you're in a game 2 and you go to time. You know, I guess
I feel like in a tie nobody's awarded points. You know, you just. I feel like that's how it would be.
So theoretically, if nobody wins the game on game 2, then whoever won game 1 obviously like moves on.
Sure.
But I wonder how they do the point system with that. Like, do you just not get any points from that game because neither person won? Or, you know, how does that work?
Point.
Yeah.
Right. Because the person who won the first game would get the 1 point, obviously. And then the second game, if it goes to a draw, nobody won. So there's no points awarded. And the person that won the first game doesn't have a chance for the third point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there'll be more comprehensive stuff for them. Like Rochelle alluded to, they have a lot of this already done. They just didn't have a time to get it into the presentation. So any day now, I would imagine by the end of the week, we'll have all the information we'll need.
I would have accepted a preliminary reading of the rules that they do have in lieu of packs.
Right? I would have loved that.
Just Rochelle just pulling up the document. So in this case, addendum A.
That would have been fun.
Audio book.
Right. Real. Well, I mean, I know I'm going to sit down and read the entirety of it. So, I mean, I'd prefer an audiobook version.
Yeah, I'm eager to see when everything goes online. I feel like there's going to be a lot to look through. This is already a lot of information. I'm probably after the stream going to just look at the website for a while and, filter through stuff.
For real, there's so much. It was so much to take in. I think I got a pretty good grasp of all of everything that they said so far. But still, there's until we get the further details, we have no way of really knowing. But I'm excited. Everything was great today. I think this at least met everyone's expectations or blew them out of the water. Honestly, I think they did a fantastic job with this.
Yeah, I guess so. We've been streaming for about 3.5 hours, so I guess we'll start wrapping up, and we'll just start with Lee, since you already go in. What's the thing you're most excited about after everything today, and then you can plug your channel or anything you want to.
Do what? Sorry, I was reading. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying we've been going for 3.5 hours, so we're going to try and wrap up here. And before I push everyone out and end the stream, I think we just one by one go through, what are we most excited about from today and forthcoming. So I'll have you start.
What I'm most excited about today, I'm most excited about the fact that I will at least have the chance to get to 2 of these challenges. I was really worried that they were going to be out of the scope of my ability to travel. So the fact that guaranteed Chicago, I will have no problem getting to that event. And Atlanta is not that far. I already went and looked up tickets on Hopper. It's only about $230 to get there and back. So yeah, I'm excited. This is what I've been waiting for since day one, is the competitive circuit, trying to get up there and test my mettle against everybody. I'm ready for it.
Cool. Let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Leebarbs _. I am part of the Glimmer Gang podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Glimmer Gang Pod. We're also on Spotify and YouTube. And I also have a solo podcast, Uncommon Cardboard. You can find it at Uncommon CB on Twitter, and I'm on Spotify.
Sweet. Thanks for joining, Lee.
Yeah, thank you for having me, brother.
All right, Jacob, you're next.
For sure. I am most excited about the cooperative play setup. I really hope that the distribution of that product is like the Inklands boxes have been, of just take as much as you can possibly hold at your local stores, because that sounds like a great time. I'm going to be having a kid soon, and that seems like something that can be a real foundation of family time centers around this. I know mom and dad, we're going to playing against each other all the time, whatever, across the kitchen table, but just having that cooperative experience tells me that they're willing to try things and try new ways of approaching the game. I say that's my favorite thing. It's really tied, because the Swiss best of 2 probably is now that I think about it, that is wow, didn't think about that change in the game, but should make things at local scenes and competitive places more quick to turn around and make it nicer. Just a simplified setup that hopefully also is more inviting to keep casual players maybe to dabble into that competitive experience. But you can find me at Ready Set Draw TCG on YouTube and on Twitter. We have our podcast Ready Set Live on Spotify and on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I don't know if Apple's still or Google's still a thing, but we have some gameplay content that's coming out. One episode's already out for stuff into the Inklands and Set 3. So go check that out if you like watching gameplay content. But other than that, I just appreciate you having me on, Brandon. I really enjoyed my time here.
I appreciate you being here. Thanks for stopping by.
All right. Peace out.
See ya. All right, Eszti, what was your favorite thing?
Oh, that's harsh. I think card-wise, it was the broom stack, the Mickey, and the that they sounded very cool, and then overall, I think it was the story, and they say it's woven together, but for me there are a bunch of holes, so I just want to go back and look at all the cards again and try to figure out does this all make sense? I think there are a lot of questions still. So you can find me at Just On Case at YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it. Discord, if you want to chat. That's it. I'm very grateful for having me. It was super fun.
I'm glad you joined. I'm glad you came with us. It's been an awesome time. So thank you,
Yeah,
and
long time,
hopefully,
awesome time.
yeah, it was very long.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, that concludes the Lorecast and the live react. Thank you, everybody who decided to come by and watch with me, and thank you to all the guests for stopping by too. I was a little bit afraid once I first announced it that it was just going to be me here for however long this was going to be. So I really appreciated everybody stopping by and then having all my guests with me. If I had to give a favorite thing, it would probably be a lot of the comp stuff. I'm really excited about that. Excited to finally get dates and locations so we can start planning. Very interested to see how the best of two thing works. The way it sounded was in their testing. People enjoyed it. And so I think it's going to shake up the format a little bit. We'll see if people start bringing different decks and start improvising and innovating with that. And so obviously excited for the new set, the new cards to come. But yeah, everybody that was on here, you should be able to find their link in the description if you're on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, I really appreciate chat for hanging out with us. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So see you guys next time. Thanks.